Expose.
You know it.
Expose.
So yeah, welcome to the first ever Can't Understand Normal Thinking podcast with my special guests, Clyde and Evan. They run their own
Hey.
stream where they take place as engineers in the year 2621. And currently, where are you located out there?
Honestly, I don't remember. It's been so long. They just kind of stationed us out here, and we're just chilling. Go to this location, you just stay there.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
But
And
right now,
then
you're on a planet building up a huge city, right?
yeah, oh yeah, in Satisfactory, that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We're
They're
trying to
colonizing
we're
planets.
trying to pave the whole world to make room for a giant shopping center. So, yeah, that's a plan. And a
Man,
little
how
city on the
very
side.
colonizer of you, Whitey.
I, hey, you know what? Just because of my skin color doesn't mean I'm like that. I'm actually half indigenous,
I
in
had-
case you didn't know.
I
I,
had to
legit
do-
am.
Indigenous to what? Norway?
I had to do a very minor race bait at the very beginning. So that way people
Oh,
that just
right.
tune in, they're just like, how could he? And then they're just, oh. Well, I guess we'll
How
sit here and
absolutely dare you?
Oh, jeez. Oh,
wait.
no.
I can't believe you've done this.
Oh, fuck. Can't believe you've done this. Okay.
I'm
Man,
looking
I
for
wish
the
I could
host
deal with
to
everything
host.
like that.
I'm not
Yeah,
seeing. I'm not seeing.
I didn't see Ruthless
by
Live
now.
right away either.
The thing is,
Until,
it
like-
takes a little bit of time. I noticed when I tried to host you guys when I was running over to Clyde's, it took like 5 minutes for it to even recognize that you were the channel I was searching for some reason.
Oh yeah,
okay.
because I'm doing that right now. I'm like in
Yeah.
the same process.
It's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
But
crazy.
yeah, unfortunately, my original idea for this podcast of Can't Understand Normal Thinking had to be delayed because I didn't get my green screen in time. Best Buy fucked me.
Damn. Wow, there's a lot of
Ooh.
stories of that going around, isn't
Yeah,
there,
well,
Clyde?
So you got one now.
I do have one on the way. It's just, instead of it being on time, it's been delayed because of that Suarez Canal thing. Swanez?
Oh, that's right.
Whatever that canal-
Really? They had
yeah.
a green screen on that?
Yeah,
that boat?
apparently it was delayed because of that.
Dude.
And I was like, what the fuck? All right.
It was on that boat.
Yeah, it was the one that they got distracted by it, and that's what caused them to take a U-turn in the middle of the small canal.
Wait a second. Go back. Turn around.
We gotta get this green screen to Chris.
Gotta get it over there.
But yeah, no, like I've got an idea in mind that I think everybody would kind of enjoy. It's inspired by our shitty Russian game stream, where
That
we
was so
found
much fucking
the
fun.
homeless father that kept beating us up.
Yeah, like what was that, man? It's like, how do you get a picture of a homeless man ready to fight? First of all, second of all, that's just a funny thing to put in the game.
I mean, in fairness, it's Russia, so everybody looks homeless already.
That's a good point.
They just
You
took a
walk out
picture
and
of a civilian just ready to fight because he wanted some vodka.
hey man, come here for a second. Snaps a photo. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Yep.
I'm out.
But yeah, no, I decided that I'm going to make a background that kind of is reminiscent of like an East Hastings alley, but it's like a
Nice.
well-lit East Hastings alley where you can actually see the syringes.
Nice.
And there's
High
just going to be
def.
like garbage cans behind me and everything. I'm going to have a table that's made out of like recycled goods. It's going to be basically just a stack of pizza boxes from like Giuseppe's or some shit.
Dude,
And,
hell yeah.
It's gonna have like a cardboard
Nice.
sign with really shitty drawing of like can't understand normal thinking on it.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna find like giant garbage bags that I can turn into essentially beanbag chairs for the guests, and they're just gonna
Solid.
have half of their bodies on there. So half of a homeless man's body is just gonna be implemented to those chairs, so that I can green screen you guys into it. So that it just kind of looks like
Nice.
you're sitting on top of those beanbag garbage chairs.
That's
First,
funny.
Oh, that's
first person to be
wicked.
glad to be on a glad bag.
Nice.
Joe Rogan eats your heart out.
Yeah, fuck you.
Right?
Highest budget, low budget podcast there is.
Fuck you in your toaster room, Joe.
We get high in the alley
Not
like
a
normal
fan.
people.
I think he got rid of the toaster room. He's got a new
Did he?
room now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really? Straight up?
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
complain
yeah,
that
enough-
much?
Well, apparently it was only supposed to be temporary ananyway.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
like
did
he
not
moved
know
to-
that.
Yeah, he moved to Texas and he was like, "I need a studio now," and they made the toaster.
Oh, shit,
While
even
they were
he
making
moved to
his other
Texas.
one.
Yeah, you moved to
Everybody's
Texas a
going to
while ago.
Texas.
Yeah, when he got the toaster room, the red toaster room,
Yeah.
that was his move to Texas. But yeah, it was a temporary one until they built the actual studio. It took a while.
Oh,
Fair
shit.
enough. So
Interesting.
I'm not sure how many people are going to tune in. I guess I should probably tweet out that I'm live. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I was literally just going to make a call out on the Discord too.
Yeah, I'm just going to make again least professional podcast out there. Remember it, boys. I'm a professional idiot.
Right.
Uh,
We I just had it pop up in my people that are live streaming.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Downloads.
That's why I wanted to wait before we start talking about anything like serious.
I'm still not able to host it though.
Really?
Damn, that's dumb.
I keep refreshing. I'm like, what is going on here?
Let's see, I could. Oh, I think I'm gonna remember to tag at everyone in the Discord for once.
Oh, that's what I need to add to my little robot that does that.
Ooh.
Okay. Nice.
By the way, feel free to smoke up, drink up. This, again, very unprofessional. Does not need to be professional in the slightest.
You gave our link.
For fuck's sakes.
Oh, I
God
thought you were
damn
talking
it.
about
I
me.
remember to tag everyone, but I. Son of a bitch.
Like,
Of
that's
course.
our channel.
Every
You're
s-
gonna have to give Ruthless channel.
That's actually
Every
kind of funny.
fucking time.
I mean,
I go to post something. I have to post it twice because I fuck something up.
the funny
Every
thing
time.
is
I
it
just-
technically
I
wouldn't
look,
matter
I'm
if you
reading it,
host
I'm
me.
like, Ruthless has a really similar tag URL to
Maximum
Wow.
ruthless.
Maximum ruthless. There we go.
That
Shit, I didn't tag everyone. God damn it.
Oh, brutal, dude.
You know what?
Son
I'm
of a
okay with
bitch.
this. I'm actually okay with this because it means I'm not going to be the
There
one
we
that screws
go.
up everything in this
There
podcast.
you go.
You're like, you got triple tags. God damn.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
get ready for. Oh my god.
Every time. Every
People are,
time.
people are gonna leave our Discord just from getting spammed.
I know,
Holy
right?
shit. Ugh.
Should I
So-
apologize?
So on my Twitch, it just said I finally went live, which is really sad considering it's
Nice.
been almost 10 minutes and I'm the
Has
I'm
it
the
been?
streamer.
Oh, yeah. Why does
Yeah,
it
it
do
has
that?
been.
Why does it take so goddamn long? That's weird, man.
I don't know.
I'm not
Hey,
sure.
Valerian, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, Bell?
Oh, nice.
Welcome
What's
here, man.
happening, dude.
I blame the brainless clone.
You shut your goddamn mouth, Bell. It's not
That's
my
right.
fault. I didn't mess up the call out 3 times.
How are you doing, Valerian? I actually don't know you.
Bell,
he's new.
Yeah,
Oh.
he came in
He
yesterday.
Came in yesterday.
Oh, well, welcome. Who let Evan behind the controls? In fairness, I'm the one behind the controls. I just let him sit on my
Yeah,
lap.
see. Exactly. It was nice and cozy.
It's like a
keeping him
6-year-old
warm.
trying to learn how to drive.
We,
Are you from farm country? Because that happens often.
yeah, we weren't sure if we should be in character or not. We didn't make a decision, and then we both decided otherwise.
As you
Yeah,
can see,
apparently. It's like, oh,
Preparation
we're
is
live now. Shit. Okay, what are we doing? And I always was in character. I'm like, fuck it, let's go.
in
Why
fairness, though, the next time this happens, when I finally have the green screen and everything ready to be up, feel free to be in your regular clothes because half of your body's going to be homeless anyway.
Nice.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Actually,
I
try
was-
to
I
look as
was like a
shitty as you
homeless person
can.
in my
I'm gonna literally
pretty
use
good
my
at that.
most ripped,
I
dirty
do
shirt
my
for
best
it.
all the time.
Perfect. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? You're here for a bit? Nice. No, I didn't say Siri.
Oh,
Fuck
nice.
off, Apple.
Hey Siri, Xbox off. Yes.
Joke's on
Wait.
you. I don't own an Xbox. I used to, but not anymore.
Oh, dude, man, Xbox. I used to be an Xbox fanboy, and then I grew up. Still use the controller though. Can't not use the controller. It's so comfy.
Exactly. It's still the best controller.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Like, look at this bad boy. It's the most comfortable controller. Little bit disappointed with their new ones, how they didn't do anything new. Like, it's pretty much the exact same as the old one. But,
How much more could they
It's so
improve,
comfy.
though?
quite a bit. I mean, the PlayStation did a bunch of shit with their new controller. They
their
had that, like,
controller
haptic
sucked.
feedback. It doesn't suck. Well, the new ones don't
The
suck.
new ones,
The
don't,
old...
but the old ones did. So they had like a whole lot of room to change. Whereas everybody was like,
Mm-hmm.
"My Microsoft controller is
go.
perfect." Ah, nice.
Got the
Yes.
most.
Nice.
So, like, I can see why Microsoft had like their own head up their ass about changing the controller, because public opinion was don't change the controller. It's so good.
Yeah, but they could have added stuff to the already great platform if possible, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Haptic feedback would have been much
That would have been
appreciated
cool.
by the.
I think
by
that
the
would have
fans,
fucked with
yeah,
me.
for sure.
I feel like that would have messed with me a lot. Because I'm
Oh,
just
yeah?
20 years of playing with an Xbox controller. If all of a sudden I'm getting haptic feedback, I think for sure it would screw with my brain.
I bet you there'd
You
be
didn't
a
notice they changed it from the 360 to the one?
No, I actually think I'm still using a 360.
Oh shit! Damn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm using an old
Oh,
360.
for real?
Oh yeah, yeah. Holy shit!
Oh, wow. You
Dude.
just don't like good D-pads, do you?
Well, I don't use the D-pad. If I'm using that, I'm playing something that's relatively recent. If I'm going old school, I'm going to go with fucking NES controller I got somewhere in my closet. Bluetooth.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, baby.
I got an NES back here. It's actually not mine. It's Evan's.
Yeah.
Hey,
Does that actually work,
wait,
though?
wait. That's my NES at your place?
That's your NES. Yeah, you brought
I
it here.
totally forgot about that. I was gonna be like, I
Yeah.
have a controller, but I don't remember where I put the NES.
Yeah, it's safe. It's safe with me, my friend.
There we go. it's with Clyde. Okay.
Yeah, it's safe. Don't worry.
And it works? You still have a working E NES?
It didn't come with any cords. When we got it, it didn't come with any cords to plug it into the TV. So it's. I think it still works, but like
Oh,
I've
shit.
never used it.
I think I still have a broken NES, but I have the cords that work, but I don't have an NES that works.
So this has
give it
the
a shot.
cord, but it's got the old school like coaxial like junction cord.
Oh, yeah.
So you've gotta like
Mine's got the
you
red,
tune
white, and
into
yellow.
the coax. Yeah, so this doesn't have that, and if it wasn't like that, you can't just put that on. So we might have to modify it.
Ooh.
I mean,
Ooh. Mod times.
I mean,
There's
yeah, or...
there's RGB mods you can get for them.
That's what I
and
got.
You can actually, yeah,
Yeah.
What
That's
the
what
fuck?
you
You turn
need to
into
be
like a
able to run.
gaming computer?
No.
An
It-
RGB
No,
one?
no.
It's RCA
No,
cables, the red, white, and yellows.
yeah.
That's not RGB. You're
It's
screwing.
RCA. RCA. That's what you meant.
It's called an RGB mod.
Is it? I
So-
thought it was called
Really?
RCAs.
So what it does is it takes like a coaxial radio signal essentially, which is what the original NES does. It broadcasts a signal, but onto the wire, right? It's just like a localized broadcast, and then it sends that to a CRT, right? So in order to have like a digital coaxial, or not a coaxial, the RCA cables, it needs to have red, green, blue split up
Oh.
and then sent in a digital format. So there's actually like a chip that you can get for it, and it converts it and sends it. And then
Interesting.
you can also add an extra chip to it. There's like an add-on for it where you can drill out a little thing in the side of the box and have an HDMI right out of
Oh,
your
that's pretty
NES.
cool. You've done your research. Have
Yeah,
you like
I have.
have you been wanting to cannibalize my NES?
No, I've wanted to cannibalize all kinds of old consoles. It's just like I'm a geek when it comes to like the stuff that I grew up with, right?
So
Yeah,
speaking
I
fair.
love that stuff.
Speaking of old consoles, though, did you hear the main problem with PS2 and PS3, as well as Xbox and Xbox 360, with their battery about to die out because of the amount of time that it's been? There's
Oh, I never thought about that.
so
like the motherboard battery,
Yeah,
the
there's a
BIOS
bit-
battery or whatever.
That's it. Yeah, there's a particular battery that connects to, like the server for picking up time to make sure you're not trying to mess with the time to make something that's a timed
Right.
exclusive last longer than it needs to. And if it
Mm-hmm.
can't connect to that, then your system is completely gone. It's gone.
Really?
So yeah, like if you can't verify that every time you log in, your system's crashed. It's gone. That's its failsafe. So
Are
there's
we
a-
looking at the Y2K of Xbox?
Essentially, yeah, like Xbox and PlayStation, the old ones, the CMOS battery. That's right, Bell. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
You can't
but-
just replace the battery?
No, because it has to. Because the thing is they're cutting off the servers too. So even if the batteries die and a year later they're cutting off the servers and you replace the battery, servers aren't there, so it's dead. Sony
See,
and
this is
Xbox
why
fucked themselves.
games as a service is a bad idea. Like and
Yes.
it has been for a long time.
But there is a good thing happening. People have gone to the lengths of making not only an Xbox 360 emulator, an Xbox emulator, a PS2 emulator, and PS3 emulator. They are now converting every game file over so you can still play it on computer. They're not going
Nice,
to
that's
just
good.
disappear. That's actually how I played Condemned Criminal Origins, or sorry, Condemned 2 Bloodshot on PC, was because it's an Xbox exclusive. They never made it for PC. They planned on it, but for some reason they canceled it. But I was able to get an emulator to work that game, so I was able to stream it. They are starting to do that with a whole lot more now because people are noticing that the CMOS batteries are almost fucking dead. And if they lose that, the games are gone too. So
Really?
The digital downloads are now gone. They're getting rid of them this year. So
Shit.
any game you can't, or any game you don't already own or bought, it's gone. You can't buy them. Any game that you do already own, you can download from the servers anytime you want. But the problem is the CMOS battery. Once that dies, it loses its connection to the server, and when it tries to reconnect to the server is no longer there for it to reconnect to. You only have access to the server for the game, not for the CMOS battery.
Interesting. That sucks. Damn.
That's really sad, actually.
Yeah.
I would say yeah, but at the same time, there are people out there that are at least doing the work that are much smarter than me to actually emulate the games for PC. So the art's not lost. It's still there. But it's
The art's not lost, but the experience is, because like the whole thing with nostalgia gaming is running the old console, even if you got to modify the console. But like
that's the thing that I'm liking with the emulators is they actually emulate the system sounds and everything. Like for the Xbox emulator that I use, I turn it on, it does the standard like Xbox logo loading in, has the Xbox fucking screen and everything. It even has like the old pages that you used to flip through.
Nice.
And I can access all the games.
But the old consoles are just e-waste at that point. You can't even attempt to use them.
No, but I'm okay with that. Even if the old consoles have to be recycled, the amount of gold that's inside of them for plating will make it so that new consoles can come out. I'm fine as long as the games still exist, or the operating system still exists, or the interface still exists. For me, it doesn't necessarily need to be the piece of plastic that's there.
I'm a fan of the keepsakes. I like the keepsakes, but it would be nice if you still worked. Or if you know what, somebody might be clever and be able to make a mod where you can emulate the hardware within the hardware.
I actually see a bigger thing happening from this. I feel like if people make a big enough stink about it, we'll start to see an Xbox Classic, a PlayStation Classic, and an N64 Classic, and then they'll move their way on up as time goes. The same way with World of Warcraft with Classic. They'll just bring it back in a different form.
That's not a bad... Yeah, that makes sense.
We were already doing that though, and then they stopped. It's like they were on the road to that.
That was because like the last ones that they did were the Commodore 64, which nobody fucking wanted, and what was the other one?
Not?
It was the Sega Genesis, where only the people that remember the Sega Genesis bought it, even though it was the best console hands down for its time. There still weren't that many people that bought that over the PlayStation. PlayStation Classic
reissued
sold
the Commodore.
Huh?
They reissued the Commodore.
Oh, did they? I thought they canceled it.
Yeah, so the first one they've canceled because it was a flop. They tried to do a Commodore 64 Mini.
That's the one.
Nobody wanted that.
Yeah, that was a weird idea.
Oh.
So what they did was they reissued the Commodore 64. But they obviously they put it on a brand new PCB, so it's like a little tiny PCB to run anything that's on the Commodore 64.
Yeah.
But instead of just running the games that people knew, and that's what the Mini was, you just turn it on and you can play the games that people would use on that Commodore. People wanted the actual experience of the Commodore 64, where you could program stuff into it, you could do whatever, and run games. So they actually issued a Commodore 64, and it legit operates like a Commodore 64, which is super cool.
Wait, are we talking about a huge Commodore 64 looking console with the giant fucking CRT looking thing? What did they issue?
The Commodore 64 was actually just a keyboard. The computer itself was simply a keyboard.
The original?
Yeah, it was a keyboard. It was a big chunk of a keyboard.
Yeah.
But the computer, the computer was all within it, right? And then you'd have a CRT that you'd go out to from there. And then you'd have a floppy disk drive or a reel-to-reel cassette tape drive. That
Damn.
Was the dot matrix printer with the
I
things you
those.
tear off on the sides. Remember them things?
When I first started working at London Drugs, we still had that.
That's hilarious.
I know.
They didn't.
That's
it's
crazy.
amazing how long that lasted.
Those things never died.
Dot matrix. I want to Google.
They were
it
the
quick.
only things
Dot-
that ever survived like the standard lifespan of electronics.
Yeah, like back in the day, they didn't know how to like feed paper through a printer, so they had like.
They had those little dots.
It's funny.
It
It's
is.
funny, but it's true. It was a thing, right? So they
I
had
know.
these little tearaway strips on the side that were tracks that the paper would run through.
Man, I fucking
Oh,
remember those.
I remember that.
You probably used them in
Barely
high
Yeah.
school too.
though.
And it was
Not in high
good because
school.
you could do like the multi-layer transfer paper
Mm-hmm.
because
That's why we
it was a
used it.
physical head that was actually pressing against the paper. So like yeah, you could do the carbon copies, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's
Instead
the
of-
reason we used it.
Yeah, because then you can get a signature and it would go on all the copies. So, but like nowadays they have, nowadays it's all inkjet or whatever. But another thing that still hasn't died is thermal printers.
Yep.
I think those are still they're here to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
especially for receipts and shit. It just makes
Yeah.
sense, you know, for
just-
that kind of thing where all you need to do is replace the paper instead of the ink because, you know, if you're at a gas pump, last thing you want to do is go to your fucking like ink distributor and try and buy some ink for a gas pump or something or some kind of small
Yeah.
obscure thing, you know. That makes sense.
Oh, the head's clogged. Sorry, I got to run a cleaner.
Yeah, right? Like fuck, it doesn't make any goddamn sense to use anything else.
the only reason I don't see that being the case is because they're already thinking of switching away from it because of the toxicity of the actual paper. Like, there's an actual toxin in it that's not good for your skin. So
Really?
people that are actually manufacturing this and all that, they hate it because it gives them rashes all the time. So they're actually thinking of moving receipt paper over to like a standard printer, but still using like thermal style like printer paper and all that, so it still looks the same. But what they're gonna do is like not with like ink cartridges, but refillable tanks. Make it so that you can print it with what were those weird cassettes back in the day that you could put ink on? Do you remember those?
Oh, the ones where it was like a ribbon?
Yeah.
Ink ribbon?
Yeah.
That was the dot matrix did that.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to implement a different version of that to avoid any kind of clogging, but they're going to make it with like an ink tank. So it's going to be
Ink
more
tank.
universal that way. So like
But
if-
that's
it
another
it
thing that you have
dips
to
the ribbon and then it
refill,
brings it
though.
across.
yeah, I think that's what they're going for because they don't want to continue using the paper, something to do with health reasons because of some sort of toxin that's either in the paper or the actual printing process. I can't remember what it was, but some people were getting
The
skin
thermal
cancer from
paper's
it.
got shit in it, basically.
Yeah, people were getting like skin cancer from touching it for too long.
Fuck, really?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's fucked.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
When I lived
All
in
those
Japan,
accountants.
everyone had that paper because everybody's got fax machines in Japan even today. That's another legacy
That's
thing
weird.
that never went away.
That's fucking weird.
But yeah,
and they use thermal paper, but it's like normal size sheets of
Thermal
thermal
paste.
paper. But it's such a weird thing. You have regular paper that you feed in it to send, and thermal paper for receiving.
it's interesting though. Like I would have never thought that touching receipts would give me cancer. I would
Who
have
would've
never
thought?
thought that.
Yeah.
But like it's
Yeah,
weird.
but
People are
60
comparing-
years ago they didn't think that smoking cigarettes.
That's what I was about to say.
Give you
It's like the
cancer.
same thing as cigarettes. People had no idea.
Like didn't like 5 out of 6 doctors recommend Camel or some shit?
Yeah, no kidding. Oh hey, Stemisty, it's been a long time since I've seen you around. How you doing? Welcome to the podcast.
What's happening? Welcome.
These are
Welcome.
Hey.
actually now that there are people here. Why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us what you do on Twitch?
Sure. Shall I go first?
Yeah, go.
Yeah,
for it,
might as
guys.
well.
My name is Clyde. I'm a producer for the show Maximum Underdrive. I've been a content creator for some time. Evan and I, we got together, I want to say just over a year ago, started making content, and we came up with a
Something like
crazy idea. Crazy idea to make a show about 2 space guys in the future, mechanics on a ship.
That's right.
And we do that now on
Yeah.
Twitch, 2 days a week.
Every
Mondays,
Monday and Thursday.
Thursdays.
7 p.m. PST.
7 p.m.
Shameless plug. And on occasion, we bring people like this guy in, Ruthless.
Yeah,
One of
it
our good
happens.
friends, hopefully more often now.
Jumped off his tree, falling on a green screen.
Okay.
Getting
The
his
one
ass
thing-
out.
The one thing
Hopefully
I'm
not
pissed
getting us
off about
banned.
The one thing I'm pissed off about is my ass was exposed on your stream and not mine first.
We
That
also
pisses
clipped
me
it.
off. I should
Yeah, we clipped
have. I
it.
should have popped my ass crack cherry on my fucking on my podcast. But of course,
That's a
of
sentence.
course, yeah, that could be taken in many ways. But of course, it ends up accidentally happening as you're just like spur of the moment. You want to come over? Bring me the beer, and then I slip and fall and show my second moon for Earth.
For all
Tatooine may
those
have two
ruthless
suns,
fans
but
out
Earth
there.
has 2 moons. Remember that.
All those ruthless fans out there that have always
Let me see
wanted
if I
to
can
see
link it.
his ass.
Oh, it's kind of like
We
if
got
Jake
it.
Check out our
Hill's
channel.
ass had
It's
some
on our
volume to
channel.
it.
Let me see if I can link it in the chat.
That is a
Whatever.
shameful plug right there.
In fairness, though, I'm glad it wasn't my dick.
That's a good point. You know,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
bannable offense for both parties
Yes,
involved.
we are very glad that it
With
wasn't.
how loose my pants were that day, I am so glad I just didn't completely pants myself. I was so drunk when I left my house and you told me to do that, I forgot to tie my pants.
Damn, son, that's crazy.
So the fact that
too
I stood
funny.
up and it didn't just immediately fall. Oh, and I wasn't wearing underwear.
Oh, I found it. Here,
Oh god.
linking that in chat.
Uh-oh. Somebody's gonna
It was just
be a big
impromptu.
old
It was
bum.
like you were in the chat. You're like, I've drank so many beers. Do you
I
want
have
one?
more. You
I was
want
like,
one?
yes, yes, I do.
Hey, there you go, Salad. Everybody in the chat, Vamp, Stebesty, Salad, Zarin, all can stare at my ass. It only has 3 views. That's very strange. I thought my ass
pretty
would
surprised.
be more in demand.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Salad was in there. Salad
Yeah,
was
Salad
there that
came
night.
by. He missed the
Was
ass.
Salad
remember
there
that.
for a bit?
He came by, but he missed
Yeah,
the ass. I
Salad
was
gave
sitting
us
in
a
the chair.
follow.
Nice.
Vamp
Yes.
did too.
I do
Oh,
remember
nice, yeah.
Vamp for a little bit.
Yes, Vamp
So
Queen
welcome back,
96.
folks.
I remember that. Yeah.
Welcome back to a stream that you frequent.
True. And one that you may not as frequent as much, because I will be over there too sometimes.
Yeah, you're
Knowing
seeing the
me-
behind the scenes on this one.
It's true. Knowing my
Yeah.
luck, though, next time you call me over, I'm going to be drunk off my ass again. I'm going to show up wearing a tutu and look like a fat Ace Ventura. And you're going to be like, what the hell happened? And I'll be like,
It's
I don't
amazing
know.
how gracefully you fall for a drunk fat man.
When you get
Yeah,
this
it's
fat,
like
you have
you
to
just
fall
let it
viciously.
happen. You like, it's
Fuck
like a
my bed
stunt
is messy.
man.
I'll change that.
But you're not just big this way. You're really tall.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
you're a big man.
There we go. Blanket's out of the way. No longer messy.
There you go. That's how you fix it. Nice.
That is some serious ass crack. The worst part is that's only 50% of my ass.
Shit.
My ass is huge.
Oh, wow.
I got a big one. Oh god,
Next time you
that clip.
fall.
You know what? Tweet it out. Let's get it famous. Let's get it real famous.
Get it
Let's throw it on
famous.
Reddit.
Put it
I
on,
w-
yeah,
I
put
would
it on
love
Reddit.
it. I would love it if I could go back in
Actually,
time.
put that on the Reddit fails. That's
Yeah.
a Reddit.
Why the
Yeah, I'll
fuck
do that right
not?
now.
Stream
Yeah.
fail.
Do it. Link me in it too. That would be great though. Like if I became famous just because I flashed my ass on your stream.
Or we
I'd
got
have to write
famous
an
because you flashed
autobiography.
your ass on our stream.
Yeah, like
I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't
I
complain.
could just imagine that. Yeah, I just have to thank Clyde and Evan for letting me on their stream so I can flash my gargantuan ass. Oh damn it, Stebesty. It's not that bad. At least it's not
Good
furry.
lord. Good lord.
Oh, loaded,
I need
loaded.
a refill. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, no
Okay.
worries. Oh man. I know.
That
know.
pussy's drinking water. Oh my god.
Wait, we don't know that. It could be vodka.
That's a good point. I mean, we actually don't know what's in his little cup there. It's a little shaker.
It's just GHB.
What's JHB?
Roofies.
Oh, nice. You know, just roofing himself.
No,
Wake
he,
up in
he
the
has
morning
it
and be like-
specifically set aside for when I visit. So that more ass
Accidentally
crack will
swap
be
the
it.
cups.
At least next time it won't be my ass. Watch it be liquid cocaine. Isn't that just Red Bull?
Sponsor? We had a sponsor like 2 weeks ago, and we're not going to shut the fuck up about saying it.
Wait, was Red Bull
'Cause
your
we're-
sponsor?
Yeah, Red Bull was legit our sponsor.
Damn,
like
dude,
2 weeks ago.
nice.
Yeah, man.
That's
That's
Yeah, that
awesome.
happened. That was a thing.
That legit
thought you
happened.
were
We got
joking. That's
50
fucking
cans of
awesome.
Red Bull between the two of us, which is
Oh.
a shitload of Red Bull.
Yep.
Like a
Just enough to
shitload.
get you hooked, so you buy it after the sponsor.
So yeah,
I
so now we're
remember
drug
that.
addicts.
I remember that. I got sponsored by Monster back in the day, like 2012,
Ooh.
first year of YouTube for me. And they
Really?
said, yeah, I was just like, you want to sponsor me? I had like 1,500 subs, and I was gaining like 1,000 subs a month at that point.
Holy
And-
shit! I didn't know you've been creating content for that long, Ruthless.
Oh yeah, a long time. I've been creating content for 13 years now, over
Holy
3 different
fuck.
channels.
That's
Long time.
crazy.
You can see why I've gotten lazy with it as time's gone on, because I realize
I
don't need to
understand,
put in the
'cause-
work.
It's
Yeah,
it takes a lot of fucking work.
it does take a lot of work.
But I got sponsored by Monster, and this was well into my overweight period. I think I was probably
damn.
like 440 pounds at the time, and they sent
Holy
me,
shit.
I think it was 300 cans of Monster.
Holy fucking son of a bitch. That is so much fucking liquid.
I don't think I was supposed to drink it
Wow.
all. I don't think
Are you
I
sure
was supposed
they're-
to drink it all, because they gave me shirts, hats, and I think I got like $500 with it too.
What?
And I remember every single time I did a recording session, which would last about, back in that time frame, it would have been about an 18 to 27 hour recording session each time. So I would drink like
Damn.
5 or 6 of them in a day. And then I would sleep for a day, and then I'd be up for 2 days. It was fucked. It was the worst sleep
Wow.
schedule anybody could ever have. But
Zarin saying, "Yo, Chris, hook me up."
yeah, I know. I wish I still got that kind of sponsorship. That would have been fantastic.
Fuck.
I was fucking wired. And I wonder how I got to 520 pounds. No
Right?
fucking shit.
Holy
Monster
shit,
was the
yeah.
cause of that.
Monster
Holy
sponsored me
Fucking
to
Captain
die.
Diabetes over here. Holy shit.
This is when I find out they were actually just trying to assassinate me. The closest thing they could do was just send me fucking 300 cans of Monster.
No, he'll
No
kill himself.
self-control.
Watch, it'll be
Jesus.
funny. Just send him a shitload of our product.
And when he dies, we'll say it was because of McDonald's.
No one will know.
Nobody will care. They'll be
5D
"Fatty
chess
done
over here."
died." But no, that was
Fuck, that's
probably
funny.
the worst I've ever treated myself, was that. And I smoked cigarettes too, so that's saying something. Monster
Damn,
sponsored me.
son.
I'll tell you about how your product's worse than cigarettes.
Oh man. Yeah, I used to smoke the cigarettes. I got off of those too. Wow.
How long did you smoke for?
I smoked since I was like 11 years old.
Oh shit! Hardcore.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. If I
Holy
didn't smoke for
fuck.
so long, I'd have a baby voice.
I also keep
I mean,
forgetting
this is
that
how
you're
I
like.
sound.
I also keep forgetting
Damn,
your
I did
age.
not know you smoked for that long, dude. Holy
Oh, yeah.
fuck.
When did you quit?
Yeah, it was a long.
Like last
When
year?
did I quit?
Yeah.
So a couple years ago, I quit cold turkey for vape. Like a buddy of mine,
yep.
he was smoking forever, and I got on a call with him, and he's sucking on one of those vapes, and I'm like, vape nation, you know. I was like making fun of him at first. You're right, and he's like, no, dude, like I got off the darts like
Yeah.
now, you know what I mean? And he's like, it's been 3 months. I'm like, shut up. He's like, yeah, no, never craved it since.
Damn.
I'm like, all right, hook it up. So, and I was like, I'm gung ho about everything. If I do something, I'm gonna like full on do it. So I got like the mod with the big clouds and all that stuff. I was like, I'm doing it right. And I just, when I got it, it came in the mail. I juiced it up, and boom, I was off the cigarettes that moment.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I like had a half a pack of cigarettes, like pack of smokes a day, dude, for like 20 something years. And I
Damn.
just quit.
Jesus Christ,
See,
that's insane.
I'm a lot like Zarin in the chat when he said smoked since grade 10 or 11. That was what happened with me. I was like one of those teenage smokers because I looked old enough to go buy cigarettes, so nobody ever really ID'd me.
Nice.
So I think from when I was 16 till I was 20, I think I was just about to turn 26. It was like the day before my birthday. I smoked a pack to a pack and a half a day for over a decade. And
Damn.
I think what pushed me over was getting bronchitis one year. It was just so
Holy
hard
shit.
to breathe.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, it just
Hey,
it sucked.
Man, I got bronchitis.
So right
Nobody
after-
got time for that.
right after I got the bronchitis, I moved over to vape, and then a couple months after that, I was feeling much better than I was on cigarettes. But I noticed a similar like thing in my chest or like neck where it felt like I was getting a little congested, like I had bronchitis coming again, and I really didn't want that. So I just immediately took my vape and just chucked it at something. I don't remember what, but it probably flew somewhere. And I just went and got Nicorette, and then a month later I was done. No cigarettes, no nicotine.
Really?
Yeah, I've
Damn.
only had
Oh wow.
I've only had
That's
3
intense.
cigarettes since, and they've all been when I've been really, really drunk.
Shit.
Right.
So I got a question. So you guys are actually a lot older than me.
Oh yeah, by the way, have a
Were
great night,
Yeah.
Sam.
Was there a lot of people smoking in high school growing
Yes.
up? Because in my high
Big time.
school, it was like fucking 3 people in the whole goddamn school. Like smoking was already dying down and no one gave a shit. It's like if you smoke, that's kind of gross because of all the fucking marketing and everything now for my
Smoking
generation.
in my high school was like vaping in modern high school.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Here's the weird thing about the generational gap between us. So you're 39, I'm 27, you're 23. So that is always interesting to me because whenever I look at Clyde, I don't see somebody who's just about to turn 40. You literally look
Right.
like you're just about 30. So
I know I
like, the
look
fact
really
that you're a
young.
smoker
I
is
grow the
really
beard just so I
surprising.
look kind of my age.
It's just so funny how they always say like smoking makes you age, and then like you look at you look at Clyde, and it's just like how old would you have looked before? Or would you have looked like a toddler?
That's it. I had to smoke for 20 years just to kind of look my age.
Yeah.
That's
Grow a
it,
beard.
folks. There you go.
Well, like-
You
That's
want to
it.
look older when you're like 16 to buy cigarettes? Just start smoking before you buy the cigarettes. There you go.
Yeah, but
Easy.
But then this
Fucking
is
no
where things
problem.
are interesting to me. So, Clyde, you're 12 years older than me. So in that 12 years between me in high school and you in high school, it was the same pattern where everybody was smoking the same way they vape now. And then there's a 4-year
Yeah.
gap between me and Evan's school barely had anybody who smoked. So what
Yeah,
happens
and
in
like
that 4
just
years?
as I got out of high school, the vaping thing was starting to pick up. So I was starting to see a trend of people like vaping in class and everything. So it's like it went from no one smoking to the last year of high school to a lot of people starting to vape in class and fucking everywhere. It's like this is weird. This is probably what smoking was like 10 years ago in high school. But
that's
now it's
so
vaping. But
backwards.
no one cares as much because it smells good and it's not nearly as bad for you. But yeah, it's still weird.
I find that
I remember
so
going to the
funny, though.
arcades in like high school, and you go to the arcade, and the arcade was like at a pool hall. You know, they'd have an arcade in the corner,
Yep.
and you just go in there, and they didn't care. You're like, I don't know how old we were, like fucking 12, and we're just smoking
Jesus
in this
Christ.
building.
Nobody
We're
fucking
playing
cares.
games,
Absurd to me.
right?
I just
That's just how it was.
That's the part that seems so baffling to me. Is like there's a bigger age gap between me and Clyde, but our patterns are so the same. Like I
Yeah.
remember the arcade still too.
Yeah.
But Evan, do you remember an arcade?
I've never. So the only
You
arcade I
could never
kind of
smoke
went
at an
to.
arcade, though.
I did.
Yeah, no. So
Oh, okay.
the only arcade I've ever went to was like for a birthday party when I was like 9 or 10, and
it
there was only
Planetarium?
2 of them left in the city. But it wasn't a full-on arcade. It was like basically a Chuck E. Cheese's with more
Yeah.
fucking arcade machines.
I know
It
which one
wasn't
you're
like a
talking about.
full-on arcade feel that you see in all the movies, or I'm sure you guys have experienced, but I've never seen. So it's like a weird middle ground as they're trying to adapt, but they're too far behind just before they die, kind of thing.
Well, Metrotown
So
still has a full arcade.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know how it's
Yeah,
doing
I've
since
been to
COVID,
it.
but it was pretty cool when I
Oh,
went to
I
it.
don't know. It's weird. You'll never get the old arcade feel though. Like you'll never
No.
get it because back in the day there was no home consoles.
Yeah, everything's too accessible.
Yeah.
And even when like the NES was out and the SNES and the Genesis and all that, it was like the ports were crap compared to the arcade. The arcade had the better hardware. So you go to the arcade and you get the like real experience of what the game should be like.
I remember Street Fighter being
So-
a big proponent of that, where it's like the
Oh, dude,
home
it was
the home
awesome.
version was like but then when you go to the arcade with your friends and waste $7 in quarters, it's like, oh, that was way better.
Well, the frames were better, and you
That's
could
true.
do way better sprite work because like the consoles were limited in what they could do.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Street Fighter fan, so like you jumped into my territory
No,
here
fair
by
enough.
mentioning it. But like
Huge
Street Fighter
loser.
3 took forever to come out, even on the arcade, because they wanted to go console port, but they like the business wanted to go console, Capcom, but the people making Street Fighter were like, we want more sprites and we want more frames for the animations and stuff, and it took forever to make even an arcade for it. There was so much fighting in what was going on there. But yeah, dude, Street Fighter was top notch in the arcades.
I actually moved away from Street Fighter probably after 2. I think then I got more
Yeah.
enthralled by Mortal Kombat's killing. And then I was just
Yeah.
like, if I'm going to play a fighting game, I want to see somebody's spine come into my hand. I just want to
I
rip
just
it.
That's
I
a good
don't
point.
I think Mortal Kombat, like, I don't know if it was the smarter move or if it was the less smart move, but like, because they're both successful in their own right. But Mortal Kombat went towards consoles. They were like one, two, three in the arcade, and then that was it. Like nobody remembers playing 4 or 5 or any of those in the arcade. It
Oh,
just didn't happen.
I remember playing 5, though, and it's not for a good
Yeah, yeah,
reason.
but it wasn't like big international success like it was with 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. That's
So
fair.
and then they went right to console competitions. Like you were playing like like playing it on PlayStation at comps and stuff. Like that's how it was for that. It wasn't Street Fighter. Street Fighter was still like very much an arcade game during those days.
Yeah. I remember
It's
that
it's
nostalgia.
it's only more recent that it's like a PlayStation. I just PC. Come on.
I will still say, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Street Fighter, my best memories of arcades were playing that with my friends. Easily.
Same.
Easily. Like, even though Mortal Kombat at home would have been cool, I still remember the arcade experience being so much better.
I'm kind of sad
Oh,
because I never
yeah.
got an arcade experience, like ever. Like I said, there's only one place, and it was kind of like weird arcade, not the true arcade experience. So that's not something I'm ever really going to see. Because even today, like you said, Clyde, most arcades don't deliver that experience. Have you ever been to one today that does, like, come close
No.
to it?
That's what I was getting at. So like, so even the arcade experience back in those days wasn't always at the arcade. Like half the time it was at 7-Eleven or Max Mart or wherever.
Oh yeah, so
corner
you like
store.
get some like Slurpees with your buds, and then head to the arcade, and that's part of the experience.
Every store had a stand-up cabinet and a pinball machine. It was like just the
Oh,
standard.
interesting.
Yep.
So you get the kids to hang out, they get their allowance, they go to the corner store, and they're all seshing on these two machines, buying pops and sodas and candies and chips and all this stuff. It was just a marketing thing, and then they obviously made money from the machine as well. But yeah, that was a big thing back in the day, and even now where arcades are still a big industry. I mean, it's not so much a big industry, but like still have enough demographic for, like in Tokyo, it's not the same experience.
No.
Like their arcade experience was always much different to ours. So like we always had stand up cabinets and um, just the feel of the arcade was kind of came from like pool halls where like billiards halls and stuff like that. Arcades in Japan were like game centers. They don't even call them arcades,
Yep.
game centers. And they're very much like sit down cabinets. They make them very comfortable for you. They didn't give a shit about your comfort back in the day in North America, right? It was just cram as many machines in. Kids will stand all day. Who cares? But yeah, in Japan, you sit down. It's comfortable. They have smoking and non. It's
Damn.
very, yeah, it's a very different experience. But that's the only place where I get to kind of relive what it was like. But yeah, like I said, it's different.
See, one thing I actually just remembered, I went to an arcade for the first time recently, like a legitimate arcade, and I felt that all the games, even though it's cool that like you go in and you're playing on this thing that's specifically meant to play one game, it felt like a more watered down experience than just what you'd get at home. It's more of a like not a commodity, but it's like I wouldn't go out of my way to go do it all the time. It was neat, but I'd have more fun playing the games at home anyways. So
That's why your experience will never be the same.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Everything's too accessible now. Old school
Yeah.
arcades, it was like you could be at home with a shitty version of the game, or you could be out here with your friends with a great version of the game. But
Yeah, like if you really want, you could buy a fucking $500 VR headset and then just have the most cool experience of your life in your own living room. Whereas if you go to like a VR arcade, you just sit in this weird fucking coffin thing. You put it on, and it's like a shitty watered down game because they can't afford you like the place wouldn't be able to afford to let you play the entire time that you're there because they have to cycle you out for other customers to play
Exactly.
more. So it's like you're almost better off just staying at home. So it's not something I'll ever get to see.
And unfortunately, that's just kind of how it's going to be for future generations too.
Yeah,
I think
if
my
not
generation
worse.
was literally the last one that got to experience that kind of nostalgia factor of what an arcade could be. Because I remember going to Metrotown's Palladium all the time. And Apple Alex was making a good point. He went to one, saved all his points, and it ended up being for nothing. Same thing happened to me with Palladium, where I went there probably once a week with my friends on the weekend, and we would just go there, play a bunch of games, that we would go home and play different types of games, like a Halo or something, like Halo 2 or Halo 1, where you
Yeah.
couldn't play that at the arcade, but you would still get better experiences for some other things. So it's interesting to see how like that 4 year gap between me and Evan had such a drastic change on what
Yeah.
my nostalgia is compared to yours. Like your nostalgia would probably still be the same for the NES or the Super Nintendo as mine would be because I was raised with that shit. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
arcades will never be the same.
Now, here's one thing that I just thought of right now. So, like,
Oh,
I think even another 4 year gap between me and another generation is that I got to experience split screen and LAN parties, which is probably something the other generations after me is something they're never going to experience. Because like I was at the tail end of having a bunch of buddies come over and playing Halo on the 4 player split screen thing, and now all games are over online because online multiplayer play is so great, you know?
Yeah, they don't even have couch co-op anymore for a
Yeah,
lot of games.
90% of the games don't even have couch co-op. Especially if you're on PC like most of us here. Yeah, you're not going to get to have like you're not going to be able to sit down with four buddies and just fucking scream at each other cuz one person got the sniper and is killing everyone else while you're having like four beers and everything, you know? But
It's funny because we played the Halo series because I never played them, so you
yeah.
walked me through them.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
it's
wasn't
crazy.
that wasn't like my thing. I mean, I was off moving into different towns and getting laid.
Yeah, exactly. See?
When Halo came out,
so
right?
okay,
While you were out partying, I was studying the blade.
nice.
Yeah,
A
right.
man of
Kind of
culture,
thing,
I
you
see.
know?
So Apple Alex brought up an unpopular opinion. Halo 4 and 5 were amazing. So I just want to say something really quick as somebody who's been a Halo fan since it came out and even watched all of
Same.
Red versus Blue and all the comics, read the books and everything. Halo 4 was a good game. It was a viable game. It introduced the Forerunners, introduced Forerunner technology, and gave a huge scope to everything that could be done in Halo. I have some issues with 5, and that is the shitty storytelling that they decided to go for. The game itself was great. Mechanics were great. Overall, it was well polished. But they really fucked over the chief on that one. I'll give you 4, but I will not give you 5. 5 was so cancerous, I might as well just go do chemo now.
So, yeah,
Multiplayer was popping. Okay, all right. Alex, you know what, Alex?
Yeah.
That's fine. I can agree with that. The campaign was shit. Multiplayer, all right. It was pretty good.
So-
Two was
I'll
the best
agree
for
with that.
me.
Which one?
two.
2 was definitely the best for campaign. Hands down.
Two. Okay, so I
Yeah,
actually like
I enjoyed
3
it
the
the
most for campaign.
Oh,
But
interesting.
2 was really fucking fun. Keep in mind the generation gap. I grew up on 3. You would have grown up on 2
Yep.
there, Ruthless.
Yep.
But the thing is, Clyde never played any of these games growing up. So he got the
No.
full experience. We did it from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. No. We didn't do
All the way
5.
through
and I
I
don't,
couldn't do
ODST.
5.
I don't think we did Reach 2.
We
I
did
don't think we did
Reach.
Reach. Did we do Reach?
We did Reach.
Wait, you did?
Okay.
I don't remember watching it.
I don't remember Reach either.
I thought we played Reach.
I don't remember
I
it.
think so.
What was the one where it's like kind of open world one that we just kind of
I
bailed
think that's
on?
4.
That's ODST.
Oh,
Because
ODST.
ODST
right,
is
right,
like
right.
kind of boring.
Yep.
We
But
bailed on that one, and then we played the one that was next after that, and that was the last one we played.
That would have been 4 then in the chrono.
Yep.
Because you're doing the chief
so we
collection.
we
right?
played
4.
4 and we kind of bailed because Clyde doesn't like vehicle missions, and every single fucking second mission
Dude,
is a vehicle
if
mission.
you guys play Reach, I'll play with you. We'll put
Dude,
that
Reach
shit
is
on
my favorite
Legendary.
Halo game, hands
Oh,
down.
that's a great Halo game.
Yeah.
The vehicle
it's
missions are
undervalued.
terrible in Halo, though. Like, yeah, no.
I think they only started getting bad after like 3 though. 3, I remember the missions being just tedious and boring, whereas like 2 and 1, they were like action packed. Like I remember driving through the Pillar of
Yeah.
Autumn and being like, "Motherfucker! Oh my
Yeah.
god! Ah!" But then like Halo 2, I had that same feeling with one of the other missions. I can't remember the name of it. And then Halo 3, I remember being like, "I think this is supposed to be cool, but why isn't it?"
Yeah,
The
right.
only
And then it
tedious
just got
thing about
worse.
2 was the flood.
Yeah, I didn't even find them that much of an annoyance, really.
They
trying
weren't
to
that,
remember
they weren't
any
that bad
flood in
though,
2.
but that was
Oh,
it 2 or was it?
right.
Yeah, no, it was 2. It was 2. There was
Yeah.
a few tedious bits with it, but overall that was the one I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, fair enough. And you mainly played it on the remastered version. Like you barely went back to the normal
Yeah, I didn't
version,
go back
right?
much.
Yeah,
I looked back to just
totally
go,
understand.
derp.
Yeah, right. It's
Back to
completely
good.
different. So,
It
yeah.
had the best storytelling moments though. It had
Oh, it
like
was
the
so good.
when you get to play as the baddie. I'm like, what?
Right?
You know?
That was fucking cool. That was a moment.
That was awesome.
When you first experienced it, like, what? You get to play as the elite? Like,
Yep.
dude, fucking got
Yeah, it was
chills
awesome.
thinking about
That was
that.
rad.
So, do you guys want to do like a really difficult lasso run of some of the classics?
So I'm totally down. I don't think Clyde would be.
I
so,
don't know, maybe.
Legendary,
We'll
all
see.
skulls on.
So this is like one of the hardest campaign experiences I've ever experienced in my life with any game.
Yep.
And you know how well I did on Halo, Clyde. So Lasso, Legendary, all skulls on. So the skulls are the modifiers to the game that makes it more difficult. And
Yeah, yeah.
holy fuck, is it difficult? Like Jesus
I got
Christ.
an idea.
What?
I was just thinking about this today. I was like, if I had to go, because I go to Japan every once in a while, and when I go, I go for like 3 weeks at a time.
Yep.
The next time I got to do a 3-week stint, I guess you guys could do a collab,
Yeah.
That's not
No,
a
that
bad
works for me.
idea,
That's
actually.
a good idea.
just so we have content. Because I mean, for anyone that's listening in that doesn't know, I'm the producer of the Maximum Underdrive show.
Yeah.
So if I'm not producing, Evan's kind of got limited options
I've got
for.
yeah. I'm so limited on what I could do with the stream from my end. So
Right, but that could be a good thing that I could set up.
I think
and be
that's a
like,
great
boom,
idea.
Here's
Yeah.
the file. Here's the thing. I'll show you how to load it all up, and then bam, just collab that.
You know what you could do too? You could get like a still image of you in your suit, and then you could take my feed from your camera, or from my camera, and just implement it over your head.
Replacement Clyde.
Just give you a Clyde Snapchat filter.
Yeah, there you go. That way you could still have Evan and Clyde, but it's just like with the fill-in. I'm the substitute teacher of the Maximum Underdrive.
That's funny. That's really funny.
I like it. I think that would work. I think that would work
I just
well.
need to get like an image of you, and then I can just implement that when I get my green screen. Because by the time
Nice.
you go to Japan, I'll have my green screen. Then I just
Oh,
put
yeah,
my
that's a
head
good
on your
point.
body.
Yeah, by the time I'm allowed to go to Japan, jeez.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well
fair
overdue
enough.
on the
Christ, that's a
last
good point.
trip.
Clyde clone Mark 193. I'm like if 4 of his clones fused together and they just ended up in some Rorschach mess.
This batter spilled all into one vat, just like a big tub.
I'm just like, kill me, kill me. Help."
You'll look like Commander Keys in Halo 1.
Timely. I love
Oh
it.
man, that's good.
Holy shit.
That's fucking funny.
But yeah, man.
But that's an idea for when I do go out of town.
I
think
remember
that's a great
doing
idea.
that
I was just
shit.
thinking about that today. Like, fuck, 3 weeks is a long time to not make any content.
Yeah, that's 6 streams.
I don't think I could go that long being away from stream. Just
Yeah.
for me, my like mental health. It's like the easiest way for me to connect with so many people.
Right?
Oh, it's really weird when I do. Especially now that I don't use a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
I used to use a laptop all the time, and I just bring it with me. But like now, I leave, and then I've got nothing. I got my
Yeah.
phone.
You
Like,
need
what?
gaming laptop.
Like that's something that I've found really interesting to deal with Twitch, just because like the instant gratification of speaking with people, like Apple Alex, for instance. Question for Ruthless: what games do I play? I'll play pretty much anything. That's the thing, is when I say I'm a variety streamer, I'm a variety streamer. I'm not going to get locked into one game and just stay with that
I'll
one
be right
game
back.
because I want to try to reach as many people as I can. But
Yeah, right.
One of the things that I haven't really been able to process and how to deal with is with Twitch. I've noticed that if my internet goes out, which it did actually this week, I was away from Twitch streaming for about 3 days because I just had spotty internet connection and I just didn't want to give like a spotty stream the entire time. So for 3 days, I couldn't stream, which also mean I couldn't upload because anytime my upload disconnected, it wouldn't actually upload. I had to restart it. So I basically edited for 3 days, and I was just thinking, man, I wish I could talk to some people that I usually chat with on stream, but it's like, I can't do that right now, so I'll just absorb myself in other work. So I did that. And then there were 2 days. The first day when I got the internet back, I just spent the whole day uploading videos to YouTube. I think there was 47 new videos that I had going up onto YouTube.
Cool.
Just from editing for
Did
those
you
3 days.
did you make them all public in the same day?
No. I upload them and make them
okay.
private. But in
All
fairness, this is because I got banned on the other YouTube channel, so I'm trying to take all of their videos and put them onto the new channel so I don't lose the content. So every 2 hours, I have a video going in public. But I also have videos scheduled for publicity for about 3 weeks now. So every 2 hours for 3 weeks, a new video goes out. Every 2 hours. And the problem with that is when I was away for those 3 days, I didn't know how to process the loneliness that went with it. Because I find when I'm streaming, it's just... It's different. It doesn't, like, even though you're not face to face with the people in your chat, it just doesn't feel as lonely. Whereas when you're off and you're forced to be off, it's not like by choice. It feels like you're being punished for something you shouldn't have done. Like you're grounded from something when you didn't do anything wrong. And that's just a hard thing to process mentally. Whereas with YouTube, it was like, well, I'm already knowing I'm recording this to nobody. I'm editing it to myself and I'm posting it for hundreds. Whereas here it's, I'm in front of you, dozens of people. Don't judge me too harshly. Actually, judge me as harshly as you want because it's me. Who fucking cares? And then we have a good time. We laugh. We have a good time. And then I edit it and compile it. It's a very different mentality than old school YouTube.
It's
Why did
weird.
my YouTube
Yeah,
get
it is.
deleted?
It is big time because I did old school YouTube, the old scripted cinematic dealy, right? But it's weird that you mentioned that because, I mean, I don't have like a loneliness because, I mean, I have my wife and kids and all that stuff.
I don't
but,
have
like,
either of those. A
right,
wife or
but,
children.
But I do know what you're talking about because like last time I went to Japan, I was away from most of my social medias. Not only like was I not with my computer, so I couldn't access like most of the stuff that I was doing. I was on a totally different time zone, so like when I was awake, like nobody online, even though I had like access to it, were awake, and it was all really weird. So like a lot of the people that I would talk to just on a daily were like not accessible to me. So it was like this huge like emptiness.
Yeah.
Where there used to be something, right?
It's that
it
same
felt really
mentality.
So are you guys both like, I know Clyde is for a fact, but I don't know about you, the Ruthless. Are you guys really extroverted people?
No.
I am.
I'm it's
Yeah, I know you're like
so
the most extroverted person I know.
for me, I'm very 50-50. It depends on how drunk I am or how stoned I am at the time.
Okay.
Plus, it has
How
to
do you unwind? That's how you determine it. Because like,
me?
do you like need to get away from people? Just like, okay, I'm too stressed. I need to unwind. Go to people, or do I need to leave people? It's like,
For me personally, I think for me, I don't think I need to leave people. For me, I get absorbed in my own world when I want to be away from the outside world. I will surround myself with the things that I love, which is loud music, alcohol, weed, and editing my videos. That's my hobby. My hobby is to try to make content that will make others laugh. And when that works, I get like this weird sense of joy. Like kind of like you're like 14 and you accidentally see a nipple. That's kind of what kind of joy I get whenever I make a video. If I'm watching something that I made and I'm like, haha, that's funny, I like that, and I upload it and people do too, I'm like, fuck yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's that me plus mentality. No, I got the same thing. So like I think it comes from like when you're growing up and there's just like people don't pay attention to you, but when you do something that makes people laugh, then you get that little like, hey, that kid's alive. And he does stuff.
Wait a second.
And then you grow up just with this like complex of like, I need to impress people.
Yeah.
Or like make them laugh or, entertain them in some way.
That's
And
actually
it
what
almost
I suffer
becomes
with. I have a weird complexity where if I'm not constantly on, I feel like I'm not myself. As weird as that
Yeah,
sounds.
Robin Williams was a lot like that. He was a very extreme
Oh, great.
case of
Then I
that.
can look forward to hanging from my bathroom.
Well, I didn't mean like the end. I didn't mean like the inevitability of it. Holy cow! I just meant
you
like
set
he was
me
an
up for
extreme
that.
case because
That's
he was
your fault.
on all the time.
That's your fault. You set me up for that. You knew I was going to take
Yeah,
a
I
joke.
did. I did.
You
did
knew
totally
I was
set you
going
up.
for it.
That's so funny. I mean, horribly funny.
Oh,
in
he'd
a
make fun of
horrible
it
way,
too. If it was anybody else, Robin Williams would make the same joke, and everybody would be sitting
Oh,
in the
totally.
crowd going. But that's them beating their meat because it's Robin Williams.
Because Robin Williams.
I love Robin Williams.
Mrs.
He's so
Doubtfire.
good.
What a champ.
I'm so sad we're not getting Mrs. Doubtfire too. I would have been so happy about that. Oh, also, before we go too far away from it, Apple Alex was asking you, Clyde, why
Yeah, I was
do you
about
go
to
to Japan
address
so
that.
often?
Yeah. So Apple Alex is asking specifically for me, what's next after Satisfactory? By the way, super impressed with Maximum Underdrive server. You should post a video of you touring it on our
Oh,
/Satisfactory game.
that's a good point.
I think we were gonna work on that, right, Evan?
So basically, the idea that we have going forth is we want to try and bring in as many people as possible. It's a little bit hard because we're limited because we only play it when we're streaming. But when the whole servers come out, and hopefully they come out soon, we want to try and start inviting as many people as possible to start adding to all the buildings in our server. That includes content creators and people from our chat and whatnot from the community. And
The
then
masses. Yeah.
yeah,
Everybody.
once we have a fairly substantial city built up, I actually want to go and approach the makers of the game and say, hey, check out this city, and post on the subreddit and everything. This is a culmination of what the community has created as a whole, and show it off to show them like what we're capable of. Because the way we play the game is really weird and different, but I think that's great because it shows people that the game can be played in different ways. And by showing the creators that it can be played in different ways, they could probably implement some things for people who play the game in our way, and also get some clout to everyone who added
It's
to
funny our way because you and I both play the game differently, and we're building in the same world, right? It's
that's
a
a big
cool
thing.
Like the two different styles of playing a game, but having it like complement into one build.
I will say, as a viewer, more so as a player, I'm very entertained by that. Like seeing the two different
I'm glad.
spectrums side by side, it's quite nice. Because like for me, I personally don't like building games. Like I tried Rust, I hated the building aspect, but I loved going around and just griefing people.
I hate the griefing aspect of it.
Right?
That's why I never played Rust or Conan or any of those.
I was that douchebag that would just go around and just try to like have fun and like
You're the
harvest
sack of
stuff and kill
shit.
people. But that's like the one thing that's the reason I haven't really joined in with you guys on Satisfactory is like for me personally, I couldn't justify $30 on a game that I'm just not going to enjoy as much as I should. But I
Right.
do love watching it. That's the weird thing about that game. Whereas even though it's not a style of game I like playing, I do enjoy watching what can be done with it. It's kind of like Minecraft and like professional Rust players, professional quote unquote, like the RP Rust players. It's really interesting to see how they do things versus me who like, oh, rock, and then smash like a caveman who just discovered what the hell a rock can do. So
Right.
I will say I appreciate that as a viewer, seeing both of your perspectives side by side versus just seeing
Well,
one at a time.
it's funny too because like Evan's a veteran like building game player,
I can tell.
and I played Minecraft,
I can also
that's
somehow
it.
tell. Like it's
and I've
it's
only
weird.
played it. I've only played it like in the past year. Like I
Oh.
binged it. Yeah, I
Oh.
binged it for it was like a year and a half ago. I binged it for like 4 months straight. Because I just fell in love with it, right? But I'd never played it before, and I never played any of these builder games, and so I'm new to the whole genre and everything. So you've got like a veteran and a beginner basically in our streams.
See, you don't come
But the
across
funny
that way,
thing
though.
is,
You really don't come across as a beginner. I thought for sure you've had other games where it's had like similar like trees for building and shit, because you just seem so naturally into it. So it comes across like, even as like a viewer who can't tune in all the time but still does, you seem like you're way more experienced with it than somebody like me.
Oh, that's cool. I'm
So-
not though.
Well, there you go.
I find it funny because
inside
the
Maximum
way
Underdrive.
the way Clyde plays games is the way he is like as a person, with the way he's like good
That
at
makes
doing
sense.
shit. So he's a mechanic by trade, and the amount of shit you have to know in that trade is insane. And you need to be very industrious. And when he hopped into Minecraft, the difference between what I did and he did showed off the kind of people we are. So Clyde went in, made a basic building, and then just filled it to the brim and hustled to get like all these automatic systems going and like all this stuff to get all the resources going. And then all I do when playing is just creating the most beautiful stuff, but I don't have any things at my disposal. So like it shows the kind of person you are by the way you play the game, which is really cool. So I think the reason why Clyde is so good at these games and the way he plays them is because of the way he is outside of the gaming world. Because it just
just grind
fits
it.
so well. Yeah, he just grinds it, you know? So it's really interesting.
See,
It's fun. It's a fun grind though. I like it.
Yeah.
that aspect of things is quite interesting to me. But I've also learned that throughout my years of gaming, whenever there seems to be some sort of like a gaming mechanic built around solely building something, I just tend to drift away from it. Like Fortnite was a big one for that. If it was just a game where you were shooting people, I probably would have played it. But the fact that I have to build a fort to like escape people shooting me, I'm like, nah, bruh, I'm out of this. Fuck this. I'm gonna go play Halo.
Yeah,
a
it
real
never
shooter.
appealed to me. Never appealed to me.
But like the thing is,
if it's a builder game, make it a builder game.
yeah.
If it's a shooter game, make it a shooter. I don't know. I mean, obviously there's a target audience for that, so I can't shoot
I
it
do
down
give
too bad-
Epic
too
credit
bad.
though. Fortnite was a good shooter. It was. I hate the community. I hate the people that play it. I hate the people that stream it. The game was okay. I know I said a lot
It's
of
a bit
things.
like Call of Duty for me.
Yeah, it's kind of like Call of Duty. But the thing with Call of Duty that I find super duper strange with their formula now, and one thing that always pissed me off with Call of Duty was the fact that you could basically die of a sepsis infection you had 1 week before you even went to the battlefield. That's how it feels when you die. But in Warzone, it's a little bit different because they kind of give you a little bit more. They give you a little bit more like health to make it seem more like Battlefield or more like Halo in terms of the amount of bullets you can take before you die. So it has a different experience than Call of Duty. So I separate Call of Duty from Warzone. The Call of Duty experience to me is die a bunch of times to a 13-year-old, get called the N-word, get called the F-word, get called an N-word again, and then die some more, and then
Classic.
somebody's drinking Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof.
That one chili set my mouth on fire, so I had to drink a whole 2-liter Mountain Dew.
It just sucks because I love Doctor Disrespect so much. Like I
Mm-hmm.
love watching his show, but like just the Call of Duty thing. Like when he gets into Warzone, I'm like, kind of over it.
I kind of have been too. That's why I haven't been playing it as much on stream. But it's because it's just the same old, same old. I feel like
Yeah.
as soon as they change up the map and everybody doesn't know where everybody's going to be camping or hanging out or doing whatever they do, I feel like that's going to add an extra little bit of oomph to the gameplay. Like I feel like once the game comes out, me and you guys should do another Warzone stream. We can
Yeah, you
bring
can
in,
carry me again.
Hey, I don't mind.
Carry
You guys-
us.
You bring me into lobbies that I can kill them super easy. I don't mind murdering an entire lobby. Fuck it. They'll get my PR.
So I'm gonna get back to Apple Alex's question. He says, "What's next after Satisfactory?" So basically, our idea, you know, what's funny is like our whole premise for our show came from a video idea for Satisfactory, because we really wanted to play this game, and it's like it's right up our alley. It's a great game, and Evan's like, we were doing other stuff. We were just doing like kind of a basic show, and it wasn't really going anywhere because nobody was watching us on YouTube, and
Yeah.
it was boring. It wasn't that entertaining of a show.
So
I mean,
what
it was us. it was us, and it was our humor and all that stuff, but it wasn't the characters. So, but Evan came up with this idea. He's like, "Hey, we should do this like one video," because we tried playing the game and just like doing a let's play, and it was boring, and it was just not fun to edit.
It was
or
so
even
mediocre and so much footage. It's like we're better than this kind of thing. So
yeah, and Evan came up with this idea. Hey, why don't we pretend like we were working for a company, and the company sent us down, and we're actually in the game. And then we started coming up with like these lore ideas for this video, and then I just said, dude, why don't we make this channel wide?
Yeah.
Why don't we just be these characters all the time?
Yeah.
And he's like, shit, yeah.
Fuck yeah. And then we just
the channel was
immediately
born.
got to work. Yeah, that's how the
Yeah.
whole maximum underdrive idea came to happen. Because I remember seeing a long time ago, I used to follow this guy called Frankie on PC and 1080p. And he'd play
remember
a game
him.
called... Yeah, he's the best, but he doesn't post
remember
anything.
him. Holy
He'd
shit.
play a lot of DayZ. And what he'd do
Yes.
is... DayZ's normally a boring game because all you do is fucking walk and kill other people,
Yep.
you know, the entire time. But he made it a story that, like, an overarching story that happens over several episodes and, like, over other maps and everything, which doesn't normally work in the game, but he made it work thematically. So I'm like, okay, the story formula works, but we need to implement that into a game or something. So we implemented in the Satisfactory, and then... we started implementing at least, and then Clyde had the idea and like, holy fuck, that works even better than just over a single series. So that's how we started doing the whole thing. So
Yeah. Apple Alex is saying, wait, you have a YouTube channel?
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So we just started up a new YouTube channel because I have several YouTube channels, and we were uploading to. We tried rebranding an old channel I had. But I had like these old tool review videos on that channel, and that's really what gets all the traffic. So I think YouTube's algorithm was trying to send video game content to people who were watching my tool reviews, and we never got recommended to people who play games.
Yeah.
It just never took off. So yeah, we're going to try launching another YouTube channel, start from scratch, which sucks. Because you got to go through the whole grind to get to 1,000 subs to even monetize.
Fuck, it takes so long.
It's a big grind, but yeah, we'll try. We're gonna try to do that, and then and get things going. So keep your eyes out. It'll be under the same name, Maximum Underdrive.
Same shit.
I was gonna get back up to another question that Apple Alex was asking.
Yeah, there's a lot.
He says, "Why do you go to Japan so often? I've been wanting to go for a long time." And I almost went last summer, but because of the COVID thing. My wife's Japanese. She's from Tokyo, and all the in-laws are there. And we go. She goes more often than I do, but we used to live there. I lived there for 3 years, and I have a lot of friends and stuff in Tokyo. So, yeah, it's always good fun to visit. And one time I'm gonna bring Evan, at least one time.
Hell yeah, I want to go so badly. That's the only place, like, when I have money and want to travel, that's the first place on the list right there. So, specifically with you, if possible. Or both. Who knows?
You know, I would totally go. I've always had it as a dream to go to. I think there was 4 places that I remember mentioning. It was Harajuku, Osaka, Tokyo, and I wanted to go to, what's the gaming one? Starts with an A.
Akihabara.
That's it, Akihabara.
So Akihabara, Harajuku are in Tokyo. Those are just neighborhoods in Tokyo.
Oh, all right. Well, then that's an easy trip.
And they're on the same train line, those 2 places.
Yes, I'm so
There you go.
lazy that my brain was just like, I'm gonna go all these places on one subway.
Yeah, they're like 20 minutes away from each other on the same train.
Oh, that's perfect then. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's where I wanted to go. Was there. So anything.
But
on top of that
Osaka's
would be
another
good.
city.
I know that
Osaka's
one's
a couple
different
hours
place.
away.
There
You
might
got
have been another one
you
I
can
could go to. Kyoto.
Kyoto.
That's it. Yeah.
Kyoto.
Yeah.
That's like it's closer to Osaka, but yeah, you could just get on the Shinkansen at either Tokyo Station or Shinagawa Station.
Actually, I might
And
even
it's
be wrong
really
about the
fast.
place that I'm thinking of. What is the place that has the Golden Temple?
That's in Kyoto.
Oh, it is in Kyoto. Okay, so that was the other one I wanted to go.
That
to.
place is so tacky.
Is it? Oh,
Is it?
Everything else is so beautiful.
I
in
was
that-
hoping
in
it'd
the-
be
in
super
Kyoto.
nice. They always make it look so nice
It's so
in anime.
tacky.
Right?
No, but like it's like a big golden thing. It apparently burned down like a bunch of years ago, and then they rebuilt it, so it's not even really actually old.
Oh,
Oof.
damn
You see it in real life, and
That
you're
kinda
like,
ruins
but
it
that
for
one's
me.
so much more beautiful. Why did they take all the pictures of that one?
Oh, that
It's
ruins
like-
it for me then. All right, well then let's cross Kyoto off of that. Well, no, I'd still go to Kyoto. There's
I'd
probably
still
a lot
want to
to
more.
see
Kyoto,
it. I'd
for
still want to
sure.
see it.
It's just
I
so
still
funny
wanna be
because you go on the
disappointed.
if you go on the tour guide and it's this like pathway and you're walking through it and it's just like all these Chinese tourists and Korean tourists, like there's hardly anybody from Japan there.
Where would you say is the best place to go for hot springs then? Because I would love to
Ooh,
experience
hot
that.
springs.
I would love to experience like an authentic Japanese onsen.
Yeah, they're
Right? Same.
everywhere. They're everywhere.
Did I use
man.
that word
There's some
right?
really good
Onsen?
places right in Tokyo. There's some good places. You can go to I know some really good ones in Nagano. Nagano's got some really good ones. There's like volcanic like mountains up
Ooh,
in that
I'm in.
area.
As
But,
long as there's a volcano
there's hot
involved,
springs
I'm in.
everywhere. Geothermal's like the
I know
name of the
that's
game
why I'm
there.
like, so where's the best place in Japan to go for that? Because
Where's the hottest
hot
hot
springs
spring?
are called
I want to
onsens,
experience
right? Or is
boiling.
that public bathhouses?
I want to say Kiranosato.
Where's that?
Sure.
It's a specific like hotel. It's a
Oh.
onsen hotel.
Oh,
Mm.
shit!
And
Damn,
it's
hotels
like
dedicated
it's about
to
an
this?
hour out of Tokyo.
Damn.
And you can take a train right to it. And yeah, you stay at an inn, and it's like very old traditional Japanese. So you go in, and then you just like strip and grab your bathrobe, like the robes. It's like a yukata
Oh, I
style,
love
and you
those.
just put that on, and you just wear that for the whole time you're there. And yeah, everything's tatami, which is like those
Floor
like
panels.
So,
floor panels.
question though.
It's really comfortable to walk on barefoot.
Question about the etiquette of onsens. Would it be against the rules for me to be dressed like Obi-Wan Kenobi going into there with my Jedi robes instead of a
You can do
yukata?
whatever you
Okay,
want.
just wanted
Just
to make
they
sure I could
have
bring my
rules, though.
Obi-Wan robes.
If you have any, most places, if you have tattoos, they won't let you in.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, because of the Yakuza.
Yeah, well, it's just so in Japan they're very absolute. Like if they make a rule, everybody abides by that rule.
Oh,
So they
okay.
so the Yakuza, they don't want them in the onsens because it freaks people out.
I wouldn't even know. I'd just be like, sick tattoo, and then I'd die.
Yeah, but they're So,
Sick
I don't know if
tats,
they die.
bro.
But but it's just a rule. So they have a rule: no tattoos in the onsen.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm sorry. Deep Balerian Obi Wanabathi. Oh, that was perfect. I'm sorry. We'll go back to the chat in a sec. Sorry, go ahead, Claude. That was
oh
just,
god,
that
that's
caught my eye.
hilarious.
That was great.
But yeah,
Holy
no
shit.
tattoos. But for a lot of Westerners, because they know that like Westerners have tattoos and stuff, they'll allow you to like put something over it. They'll even like hook you up with like bandages and stuff, just cover it up.
Oh,
It's the same thing at public pools and stuff, so it's no different.
really?
Yeah, they just don't. There's a real taboo about tattoos and the Yakuza and stuff, showing them off.
I mean, that
'cause-
makes sense about the Yakuza.
and it's the reason why. And
Yeah.
like I said, they make a rule, and then it's a rule. It's not like over here where they're like, well, we're making a rule, but we're gonna make an exception because these people were upset about it, and we don't want to like tell them no or change the rule. We're just gonna make it's different rules for everybody. No, it's one rule, and everybody
That
follows
is
it.
one of the biggest things I respect about Japan, though, because they don't give in to the SJW bullshit that happens.
They
throughout
don't
the
give it
world.
to anything.
They're
Yeah.
just like, we did this, we're doing it this way. You either like it or you don't. Fuck off. that's
Yeah, and
like
if
how I
people
love them.
want to change the rule, then you got to change the rule for everybody.
Exactly.
It's not like
it's very
there's
equal.
no exceptions.
It's very equal, which I love. Actually, okay.
Yeah.
So before we differ too far from this, I think it was Apple Alex asked an interesting question. Okay, open question for you all. If you had a voucher for a 3-week all expense paid vacation anywhere in the world, where would you go and what would you do? I'm going to pass this to Evan first because I think me and him are going to have a very similar answer to this. And then we'll see what Clyde says because he goes to Japan all the time anyway. Odds are that's not going to be his answer. But if it is, hey, welcome to Japan. So, Evan, where would you want to go?
3 week all expense paid. So yeah, I mean, you know the answer. It would be Japan because I want to experience it, but it's also a close second to Hawaii because I've been to Hawaii before on Maui, and holy fuck, that was the best vacation of my life. It's just so beautiful there. So yeah, I don't have a long answer for it because I basically said it would be Japan because I want to experience the culture. I want to see everything. I'm a huge fucking weeb. There's no hiding it, and just like to see what it's like over there. So, yeah. Is yours kind of the same,
Mine's
Ruthless?
pretty similar. So, like, the reason I say Japan, I would specifically pick winter time because I hate summer. I am fat. I'm insulated with heat all the time. I don't want to go where it's going to be more humid, and I don't want to go where it's going to be more sunny.
I feel that.
So
I feel that.
Hawaii's out of the question for me unless it's during the winter. I've always wanted to go there, but I'd have to lose about 100 pounds before I go there. Otherwise, I'll be the tastiest smelling thing on the beach. Japan, however, I think going there during the winter will be quite festive. I feel like they deal with Christmas the same way Canada used to deal with Christmas, like early 2000s, where there's trees everywhere and people are fairly celebratory. At least according to anime, that seems to be the thing, and I'm a huge weeb. Clyde, don't look at me like I'm insane. How dare you? Don't ruin my dream yet. Let me get there first.
Okay.
But I feel like I would go over there during like early Christmas time and try to have KFC during Christmas, like the thing they do there. And I feel like it would just be overall better than Christmas here.
I actually want to change my answer after Clyde goes.
Yeah,
Sorry,
fair
I just
enough.
wanted to get that in.
Go ahead, Clyde. Let's hear it.
Okay, so yeah, it's a tough answer for me because I go to Tokyo all the time. Like I always want to go to Tokyo, so like I mean that's kind of a given. But I do really want to visit somewhere tropical, but I can't really. I'm really having a hard time deciding because like fuck the third world. I don't want to go somewhere where I might get robbed.
Fair
or
enough.
get some infectious disease.
Well, then,
that doesn't sound like a good time for me.
why don't
you know
we
what I
change
mean?
it up for
like
you then? Let's make it
What's
so you
that?
have like 5 locations you can pick from.
Well, here's the thing, right? So I would love to see Brazil, but I don't want to get robbed in Rio de Janeiro. You know what I mean? Like there's all these places in the world that I would love to see the geography of and see the culture, like the good parts of the culture, but are just like dangerous, shitty places. The thing that I love about Tokyo is that you can walk the streets and never, ever have a problem.
Yeah.
It's the safest place ever. You know what I mean? And it's a great thing that it is that. So it's a really tough answer for me because
I've actually
I
seen
love
people
being
leave
in
their
a safe
cameras
place.
and everything in the open in Tokyo, and then they'll come back and their shit's still there. Try that in Vancouver. Try that in America. Try that anywhere else. Your shit's gone. It's sold. It's already been bought by somebody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't do that with umbrellas or bicycles. Those
Yeah.
are the two things that get stolen in Japan.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
I don't know.
if you're going there, like, I've seen countless times where vloggers will go there, they'll accidentally leave their camera on, like, a table at a restaurant that they go to.
Yeah.
Then, like, an hour later, they'll come back and they'll be like, oh, it's still here. Whereas any other country I can think of, it's gone. It's already been sold at a pawn shop. They're already looking through your nudes. It's over.
It's done.
It's
And
over.
you get out of the plane at the airport and you don't know where you're going. You don't have to worry about getting in the wrong car.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean? Like it's just not one of those places.
A very
So-
Simpsons reference for me, but yes.
Oh, I didn't know that was a Simpsons thing.
Oh, when
it's
they-
a real world
yeah,
thing
when-
where
when
you
they
get in
went
the
to
wrong
Brazil,
car and
they
you
went
get like
into
held for
a-
ransom.
Yeah, Homer and Bart went into a Brazilian taxi and they ended up getting kidnapped, and Homer ended up eating too much food, so even the ransom amount was too much or not enough to cover his food bill. It was a huge like episode they had. I remember it because
Yeah.
they specifically said their money was gay. And I was just like, oh, that's really weird considering our money's the same color.
Another place that would be in my top 5 would be Egypt.
Oh,
I'd love
that's a
to
good
go.
one.
That's a good idea.
I went out with somebody who told me a lot about Egypt. It's apparently very beautiful. Apparently, I would die there because of the heat. But if you like the
I
heat,
love the heat.
by all means,
Evan
go
can't
there.
stand the heat either.
You're fucking crazy.
Yeah, I love it.
It's
I
apparently
love it.
extremely humid. It's not necessarily hot, but it's very humid. You're basically steaming.
That's why you want to go to Japan in the winter, hey?
Yeah, it's exactly why.
It's
I want
fucking
to.
humid there too.
I want to go there not during the summer. I don't care how many people are going out during the summer, how many Japanese schoolgirls I can flirt with. I don't care. That's not my main focus. I'm not EDP 445. I am specifically going there to enjoy Japan for all of its things, not their women.
Okay, go for it's the New Year's is their actual holiday. The
Oh, is it?
KFC thing is just like a marketing.
Oh God, that crushes my spirits. I thought it was something they actually like did as a tradition.
So commercially, like companies will do the Christmas trees and stuff like that. It's not really like because they're not. It's not a majority Christian country.
Oh,
New
that
Year's
explains a
is
lot.
like- Yeah, New Year's actually everybody takes like a week off for. So there's almost nothing to do during New Year's, so maybe don't go during New Year's.
Yeah, it's probably a bad idea then. What about no?
Because
Well,
I've gone during New Year's
how-
and have been bored for like the entire week a few times.
How is Japan in terms of humidity for like September, October?
Just fine. Oh wait, no, it's freaking hot.
Oh, never mind
actually,
then.
September.
What about
September,
October?
October's getting better.
Oh, okay.
It's like
I'll probably focus on
Cooling
that
off.
then.
Spring's really nice too.
Oh, spring ripe for cherry blossom blooming.
Yeah.
Isn't that
so,
a,
like,
is that a thing they
right
actually
around
like
this
go
time
and like
is
check
like
out?
sometimes it's actually like 30 degrees there this time.
Ooh.
Of year,
Oh,
Damn.
I'm out. I'm out.
Can be.
I'm out. Nope. I'm
Can
done.
be.
I'll wait till fall. I'll watch that shit fall off the tree.
You can never try to time your vacation for Sakura.
Oh,
though.
never.
It'll
I never bother with that. But hopefully, if
Yeah.
I lose like 100 pounds, that shit won't bother me. But my current weight, no. Humidity basically steams me alive. I am a literal
Nah,
steamed ham.
You don't have to worry about the humidity in Tokyo until like June. In Japan. Yeah, early June.
Fair enough. Fair
It starts really getting hot.
Okay. So it's like hot, but it's not humid in spring.
It's not crazy. It's
Okay.
the middle of summer that's crazy hot.
Yeah, because I remember watching the animes, and even they made it seem unpopularly hot. Like they're dipping for
Yeah.
sweat, and there's crickets or beetles always making that weird chirping noise, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to.
I know
around
the,
that.
oh, the cicadas in Japan. They drive me nuts.
Cicadas,
I don't know
that's
why
it.
they make a stranger
Cicada.
noise in Japan. They're selfish little fuckers. They just go me 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 all day
that's it.
long.
That's it. That's Japan's version of the Finding Nemo fucking seagulls. Mine, me,
Right?
me.
Yeah.
Wait.
The Mimi cicadas.
Okay, so we've all been through high school. Why don't we help Alex out? What would be a good senior prank? Preferably a non-destructive one that can be executed easily. Mine is claim that the teacher raped you.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
a
kidding,
funny
I'm
prank,
kidding, I'm
sending
kidding.
someone
That's
away for life.
non-destructive. Oh my god.
I mean, it's a prank, but it's not
Non-destructive to
necessarily
you.
good.
Wow.
I'm starting off strong, boys. Starting off strong. No, I never really pranked anybody, so I didn't really have any good ones, other than I remember the kidnapping prank, where the girls would go and kidnap guys that they wanted to take to them to a party overnight, and then they would just get super smashed and hung over the entire time and show up to graduation so fucking hammered that they're just like barely even able to pick up their birth certificate, their fucking their graduation diploma.
Here's
So,
your graduation. Here's your birth certificate. Thank
you
you.
left this at the beach. But yeah, no, that's probably my favorite one is the kidnapping one. Do either of
Never
you
heard of
have a prank story from senior grade?
I'm trying to remember. All the pranks we had were kind of lame, and they weren't really like pranks. I mean, I do remember reading on Reddit how some guy started putting the Sonic the Hedgehog with the pistol saying "nice cock" everywhere in the urinals and
That's a
stuff.
good one.
And like he eventually got banned from the school for it.
What?
But I mean, that's the best I got, you know?
If anything, Sonic
Our-
should
our
get
school's kinda
canceled.
lame.
He's looking at underage dicks.
Wait. You cut out what?
If anything, Sonic should get canceled. He's the one looking at underage dicks.
I know,
Yeah,
but
right,
apparently
there you
he
go.
got canceled.
It's bullshit.
Pranks on a mass scale are kind of a hard thing to do, other than filling a room
Yeah.
full of balloons and whatnot. Okay.
I just
So
thought of one.
if you guys play the national anthem, swap out the tapes so it plays the national anthem for a little bit, and then it goes in with Ram Ranch.
Okay, wait.
Oh yes.
That's good. I just thought of one that's so.
Do they play
perfect.
tapes though anymore? Like what the heck?
I don't know. When we did, they were still playing tapes, which even back then was pretty fucking archaic.
So, going back to what you just said, filling a room with balloons, right? What if you filled those balloons with stink spray, little fart spray cans? You just fill them up, and then anytime somebody pops them, it smells like a rancid fart.
That could
Well,
work.
that's pretty good.
That could work.
It'd be
It's
hard
not
to get the
destructive.
fart into the balloon without blowing
They
it back
have
in
like
your
a
face,
little,
though.
They have like a little straw, like not WD-40, like compressed air does. So you just
What
put
are
it
you gonna
inside
do,
the
like-
balloon and hold it up, and then just tie it up.
But you'd have to get that fart in your mouth, though.
Why?
'Cause
No,
you'd-
no, no, you
It
take
wouldn't
the
give
little
enough
straw.
air to, like, you'd have to go and finish blowing
Do you
up
not
the
know what
balloon.
compressed air is? That shit blows. It's like a can of compressed fart. I
Yeah,
know
but
it
you need,
sounds-
like, a lot of it.
Yeah, you get a few cans of it, like 10 or so cans of it. It doesn't have to be every balloon, but you just like mix in a couple of balloons. Then when people are popping balloons, they accidentally get a stinky one. And they look at their friends and they're just like, "What the fuck, dude? I was popping. Why'd you fart next to me?" And he's like, "I didn't." And then the friendship's ruined forever.
That's really funny, actually.
I say
like
go
that.
for that. There are a few unanswered questions up there. Are there? Did I skip? What did I miss?
Uh-oh.
How
Hold
did
on, I
miss
gotta go to the
these? I thought
washroom.
I was paying attention.
There was the one question about Satisfactory and why we played that one specifically a lot, and
Oh.
are we gonna keep playing that? So to answer that, one of the things we were doing, we were variety streaming, so just like you, and it's like we were kind of at a point, right, where it was getting annoying because we kept like searching for games to play.
Yeah.
It was constantly trying to find something fresh and new, and doing that is a lot of work. It's as much work as it is putting your podcast or any show together. So one part of it was like we need to have a staple game, and part of it was we need to stop worrying about what game we're going to be playing all the time, because at the same time Evan and I both have different taste in games, so we don't always agree on what game's fun. And stuff
Having
like
a
that
second
too,
person
right?
makes it pretty tough.
Yeah, so what we want to do moving forward is do a bit of variety streaming, because I still like playing other games. So every once in a while, I'll switch it up, play another game, or play a game for a bit of the stream, and then get into Satisfactory. We kind of wanted to make Satisfactory our staple for a while, at least for a while. If not, because there's going to be updates forever, and it's just one of those games you can just keep going with. So I'd say like that one's here to stay for the long run. Satisfactory being like a long-term game we're going to be playing for a long-ass time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to switch it up too, because there's other like space builder games too. What was that one Osmodeus was saying we should play?
Space Engineers?
Space Engineers. I really want to play that game. So
What's Space
plus the
Engineers?
dev team is amazing. Yeah, I keep hearing that. I haven't met any of the devs. I haven't talked to any of them. I've watched a couple of videos from them. They seem pretty cool.
You know what? That's your next sponsor. Get the devs in on it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, well, we're working on that. We're trying to get the devs to notice us. Notice me, senpai.
Senpai.
Oh, just there you go. Send them this podcast. Attach Notice Me Senpai and the link, and don't say anything else. See what they do.
There you go.
Like, I don't mean to toot our own horn,
It's great.
but like, if a streamer team like us were to play my game as a dev, I'd be like, holy shit, let's jump on these guys and keep them playing our game. You know what I mean? Like, I think what we do is we provide a pretty good product for the
Oh,
for the
well, I
audience.
mean, yeah. Like when I said the you know what? I'm gonna say this so you can clip it later. Give me 1 second. That way you can add it to your montage. Maximum Underdrive is the stream that makes Dr. Disrespect respectful. Like that's how I interpret it. that like, you look at the production value between yours and his. He's just a 58-year-old man holding on to a title from 1985 when most of us weren't even alive. You guys are starting something fresh where none of us are alive. You're in the year 26, whatever, and we're all dead.
But Disrespect is
mustache isn't
such
fake.
he's such an influence on us, man.
know.
Like, dude, like when I didn't even know, I knew who he was, but I didn't actually get into what his streams were about until like he got kicked off of the website.
So
And I
that's
was
kind
like,
of why.
I was like, what is this guy do? What? No way.
That's kind of why I
We
said
can
it
do
the
that.
way that I say it, because Dr. Disrespect I followed for quite a while. I never like fully watched his streams, but I always watched his like compilations of his streams. And you do what he does, but better. He's
Thanks,
having
man.
he's having issues with trying to like stay in character, from what I can tell. Like he's the same broken
Well, we
record
do
over
too.
and over and over again. Like think about it though. Like every single time he does the same thing. He gets killed, he freaks out, he rages for 5 seconds, he calls people fucking useless, and then he shakes his mustache. You guys have a bigger gimmick going on, and one that you haven't even fully tapped into the potential of. His is already tapped.
No,
He's got a $600 billion stadium and a $4 billion computer and a mustache that has more pussy on it than a fucking porn star. That's his brand. You guys have barely scratched the surface of what you're able to do, but he's locked himself in. He's the 2-time blockbuster 1983 champion of Mario 64.
94, 95, and it's NBA Jam.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? Like, there's just so little he can really branch off and make bigger than what he's already made. Whereas you can be bigger than you've even predicted that you can be. You
Yeah,
have
one
so
thing he's
much
got
available.
though that I really like about his production is the fact that you can sum up his character in a few sentences, and that locks people in.
True.
And that's something that we need to work on is to be able to, when somebody comes in, have a shtick that just immediately people will know what we're about
And it's
in
understandable
like
and it's easy
in
to
a few
digest.
sentences.
Yep.
He's so good at just reeling people in that quickly.
But
you know what I
that's
mean?
also
So
how he's
I
limited
gotta give him
himself.
that.
That's the thing. That he's sacrificed his limitations for his ease of access. That's where things have become interesting. Because he can't branch off too far from his persona, or else it's no longer Dr. Disrespect. It's something completely different. Whereas you guys have sky's the limit. You have storylines you can go through for any branch of whatever you want to go through. You could even end up in Star Wars if you wanted to. With your timeline, you could be in Halo. It's you've so much that you have available to you that you've given yourself by being in the future that Dr. Disrespect just didn't give himself because he's been trapped in the past since his 2-time championship.
So
I love that part of his character.
I know.
Right?
That's why
It's
I
fucking
can't
funny.
leave that alone. It's too good. It's too good.
See, we actually planned it out that way. When we started having the ideas, we're like, all right, we want to be as great as Doc, but we want to do what we want to do without locking ourselves into a character or a game. So we need some kind of cop out. So as we built the lore of the channel over the course of like a month and a half, we slowly tried to make it so doors are open to allow us to do more than one thing at a time. You know, so we've slowly been working towards that, and I think it's working out pretty well because we have so many cop-out plot devices in our story that just allows us to do this shit. So,
Time Machine. Time Machine is the best cop out.
right? Exactly. And you need as many
I mean,
cop-outs
it's
as
our main
possible.
plot device. It's our main plot device. Why we're streaming to the 21st century from the 27th century, right?
Yeah.
But you, what makes an interesting story is when you give yourself limitations,
Yes.
right? But with the ability to open it up later, you know what I mean? So
Like
our main
A New
lore
Hope with
is
Empire Strikes Back. They
Yeah.
closed the entire movie, but gave themselves options. Same thing for you
Yes,
guys. That's what I see.
exactly. So like our main lore is that we're in the 27th century, but we have we have a time machine, but the portal's only this big, so it's only thick enough for an Ethernet cable to go through.
It's amazing.
So that's why we have an internet connection to the 21st century. I mean, it's stupid, but it works, right? I just wish we were able to communicate that better to people very quickly. And
Still kinda figuring
that's where
that
I
out.
say
So-
the doc just fucking nails it. You know
He
what
does
I mean?
so well.
I just thought of something really probably time consuming for you, but
Shoot.
I think this would be interesting because of the way you've labeled it, where you have such a small hole to go through. There's no way a chunky boy like me made it through there. So how did I end up on your stream? Why don't you have a
Well,
segment?
so what I was hinting at is that we had to ramp up all the power to get the portal big enough.
Yeah.
So in our lore, it's all gonna come out later, but there's ways we could get more power. We just have to go out and get it.
So I had a little bit of a suggestion. So you know how you already have the shower scene? What if you make it so
Yeah.
that the shower door isn't a layer, and instead it's like a 3D printer, and what it does is it 3D prints a censored body as default, and there's a little green screen for a head, and that's every time you introduce like a guest that's actually physically appearing, they get 3D printed there, and their consciousness gets uploaded to your 3D dummy.
It's not bad.
That's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
And then have you just like
And then you just like look down, and you're like, "Whoa, it's
expire at the
huge!"
end of the-
Just throw him into space at that point.
it only lasts for like a couple hours before he just like starts breaking apart.
There you
and
go. At the end of
disintegrating.
the stream, you could program an explosion where I have to go back into the pod. And you're telling me I'm going home, but it just goes and I'm gone. But yeah,
that's too funny.
That's one way to explain how this works, because then that way everybody will be like, "Oh, I get it. They're creating him from the past."
It's criminal that we don't have 100 times more followers
I
than
agree.
we currently have.
I
Yeah,
100%
man.
agree.
Appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you
100%
saying
agree.
that.
100%.
It's we had a rough patch there about a week ago because Twitch was doing some purging. I guess. We
Yes,
didn't know
they
about
fucked
that.
me real hard. My ass still hurts.
So like we're still pretty new in Twitch, and we've been having a hard time growing. And we're trying whatever we can, trying to like use social media, try to reach out to other creators, try to reach out to audiences, try to reach out to everybody. Hey, check us out. Because like I guarantee people like our stuff once they see it. It's just the hard part is getting out there and introducing ourselves. And so with this purge that we didn't know was a purge, we saw like all these numbers dropping. And we're like, what the fuck's wrong? Like, I think we're doing a good job. I think we're making a good product here. I think our stream's really good. And our numbers were shrinking. And it was like so demoralizing. Like, you have no idea.
Oh,
you pour
dude, I
so much of
have
your
an
heart and
idea.
soul into something.
I have a
And have it,
huge
like,
idea.
What's that? You have what?
I can relate to this very, very well because of how hard
Yeah.
I got butt fucked.
Yeah, you lost like several thousand
Yeah, I lost.
bots
I think it
or
was
something, right?
It was like 2,000 bots that the same person that attacked my YouTube channel with attacked my Twitch with, and I just thought it was natural growth because of the views I was getting on YouTube.
It's so fucked.
And
It's
then
so
it
fucked.
backfired, and it ended up being completely fake. The reason it wasn't so big on my mental health was at least now the numbers match, and it actually kind of looks better in my opinion, because now I have 500 followers, but daily I'm getting like 80 or 90 unique viewers on my channel. So the numbers look better, but at the same time I had to take a hit in that way where somebody is malicious enough to go out of their way to try to attack not only my YouTube channel, but my Twitch channel too. So I'm trying to figure out
man.
why that was the case, but at least I was able to prove to Twitch, like, hey, I don't buy bots. I don't do any of this shit. Here's my credit card history. Here's my debit history. And then they were like, yep, it wasn't yours. You can keep the channel. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of feel
Damn.
bad.
Wow.
I feel bad for XQC because he lost 2.4 million subscribers. Or not subscribers, followers on Twitch.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the biggest hit. He had millions lost. And it's like, who's spending that much money to do that. Like, followers aren't
Somebody
cheap.
was spending money to bot his channel, or
Yeah.
was he botting his channel?
No, well,
I
that's
doubt
the
he-
question. Like, because
Yeah.
he did fail as a streamer at some point. Like, he went from being popular to not popular to popular again. So there's a possibility that he went and botted his channel to get it popular again. Because when Overwatch
Yeah.
died, so did his channel. But then he became popular again on the rise. And then all of a sudden this audit happens and he loses more followers than anybody else combined. He had a third of the botted, like the bot accounts out there, a third of them were his.
Yeah. See, first off, I don't want to speculate publicly about because
I don't care.
know
He's from
XQC
Quebec.
and
Fuck him.
Whatever. He's what?
He's from Quebec. Fuck him.
He's from
yeah,
Quebec.
either way, like-
Really?
Yeah, he's French Canadian.
It's super shitty to bot your account because it feels like for people that do it homegrown and like legit, it feels like it's like playing a game and you have cheaters in the game. I get really upset with that. Evan knows this. I hate cheaters in games.
Yep.
It's like the worst for me because I want to do it legit, right? But it sucks that it works.
Yeah.
That's what sucks the most, right? Because the reason why they do it is it works. And I'm not saying he specifically did that and was successful, although it could or it could not be, you know what I mean? I don't know. But it does work for people to like bot the hell out of your channel, spend a bunch of money, and then all of a sudden your name's just out there because you've got such a big number on your channel, and then bam,
Yeah.
you're doing great.
But
you
the
know?
thing is with Twitch, that doesn't make as much sense as it would with YouTube because followers don't necessarily equate to viewers, and viewers is what makes it so you're more discoverable. So for Twitch, it just doesn't make sense for him to buy followers. It makes no sense to me either. Like, why would anybody
I don't
spend? I think I Googled it. I looked at how much you would have to spend to get 2.4 million followers, and it was something like $20,000 or $30,000. So who
a lot
would
of
spend
money.
that much money to build a dying channel that doesn't necessarily have the viewership to push yourself up in the viewers to actually get the money back? Like, if 2.4 million dead accounts are on there, he's not going to be the top search for Call of Duty or GTA or anything like that. He would be like maybe in the top 5 Lions, but he wouldn't be number 1. So that's why I don't think he did it. I feel like he was the subject of trolls like me. Like, somebody probably spent $100 trying to fuck me over, and it almost worked. But because I had all my checks and balances, I was like, hey, here you go. I don't care. Look at what I've spent money on. I don't care if I was on Pornhub. What are you going to do? Judge me, bitch? Fucking lick my nuts. Then I won't have to pay for Pornhub. But like,
lick my nuts.
like that's the thing is like, I don't see any valuable reason to do that shit on Twitch. I do, however, see a valuable reason to do it on YouTube because their algorithm is so basic.
See, I don't know the game. See, I don't know the
It's-
game
yeah,
because I don't
it's hard to
don't
tell.
think about cheating. I don't you know what I mean? I don't think about cheating to win.
High
I think
fives your
about
wife.
working hard. Well, just I mean that's it. Like I would
We're
think about
cheating
working
to
hard to
lose.
win.
Fuck yeah.
No joke. I just have the shittiest luck. Every time that I do stuff and I don't do it right, I get caught. So
Yeah.
I just don't. You know what I mean? I don't because like I don't want to lose everything that we've worked for some like quick gain. You know what I mean? Because that would be super shitty.
It just doesn't make sense.
But people do it. I don't know if that specifically works, but like sometimes the algorithm or whatever has an exploit, right? And it might work for 6 months, so people will just pour money into it.
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
it could have been something like back
Maybe
at
back
a
then in the
certain
day.
time, it did work.
But then like
But now
nowadays,
it's
in
just
the last couple
redundant.
years,
Yeah,
so
it just
whatever. Who
doesn't
cares?
fucking-
If those
That
accounts
that
go
makes
away,
sense.
then they just go away. So I don't know.
But like
I mean,
YouTube's interesting for how their algorithm works. So for anybody watching, I've paid a lot of attention to this. So it's subscribers times views times likes. That is how your algorithm works. That is how they
Is it?
determine how high in the search algorithm you go. So if you have, let's say, 100 subscribers, but your video has 1,000 views and it has 400 likes, odds are you're going to be a lot higher in the search than you would be compared to somebody who has 400,000 subs, 40,000 views, and 100 likes. And the reason for that is they think you're booming. So the way their algorithm works benefits anybody from 0 subs to 1 million subs. But once you pass that threshold of 1 million subs, you're basically on your own anyway. You don't have to worry. You've got fucking 1 million subs. What's wrong with you? If you're not making money, you fucking suck, bitch.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with
so
YouTube.
there's a few dynamics for YouTube though. There's
That's true.
There's SEO and then there's relevancy.
Actually, no. They've removed the relevancy. Now it's just
they'll never remove relevancy.
Well, they've removed it from the equation of picking where you are in the search, though, because I've noticed that too. Because relevancy was a big thing for me, and then all of a sudden it changed about 3 years ago, where search engine was the big thing.
Okay, so like I have a channel where I was working on cars. I was working on a 4x4, and I did a bunch of videos, and they're really entertaining videos to watch if you're into that, right? I only made like 70 videos on that channel,
Which is a lot.
but it still gets lots of hits, and it still gets new subs all the time.
Yep.
But if I post something on that channel, nobody will see it.
Yep.
And
That's
the reason
SEO.
why is because the SEO is freaking fantastic on that channel.
Yep.
But the activity because there's lack of activity, there's zero relevance. So it never sends out to the subscribers, hey, there's a new video on this channel. It never does it. But if you search for a specific thing, it'll pop up and it'll be in the top page. It would be like the first couple of results. So
That was something I was
mean, there's
falling
different ways of gaming YouTube, right?
No, but that's where relevancy became less of a thing. Since 2018, they stopped making relevancy a part of their search engine. Instead, it's more so...
Oh, part of the search engine. I'm talking about like just being successful and having your videos viewed.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, I thought you meant relevancy to the search.
Oh, no, not relevancy to the search.
Okay.
What I mean is like, so for example, like with SEO, it doesn't matter about subs or whatever, right?
Yep.
It just matters like what if your video is well performing.
Yes.
They'll pop it up.
That's
if
what
you
I
have
was
the right
breaking down with
words
the
in
percentages
title,
earlier. Yeah.
Boom, all of that stuff. But then if you want your channel to survive, you basically have to post every day.
Which is absurd. That's
Actually,
so many videos.
Wait. That's no longer correct.
No?
No. They changed that from like just before COVID happened. I think it was like mid 2019. They decided that everything was based on watch time. Percentage of viewers, percentage of subscribers, percentage of likes, and then view time. So if you had a 10-minute video and the average watch time was 8 minutes, you would be given a higher priority than somebody who had 8 minutes but a 30-minute video. So
I'm talking about your next video. So like if the next video that you publish, if you had people that have been watching your content recently on your channel, they'll be recommended your new video when it comes out. But if they haven't been watching your stuff recently, they won't be recommended your new stuff.
Sorry, I was stuck in the search engine thing again.
Yeah. So like when you pop up your home page and it says like, hey, you want to watch this? You want to watch that? You want to watch that? You want to watch that? If you haven't been watching those channels recently, they won't recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's that.
And
that
subs don't matter.
Nope. Well, actually, they only do, but very, very small, because they use that sub number to base your watch time and your average viewership to decide if you're worth putting higher up on the search. So if you have 100 subs and you got 70 views per video that's going up, they think 70% of your audience is watching. But it could be people coming in from just searching it and finding it. They don't care about that. They do subs time, or I think it's subs divided by views divided by watch time, and then if it's higher than some other like bigger creators, they'll put you higher on the search. Like me and the Rad Brad have competed for, I think they competed for we competed for Dead Rising 1, 2, and I think 3 for a while, where mine and his were like neck and neck, but I ended up going just above his in the search for every single one of them because I was able to tag my videos better. And I had higher watch time than him. So take that, Rad Brad. You're not so rad now, are you, motherfucker? I'm going to start shit with you. Hashtag Rad Brad ain't so rad after all. Suck my nuts.
I'll be right back.
Starting fights. Have the stream on mute. You could also set it to those that interact on Discord. Have the stream on mute. Do I
Sorry,
have the stream
we're
on
talking
mute?
about. So Apple Alex was talking about some of the ways to implement how the fact that we could bring other streamers into a satisfactory world. But I don't want to. I don't want to talk about that too much. I don't want to go back to us again.
That's okay. You actually
Yeah,
addressed
so
the chat. I got a tinkle as well because I've been drinking. I'm on my.
Oh shit!
I'm on my fifth
I'm too
beer.
drunk to entertain
I'm
everyone.
on my fifth. I'm on my fifth beer. You can
I'm
do
on my
it.
fourth.
I'm on my fifth. Rah!
Ah,
All right,
I've had 4
time
beers
to
and
go
2
take
Red
a
Bulls.
very violent piss.
Oh shit!
I will
kinda
miss
have
the
to piss,
bowl
too.
twice just for you, Evan. Just for you.
Oh no, man! I don't. Shit! Oh, now I have to entertain you fucks. Jesus Christ! What do you guys want to talk about? Yeah. So honestly, I don't know too much about the YouTube game. I mean, they were talking about the YouTube game for a while. I had a channel for a little bit that I don't want to say it was great, but it went okay for a small channel. I had like 300 subs or something. It's just Evan Berard for my channel. I did car videos and things like that and photography related stuff. So I wasn't actually at the point where I could start gaming the YouTube algorithm, whereas these two actually were. I mean, I know Clyde was for a fact because he has 30K subs on his big channel.
I was
But I don't
what?
know
Sorry?
about Ruthless. I was just telling people that I also have a YouTube channel, but I wasn't at the point where I had to start figuring out how to game the YouTube algorithm a lot better than it already is. So
I did that right from day one, but that's how I do things. I
I
mean,
should
just
have
like
did that.
yeah, but like just like playing Satisfactory, I'm like, all right, let's get through the tiers. All right, number one priority.
Yeah, see that's how you are. I'm get
That's
shit
just how I
done
do
and
things.
working, and then we'll figure out as we go along, kind of thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
my YouTube channel is 300 subs. My most viewed video is like I don't know 15 20,000 video views, which is not bad compared to my sub rate. But yeah, I can't talk too much about the whole YouTube algorithm thing like these two can. So
Shit.
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
algorithm, I abused it once back in like 2015. My highest viewed video ever was, I think, about 18 million views.
Whoa, nice.
It got removed
Really?
in 2019 because I said cunt a lot.
I could see that.
Who would have guessed, right?
I don't even know what my highest.
But
viewed
yeah,
video
that would have
is.
been
It's
my-
gotta be
my
in the
second
couple
highest.
100,000.
I think my current highest live video right now is about 280,000 views.
Damn.
I know how to abuse the search engine when I need to. That's why I
gotta
find such
check.
good porn.
I'm checking. it
Nice.
now. Just curious.
There were a couple things I wanted to bring up today too,
Mm-hmm.
but some of them I'm not going to touch because they're pretty
266,000.
sensitive.
That's the best I've ever done.
Dude, that's awesome.
What
That's-
was it? I didn't catch that.
266,000.
That's
Get on my
fucking
level.
Awesome.
19K, bro.
Dude, that's
Fucking
great.
get fucked.
Dude, that's better than my second best YouTube video. So that's fucking awesome.
It seems like the way to grow on YouTube is to do how-tos and make them entertaining.
How to
It
better than
seems to be
news.
the only way.
How
That's
to's
the only
and
way that
news.
I know how to do it.
My second highest video is news on Dead Island 2. And it ended up getting
Apple
like
Alex,
200
Evan Ader, you
plays.
watch anime, right? Or was that Ruthless? It's all of us.
Oh,
man.
that's
Yeah, it's
everybody.
all of us.
Dude, I've
We're all
watched so
men of
much
culture
anime.
here.
There's so many dudes who've ended up making me jack off at this point because they're the ones animating it. Let's be real. That's why they always have to blur the pussy. It's because they can't draw it right.
Dude, the last 2 years on average, I was like finishing an entire season in 2 days. So, yeah, I watch a lot of anime.
Do you want to hear a really sad statistic? And it's one that I'm pretty depressed by. So,
Shoot.
since I've turned 20, which is now 7.5 years, you can break out the calculator for this so you can break down how many days of total anime this is. But according to my anime list, I have watched over 545,000 minutes of anime in the last 7.5 years.
I could see that. 7.5 years is a long time, and judging by how much anime I watch, I can understand that.
Okay, let me just see
I
how
wish
many
I
days
wish I
that
had
is.
time to do that. Oh my god. I really do. I really do. I wish I have seen more than I have. I always get myself in little projects and then I neglect all my hobbies. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Same.
Oh boy, this is depressing. So, I have watched the equivalent of 378 and a half days of anime in 7.5 years. So 1/7 of the last 7.5 years has been anime. But I will say
Wow.
I've developed a really bad habit where I watch 6 animes at the same time, but because they're subbed, I will read them really quickly. So that's why I'm able to get through it so fast.
1/7.
Yeah.
That means like over 7 years, one full 24-hour
Yep.
cycle every week is
Yep.
anime.
Yep. But that's because
it's a
I've
lot more than
developed
me.
the really bad habit of being able to watch up to 6 animes at the same time.
Fair. I
Are
mean,
you
when
really
you
watching
exhaust
it?
all the ones that are already complete, you got to do the new ones, right?
Yep.
It sucks. I'm
I mean,
starting to get to that level.
I can separate which videos I'm watching also with the things that I'm reading. It's like reading 6 books at the same time, but you're reading each
True.
sentence from each book each time. It's really hard
For
to
me,
do, but when you manage it, it's
I don't know.
good.
Tell me if you guys feel this way too. But like for me, the most daunting thing is getting into a new one.
Oh yeah. Because
Oh,
if you
getting
finish
You
a
finish
good
like
series,
an old, really good series, and then you're like, oh, it's done. I really want to continue watching some anime. And you're like,
but
that
I
one's
want
a
the
big
last
long
one.
one. Do I want to get into it now?
I've never had that
You're
problem.
struck with the pad, the post anime depression.
Yep.
See, this last series was so goddamn good. You want one just like it, but you actually deep down just want it to continue. So you keep searching forever, but you never find what you want, and you just settle. But then that one ends up turning out good, and the next thing you know, when it's over, you're struck with pad again. It's like the worst cycle you could ever
That's
deal
why I
with.
started watching anime with just the animes that relied on titties. And before we go too far from it, Apple Alex asked a good question. What is your favorite anime? No non-answers.
Overlord. Overlord?
Ooh, that's a good one. Not one I was expecting.
That
but
is a
that's
good one.
It's a good choice.
I think it is. Hold on, Overlord, and it's the one with the skeleton guy, right? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's one of my
Yeah,
favorites
yeah,
because
that's
it
a really
like
good
does the
one.
whole trope of being way too overpowered for anyone in the world,
But they
but they
do it
do
in
it in
an
such a creative
entertaining
way
way.
because he
Yeah.
like has really bad social issues in the whole thing and like struggles with it, which is really fucking
like that.
funny.
I like that
fucking
part
love
of
it.
It's
I
really
know.
First
good.
couple episodes, the first episode, I was like, oh, what am I getting into?
Me too, actually. I watched the first episode 3 times, being like, "Oh, this is gonna be fucking stupid."
Oh, and here I was watching it with my pants around my ankles, thinking this is going to be great. Oh yes, Overlord, spank me good. Ooh. All right,
Yeah,
I really
sorry,
liked
continue,
Brotherhood. Brotherhood was
Brotherhood's
such
a good one.
Brotherhood's good.
Yeah, but would you say that's your favorite one?
That's
I have to go
tricky.
pee. I'll be back.
Yeah, go for it.
That's tough. That's tough. Ghost in the Shell is like one of my favorite movies.
You know what? This
Good.
is something I deal with a lot in my chat because picking a favorite is so hard. Name your top 5.
Oh,
I feel like that's
tough.
easier. No specific ranking.
I feel like such a like just a normal pleb, but My Hero.
That's a
is
good
like
one.
It
It's
really
so
is.
good. Like for me, that's my number 4. Easily.
I mean, every time it gets into like the old memories of like him growing up, it just chokes me up so bad.
I will say I've cried more times to My Hero than I have to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and pretty much any other shonen fighting anime of its kind. So
Yeah.
the fact that it was able to even implement any kind of emotion from me instantly puts it in my top 5. It's the same thing with like
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter for me. It implemented that emotion when his only father figure lost his arm and was like corrupted by the chimera ants. But his father's such a dickhead that I'm just like, wow, he reminds me of my dickhead father.
And then my old school pick is Lupin the Third. It's like one of my favorite series.
Lupin
That's
the
a
Third? I've never heard of
classy
that
one.
one.
Oh, that
Dude, I love it. I eat it up every time it's on. They play it on primetime TV in Japan. I don't know. They just play old ones.
dude, that fight
and they
with
have
the
new ones and
with the
it's
axe
so good.
butcher.
It's so good. I
You
love
remember
it.
that fight, right? The one with
The
the,
which, sorry?
with the axes, the steel teeth. I forgot what his name was. Lupin the Third, he was fighting on top of like one of those very old architectural Japanese buildings with some white dude.
Oh, the Cogliostro one, the Castle
That's it.
Cagliostro.
Yeah.
I love
Castle
that
That was such
Scoliosis.
a nice fight. That was such
The
a
classic.
crisp
Everybody knows about
fight.
that place.
I will give it to Lupin. Their fights were dark, depressing, and they actually felt very fluid and real.
Which one is
That-
this?
What I liked about
Lupin
it
the
was the
Third.
team, right? The team
I
was
didn't
made up
catch
of
that.
people who were just like don't seem like they should be together.
Am I
you know?
thinking of the
You got
wrong movie? There wasn't a
that?
team in the one that I was thinking of. There was
No, I'm talking about Lupin's team, like the team.
the
so you
animation
got-
team.
No.
Oh.
Lupin. So you got Lupin the Third. He's the jewel thief that, like, hereditary, or not hereditary, but just like passed down jewel thief occupation, basically, from his family. And then there's Jigen. Jigen's like the Western-looking gun dude
Oh
They're
my
like
God,
a
I'm thinking
jewel
of
heist.
the wrong movie.
team.
I'm not even thinking of the right movie.
Oh, yeah, no. Lupin the Third is a classic Japanese anime. They had TV series and movies, and it's like jewel heist type.
Yeah, that's not at all what I was thinking. I was thinking of Hawk, Lupin the Third. Well, it is Lupin 3. What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not Lupin the Third. It's Lupin 3.
What?
Yeah, the anime is
Yes.
called Lupin 3.
Oh,
We're thinking of two different animes, and the only thing that differentiates them is the word "the."
yeah. Lupin the Third is like he's like a heist guy,
You
and
you
he's
can
always
see me on
got
Discord,
he's got
right?
Interpol coming after him all the time. Like,
You can see me on
it's
the
like
Discord,
that kind
right?
of story.
Did he have this guy in it?
Nope.
Nope, this is Lupin 3. Well, here, it even says so up at the top if it'll adjust. Lupin, oh, it's so unfocused. Lupin 3 wiki.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, okay, so we're thinking of two very different movies.
Yeah, no, it's the heist team, and they have Fuji. She's like the love interest always, and yeah.
I will say I have seen trailers of it, and it did look good. So here's a controversial one because I just brought it up. Lupin 3 is interesting. I actually think both of you would love it. If you both Google Lupin 3 Axe Fight, it is one of the most detailed fights I think I've ever seen in movies. And it stars this one samurai guy who's kind of like being shunned by his mafia family, but he gets like mass revenge on him. And he has to fight this one white dude from like, I guess, Germany. But he's got like, you remember, what's his name? Is his name just Jaw from James Bond? The one who has the metal teeth?
Jaws. Yeah.
Jaws.
So.
Yeah, so he's got those same teeth, and they're just brutally fighting each other. It's one of
I
the
see
best
that.
fight scenes I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
it's got some weird ass fucking.
I haven't
teeth.
actually seen that. That's
Oh,
Lupin the Third.
you have to
Yeah,
watch it.
that's-
That is one of the best, most crisp fight scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, you were talking about the same thing.
Are we?
This is Lupin the Third.
Why don't
Yeah.
I remember any of the other shit? I only remember like this one fight scene standing out to me as super amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking at the fight scene right now, and
Never seen
in
it.
the fight scene, there's Goemon. He's the guy. He's the guy with like
Yes.
the classic
Yes,
Japanese
yes,
garb
yes.
and the sword.
Yes. Okay, so it is the same series. I must not have watched
Yeah.
the whole thing then. I must have only.
So that's why I
watched
said there's a
this
team
movie.
of them. So Goemon,
Oh,
that's like one of
shit.
the main characters.
Oh, is it worth going back and watching the rest? Because I only saw this one movie.
Yes.
Oh,
I haven't seen this movie. I'm gonna go back and watch this. one.
It's so
this is
good.
what I haven't seen.
It's so fucked up. I've never watched anything prior to it, but I watched this one movie and I was sold. So now that you told me about all this other stuff, hell yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, I'm not gonna continue watching this fight scene. 'Cause
No,
I
don't
wanna ruin
give it
for
away.
me.
Don't
Yeah.
give it away. It's so good. The animation is better, in my opinion, than Attack on Titan new season.
Okay. Well, very, very different, right? So the Lupin series, they classically was all hand drawn and all that stuff, right? I think they just released a movie. I haven't seen it, but it's all like 3D.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I
And
tried it
I
for a
showed
little
it to
bit.
the wife, and she was just like, "Nah."
It's a big no.
And
It's
she
a
loves
big no.
Lupin, right? She'll drop everything to like go watch it on TV because it's on at 8. You know what I mean? And she saw that one. Nah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is like I tried to watch the new one thinking it was going to be as good as that one. Nah. Just like Apple Alex said, big disappointment, but for different things. But yeah, no, Food Wars.
Oh yeah.
Food Wars is interesting. It's definitely not my most favorite anime, but it's definitely the most well done fan service anime, if that makes sense.
I like it.
Like
I
there's
like
a
it.
lot of etchy animes that are out there that are just like, oh, titty, you want to see titty? Yes, here titty. But then Food Wars is like, I gotta make this expensive meal and her clothes will explode off of her. It's just like, whoa.
I've heard that's
I want to
pretty
see how this
ridiculous.
goes.
I've
And
heard
then
the
he
same
makes
thing.
like a delicious ramen, and all the judges just become naked and fly away in their minds, and then they sit there and they're just like, well, this was delicious. And they're just like trying to put their clothes back on, wipe the lipstick off their cheeks so their wives don't find out. It's like, oh, all right. Well, Food Wars. Yeah. It's a good anime. Well done. Very, very funny. But it's not one of my favorites.
See, I just hate
Food
food,
Wars,
in general, so I don't know if I can get into it.
I thought Food Wars was a funny piss take on actual Japanese culture for food in media.
But that's what it was. That's what their inspiration
So-
was.
Well, food in media is this fucking. It's the funniest thing because, like, TV in Japan is always just trying to sell you something. And most of the time, it's just like food. It's like food all the freaking time. And the way they sell it to you is by showing celebrities eating it. And nothing ever doesn't taste good on TV in Japan because the reactions are just over the top. And they're always like outdoing each other on their reactions, and it.
Wait, so their food TV is
it's so
just like
funny
their
'cause
commercials?
they always have the close up of the freaking like people with their Parkinson's chopsticks. You know what I mean? Like when you get that close to somebody in a stage trying to hold something with chopsticks, there's a little shake, so everything's wobbling on the end of a chopstick, and then going in a mouth, and immediately it's just orgasmic.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, oh my, oh shit, everybody's going crazy. And I thought it was so funny watching Food Wars because it's just like this piss take on how the media views eating food. When you see it from that perspective, it's just so funny.
It's actually really well done. So like the thing is, I feel like I have a very standardized version of what my top 5 is. Like the first 2, I instantly have to give it to Attack on Titan, and I have to give it to Jujutsu Kaisen. They're both made like animated by the same company, but their stories are very tropey, but also still deviate enough to make you go, I can't believe it. So those are my like 2 instant go-tos. One of the other ones that I have is a controversial pick, but it's Tokyo Ghoul before the new shit when he has amnesia. That was probably one of my first introductions to anime when it comes to storytelling, and not because of the titty plot armor. Everybody knows about that titty plot.
We know.
Yeah.
But that's another one that really brought me into what anime could do. One of my, I think my 4th one is going to be Parasite the Maxim. I don't know how many people have actually watched that one, but it's basically where necromorphs take over, but they're not necessarily necromorphs. So okay, just to give you like a brief rendition of it, because I feel like actually both of you would love this if you actually liked the first Dead Space or the second. The premise is aliens come in and they take over your body, right? One kid actually saw what was happening. He was like kind of half awake, so he like stopped the parasite from taking over his whole body, so it only took over his arm. So his arm was able to transform into this weird like knife creature that looks like something out of like Dead Space. Like if you were to both Google right now Parasite the Maxim, I guarantee you one of the first images will be Iggy the Hand. And it's so good
I
in
have
terms of their
seen-
storytelling.
Yeah.
It's one of the darkest animes
called
I've ever seen.
Parasite?
Parasite the Maxim.
What's the difference between normal Parasite and the Maxim?
Well, about 100%. That's That's why it's the
So the-
max.
A the maximum overdrive. Aiden.
I will
Jim's
say,
book-
in terms of storytelling, it's one of the most true to the situation and one of the darkest things I think I've ever seen, because nobody's safe. And I'm trying to not spoil it because I feel like you would both
I've
love
seen
it.
clips from this.
I feel like
I
you
have
would
too.
both love it. I cannot
Yeah.
spoil it, but there is so much good writing in it that it just
I'll watch it tonight,
makes
then.
you feel like helpless. And that's what they're going for. When you're watching it, you feel like, oh, you feel the sinking feeling in yourself. And when I was watching that, that's what I wanted, because I wanted somebody to finally be able to encapsulate that emotion that I want to feel while watching something this dark. And it is so well done. And I can't believe it came out like 8 years ago. It's so old. And yet it's better written, better animation than most on there, and like the fight scenes are fucking obscene. They're so weird.
Nice.
I've
seen
never
some of the
seen
clips
anything
from
like it. They're nuts. So like when I watch that, I easily have to put it in my top 5. I know people are probably gonna be like, "Ooh, but what about Dragon Ball?" Fuck Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball's got nothing on me. I don't care if I scream.
I
and
never watched
turn
Dragon Ball
blonde.
growing up. I just
Same.
So, okay,
Yeah.
Dragon Ball's good. Dragon Ball Z's good. Dragon Ball Super's eh. They're very Oreo. Like, they're very generic. They're very much appealing to the masses instead of appealing to a group. And
Yeah, fair
that's
enough.
that's respectable. That's going to get you the most amount of money. That's why fucking Toriyama's worth, what, $4 billion? Because Dragon Ball Z is so fucking valuable. But it can never be in a top 5. There's no way. The story is shit. There's not enough good writing. The animation's subpar at best. One Punch Man destroys it on every level, but the only thing they're capitalizing on
One
is
Punch
nostalgia.
Man is in my top 5,
Easily.
and so is Mob Psycho 100.
I think I got to give it to Mob Psycho over One Punch Man because of season 2 for One Punch Man. Season 2 sucked, but the manga was great.
I still haven't seen it.
Don't watch
still
it.
haven't
You'll
seen
ruin it.
season 2.
Read the manga. It's way better than season 2. I'm so
Fair
disappointed in the fact that I watched season 2 of One Punch Man because they, instead of going with the
Oh, no.
freelancers that they worked with before, they went with the most generic fighting anime studio they could, and you could tell.
Ah,
Yeah. So the writing wasn't enough to bring it up from what it was before. But One Punch Man season 1 would definitely be in the top 5. But because of season 2, it brings it out. Mob Psycho was consistent between both seasons. So that's
So
why it
good.
has to be number 5 for me.
See, I started watching Mob Psycho. I got like an episode and a half in, and I kind of felt bored. Maybe because I was suffering from PED and wanted something else. But like,
yeah.
is it worth pushing through it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's in my top 5.
If you liked
and
One
I've
Punch
watched
Man, you'll love
hundreds
this
of animes.
series.
Okay. I could definitely see the correlation between the two because Mob Psycho, the guy's just so fucking jaded and doesn't give a fuck about stuff, which, from what I saw in the first episode, was pretty funny. But it's been a while since I've seen it.
It's the not the teacher, his mentor guy, the psychic dude,
Yeah.
the charlatan.
Yep.
That is like, he steals the show. He's like the funniest character in the whole thing.
At least he was
Okay.
in the first season. The second season, woof. Fucking Mob got it.
Yeah, Mob got it. But
Mob got the spotlight like he deserved, and it was
I still love that character.
executed so perfectly. They could have fucked that up so many different ways, but they nailed it. They absolutely storyboarded the shit out of that and got it so perfect. I can't even find a flaw with season 2.
yeah, no, it was really good.
It was so good.
Yeah, I'd really recommend it, Evan. Power
Mhm.
power through the boring bits of like what you
Me too.
thought was boring at first, because I mean it's hard to develop a character in an episode, or develop a whole series of characters in one
Yeah.
episode to get people hooked in.
Like I said, I think I was just suffering from some major pad at that point when I started watching it. It was just the complete opposite of what I wanted. So I'm like, all right, I'll just find some kind of like other shitty anime.
All the
similar to
characters
one I
aren't
had.
even in it in the first episode, so like there's one main character that doesn't even get into it until like 3-4 episodes in, I think.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
pretty
damn.
late into it. But the thing about Mob Psycho is it doesn't go the same way that, like, One Punch Man does. They kind of follow the same kind of metric that it does, where it's not going to give you the biggest fights right away, but it'll give you enough to determine what the character is like, if that makes sense. And then at the very end of it, it will pop the fuck off. It's insane.
Oh, dude,
how those seasons
it's
go.
pretty impressive. It's
Dude,
like, what?
Season 2's ending
All right.
was so mind blowing. I've had to watch it like 4 times after I watch it just to understand what the hell I watched.
Shit, dude.
And it's got some themes that that I find in Japanese culture that I find really commendable too. Like the whole like redemption arc theme that you don't really catch from like Western storytelling. It always seems like Western storytelling, you get a bad guy who's just like absolute bad guy, but he never turns around to become a part of the team or anything like that.
It's
you know what I
always the
mean?
hero's journey on this part of the world. No one cares about anything else. And the
I-
hero's journey is focused on the hero, but never anyone else.
I disagree. I think for westernized audiences, it's the anti-hero who is focused on.
Yeah. A
Whether
lot of
it's
times the
hero or
anti-hero.
villain, nobody cares anymore. And that's why DC fails. That's why Deadpool and X-Men and all of them, that the outcasts turn hero, are the ones that are the focus of mass attention. Whereas if you took Superman and Wonder Woman, everybody's just like, who cares about that Wonder Bread bitch and that super pansy? Nobody gives a fuck. Just
Right,
give
they're
us
too
some
opaque
X-Men.
and boring and one-dimensional.
I think the thing that I'm really referring to though is the fact that like the villain always needs to be disposed of in Western writing.
That's a good point.
Rather than having a redemption arc and then becoming part of society.
See,
you know
one
what I
thing
mean?
is I've noticed in recent anime, it's not so much a redemption arc; it's more so just story-driven arc. Like it's perfect balance where you have this because of this. Like you have the good because of the bad. Now, how do you resolve this without making it so one is too good and one's too bad? You know what I mean? Japan seems to have more of a problem-solving attitude to it, whereas America's just like, you see this big muscular white man? He fight villain. You happy? Yeah. It's like, oh, all right, well, thanks for taking care of that, Superman. It's like, no problem. I'm an alien from space. Our sun was red. And then he flies away.
Or the other thing is the bad guy that just gets beaten down and then there's no like redemption arc. He just goes back to being a regular person.
Yeah, see, I think that's why I like
So like
Batman
Kawanashi
so much.
in Spirited Away is like that.
Yeah.
So he's just a
Yeah.
normal dude, and then all of a sudden he gets this bad trait, and it becomes really bad, and it like ruins everybody's day. But then once that bad trait's gone, it's just like, oh, okay, we're gonna hang out again. That's fine.
Interesting.
See, that's where I kind of want to bring in like popular animated television shows from the US versus popular animes. Like if you were to look at the most popular animated series, none of them are Marvel related. None of them are that goody two shoes, oh, you're good so you must win type of bullshit. The type of things I've seen in like Batman animated films where Barbara's getting raped, the Joker's killing people left and right, the Batman's hugging him after he rapes his friend. It's like, it's fucked. The fucking Batman side of things, at least for DC comic animated like movies, they're really well written. They don't necessarily make the good guy win, and there's a lot of fucked up shit that happens, but they do it in such a
lots
way
of
that the
fucked up shit.
storytelling hits you on every part, where you either feel sad, angry, you feel happy, you feel depressed, you feel empty. They hit everything. So how come they keep fucking up the movies to the point where they still have Jared Leto playing the Joker? That's what I
know.
don't get.
It's about risk assessment, I think, on the studio part.
But aren't they seeing that it's too risky to not stay too true to the comics when you look at Marvel's side of things?
It isn't though. It isn't. Box office is all they care about.
But the box office is half of what Marvel's pulling in. And Marvel's staying true to the comics as close as they can. Like,
But that's not what the studios see. The studios don't see that. They just see how much money did you put into the production of it and how much did you get a return out of
Right.
it. They're not looking at the details.
but the problem is
Yeah.
clearly the studios are blinded by that cloud of cocaine in front of them, or else the Zack Snyder cut would not be as good as the shitty one that they made before that for Justice League. Like, I watched the Snyder cut versus the regular cut, and it is by far better in the Zack Snyder cut. And if the corporate entities that are saw that, and they saw the corporate box office take back as like a key to their success, then why didn't they put through Zack Snyder's cut if it was that much better? And even I paid money to watch him versus pirating the other one.
Right.
I'm not admitting that online. I rented it from a friend.
Yeah.
Sailed the seven
Where he
seas.
got it,
That's
I
all
don't
you
know.
needed to say.
Yeah, it was from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's the interesting thing to me. I think we've given Warner Brothers too much of an easy pass on so many of those superhero movies. But with Marvel, we held them to such a high standard that we got, what was it? The first Marvel movie we ever got was the Hulk movie with Eric Bana. And that was okay. It was a good movie. It wasn't like bad for the time. The only
it was good for its
superhero
time,
movies
yeah.
before
I
that
I think
were,
the one that really took off was the first Iron Man movie, though.
Yes, but this is actually what I was going to lead to. The first super successful superhero movie, I'm sure you both know, is Spider-Man. Spider-Man
Wait.
was the first big
Oh,
blockbuster.
that's a good point.
Well, Superman was a
superhero movie.
blockbuster like back in the day.
Yeah, it was the first superhero movie though to have that high of a budget. When you're looking
really?
at like the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was the biggest one. It was the thing that
That's a
set
good
everything
point.
in motion. And when you look at it, it follows the same tropes as what the Marvel comic books would have, right? Spider-Man's a
yes.
good boy. He lives with his parents or his aunt and uncle. His uncle dies. He gets sad. Becomes Spider-Man.
Turns into rice.
It follows the same tropes every time. It's always there's a good person who gets a bad thing that happens, becomes an even better person, and then saves other people that might be good. That's the formula of Marvel, and that's what we noticed with the Hulk movie that came out 2004 with Eric Bana.
I
It was the
fucking
same
barely
idea.
remember that movie.
His mother got beat by his father, so he got hit by a nuclear bomb. When that bomb went off, it gave
Natural
him
escalation.
gamma radiation poisoning. And that gamma radiation poisoning, instead of killing him like his father wanted to, because his father left him there to be a late-term abortion, it ended up just pissing him off. So, like, nobody seems to address that part of the Hulk movie, but literally the Hulk movie is the mother has the baby, the father is a general who's in charge of nuclear bombs. They need to test the bombs in the desert, but they didn't warn his family about it. So the family stayed, they got hit by the bomb, the baby became the Hulk.
Holy fuck. I don't remember any of this.
So it's
I
a
was
really
7 years
fucking
old.
weird
Recall that.
movie. So, like, the thing is they stayed kind of true to the comics in a way. Like, if the Hulk was born
Yeah.
from nuclear bomb, I guess that's how it worked. But in reality, he was a scientist who was testing gamma radiation for some sort of cancer therapy. It backfired and gave him gamma radiation poisoning and turned him into the Hulk. So
you
they
know, he's got
differed
cancer.
from the comic books, and people didn't like that movie. People hated it. That's why they never really made a second sequel. That's why they got what's his name from Fight Club, Edward Norton. They
Edward
got
Norton.
him to play the second Hulk. They couldn't keep Eric Bana around because of the absolute hatred that was towards his character, because it was just so far off of the actual written shit that they were like, no, we're not doing this. We're going to go a little bit more back to basics with this when we're bringing in Doomsday or whatever. So then they decided to bring in Edward Norton. Great actor, fantastic, right off of his role of Fight Club. Why not make him the Hulk? He was clearly pissed off if he made a secondary personality like Brad Pitt. And they decided to make...
Sorry, spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched it.
It's from 2008.
Don't tell them what movie. They'll never know.
It's from 2008. Anyway, that movie came out 1 month after Iron Man 1. And that movie was in production before Iron Man 1 hit. So technically, it was supposed to be the first movie that actually hit box offices, making it the first movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was also the first movie to technically have Samuel L. Jackson at the end of it trying to recruit people to become part of the Avengers. But because it came out a month later than Iron Man, everybody gave Iron Man credit for it.
Huh.
Also, Iron Man's way cooler.
True. But that being said, they decided to go more towards the comic book. And then ever since then, their movies have sold billions every time. Because they
the
follow
comics
the
are good.
comics. Exactly. But well, it's not even necessarily that. It hits a certain.
We still ended up with Captain Marvel. Though.
True,
That's a
that
good
one was a
point.
tough
I mean, no
one.
one can excuse that.
But nobody likes Captain Marvel. That's the thing. Nobody's ever sat down and was like, Captain Marvel in the movies is better than the comics without getting shot in the mouth. So
Yeah, the cringiest moment though with I can't even remember the name of it. The one where they had the big battle at the end of it with Thanos.
Never seen it.
wait,
I know.
which one? Sorry.
Thanos
The one with all the
movie.
Avengers, and they finally get Thanos at the end.
They finally
Oh,
avenge.
Endgame.
Endgame, yeah. So at the end of it, they had this like moment where all the girls in the group came and came as
Woman
a front
power.
and beat everybody up. It was just so forced and cringe. Like, is that how a team of Avengers is gonna behave? Like, you get all the come on girlies, let's do it. Like,
See,
no, they
the
would
thing
all
is-
fight together.
This is kind of what pisses me off as somebody who's been a fan of comics for many years at this point. Carol Danvers was always a very strong character. It doesn't matter that she received her powers from some dude who had them first. It's the same thing as Green Lantern getting his powers, but nobody gave a shit then. But because it's a man giving a woman powers, instantly we need to bring feminism into it. Shut up, Karen. Shut up. Shut up. Go back to your cage. Sorry.
Shut your mouth.
I have to
Stop
make sure
it.
Karen knew she needs to go back
Stop
to the
it.
cage. But it's just so weird. They could have taken the character and used the actual Captain Marvel comic and made something huge that would have empowered women. But instead they were like, no, let's
Here's some
actually
cringe,
backtrack
some
that.
SJW
Here's some
cringe.
here's some SJW, here's some actual unempowerment of women. Let's actually take that back a bit. Let's bring them back to the 50s. Let's make it so people can hit them again. That's essentially what Captain Marvel was in the movies. Because in the movies, she should have been able to take out Thanos like that. She was strong enough at that point in the comics to literally just punch the shit out of Thanos. But no, will the movie recognize that? No. They're too busy making it so we have to make girl power a thing. Nobody gives a fuck if
Okay.
Black Panther's entire fucking thing is part of it. Nobody cares if anybody else is part of it. Nobody wants anybody a part of it. If Carol Danvers versus Thanos would have given me like the ultimate Mortal Kombat fight of the century, I would have loved to see that versus girl power takes over. Give me Carol Danvers and Thanos in a room. We'll see who comes out on top. It would be Carol Danvers. At least if they follow the comic.
Captain Marvel's a throwaway character that should just never existed in that whole
isn't
series.
it one of the
in
oldest characters?
No, Captain Marvel was only ever written by Marvel Comics to get the trademark, right? So DC Comics came out with Captain Marvel, and then
Yeah, that's right.
then Marvel Comics went, no, we're Marvel. We have to have Captain Marvel. And then
Oh,
they had
that's
a
right.
trademark battle.
Yeah,
And then they
that's right.
won it in court because of the Marvel name. And in order to keep the trademark, every so many years they would have to issue a comic. And they were super lazy about it. And they would only ever issue comics when it was required by law. They didn't care about the
Right.
character. Why should we?
Right,
Like,
right,
that's
right.
really what it comes down to. And it's just stupid OP character that has no real good plot line from the beginning. But here's one point that really pisses me off about the Carol Danvers character. When they bring up the fact that where were you when all this shit was going
Yeah,
down?
what's the deal with that?
And she has some cop out of there's a lot of people in the galaxy that need help too. And it's like, yeah, like half of them,
Yeah.
maybe Thanos is something you should be concentrating on.
It was such a bad cop out too, because in all reality, everybody knew that because this is a cop out character, like Deadpool, for instance, he's a cop out character for Slade Wilson. He's Wade Wilson. He's the exact knockoff of Deadshot.
Yeah, but he was to make fun of.
Yeah.
That was the writers making fun of.
Yeah,
DC.
but I mean, if they followed the same formula, they could have essentially done the same thing with Carol Danvers because she's so overpowered because she's Captain Marvel. She's the biggest thing in Marvel. If she's so powerful, how is it that she couldn't just help those three people cross the crossroads in whatever fucking planet she's on and like Goku transported all the way fucking back to Earth? she's so
The
powerful. She
only
has
good
that
thing,
ability.
the only good thing that's ever come from Captain Marvel is we got Shazam.
Oh, Shazam was good. I was actually surprised about
pretty
that.
cool.
Shazam was
It's a
Captain
good
Marvel.
music app.
And because they were told that they legally couldn't use the Captain Marvel name, they renamed him Shazam.
Yeah. I will say, though, the Shazam movie is actually DC's best movie.
That's what I heard. I heard it was
I
really
would
good.
fight people on that.
Who's
That was
Shazam?
easy.
I actually don't know who that is.
So Shazam
Shaz-
is a 13-year-old who was bestowed the power of some sort of weird interdimensional wizard who decided to tell him to grab his staff, and he looked confused at it. So kind of like every kid who you decide to tell grab my staff to. And when he grabbed it and said Shazam, he became this really buff Zachary Quinto. Maybe not Zachary Quinto, Zachary Levi, that's it. And he's super shredded, but he's 13, but trapped in the body of a 35-year-old man. So he buys beer and drinks stuff with his friends, and he is just like 14 or 13, and he's going around fighting crime, and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So he's trying to learn all of his powers. It's actually pretty good. It's a really good movie.
It's really funny.
I've watched the movie. It's the best DC movie out there. Also, hello, Huntress.
Oh, Huntress in
hey.
the chat. Nice.
Too busy
Welcome
Googling
in.
shit. What's up? Yeah, we got a Huntress and Jelly now, too. Nice.
Nice. I'm just going to get another drink. I'll be back.
Sounds good. Where did this rant come from?
Yeah, where did it come from? We've gone...
Some people just put rants in front of me, and I just kind of go on a tirade like an angry old man.
You know, it's good, though. It works. That's how you, like, progress the conversation naturally.
This is
right?
kind of why
That's
I
what
figured
makes it
podcasts
interesting.
would be great.
What's that?
This is why I figured podcasts would be great.
Right?
I
Yeah,
love the
it just
shirt.
works.
Oh, he doesn't have the hat on. I love
I can
the
actually
hat.
wear some of my... I can wear some of my shirts.
I know
we're
I
that's a
said
good
always
hat.
wearing our uniforms, right? We're always wearing our uniforms, and I have all these like cool shirts. I always pick up cool shirts when I'm in Japan.
Fucking love it. I
And
did call
all
your
I get to wear
headphones
is
a
my
hat.
black shirt underneath my uniform when we're in the show.
Nice. Nice. Did I even like say what my top 5 anime was? I think I did, right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
trying to
you
make
did.
sure we covered kind of what everybody was wanting. So we did the anime. That seems about it. Okay, cool. We're all caught up.
Nice.
Yeah, so Huntress, we weren't sure. Evan and I had a bit of a miscommunication there. I thought we were coming on to the podcast as just ourselves, and Evan thought we were coming on as our characters.
Yeah,
And then
so,
it turns out
here we are.
it turns out what Evan's scene is much better than if he wasn't in a scene. So
Yeah,
it
because,
just left
you know,
it-
I stream in a fucking kitchen, so...
I mean, how
You know.
worse could it be? I'm streaming next to my nasty, filthy, cum-filled bed.
Yeah, I've got my studio,
True.
my home studio.
See, he looks like a streamer with and without his background.
Right? It has to look like a streamer.
Oh man. But yeah, no, it's interesting because like, okay, Ruthless wins. Hey, in fairness, the communication error was probably because of the gargantuan gravity of my gaping ass, like sucking its fucking like its communication halfway through. So half of them are dressed and the other one couldn't, but my ass is still full.
Intercepted the radio signals.
It's like a yin and yang, but the middle part's my ass crack. Kirby.
Oh, no. You'd
God.
have to have 2 asses with that logic.
I do, based on the overall weight.
That's
At least
funny.
according to my scale, I have 4 asses. 2 of them are cheeks. This is awesome. I can't believe we've been going for 2.5 hours at this point.
Dude, yeah.
Oh wow, that's
almost
pretty good.
2 hours and 40 minutes.
I know.
Pretty good,
Longest
you know? Like,
podcast in history.
hell yeah. It's been pretty good. Like, we've been naturally going from conversation to conversation. Like, a lot
all
of
you
people
gotta
who
do.
start doing podcasts always make this mistake of, like, cutting someone off or, like, ending the conversation when it shouldn't, and then asking the next question that they have written down.
Yep.
You know, I've seen that way too many times because I've been on a few podcasts, even before Maximum Underdrive. So it's like, it just makes for a shittier podcast. But I think this is working out really well. You're a natural
Yeah, it's really good.
podcaster.
Yeah.
Like, my mentality coming into this was have talking points, but don't force it. Like, for me, I had quite a few that I had labeled down. I think one of them ended up being like video games and Satisfactory and you guys doing what you do. And then the other one was like anime, which we just like fully covered. And it wasn't even brought on by me. It was brought on by somebody in the chat, which was fucking amazing. I was sitting here just being like, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. They're making me, they deleted me. That's why. And then,
I always
like,
get put on the spot though when we talk about anime because I've watched a bunch of anime, but I'm not as well versed as everyone else. Especially for someone who's like the weeb, you know, because
That's
I
probably
live in
me.
Japan, I speak the language and all that.
Yeah.
I'm just not as well versed.
I'm like, I'm one of those weebs that tries to learn Japanese by watching subtitles.
Same.
As
Same.
weird as that seems, but like I don't try to use a word unless I have a general idea of what it is. Like onsen. When I was talking to you earlier about fucking hot springs, I knew it was either public bath or hot spring. So I was like, I'm gonna try this out and see if Clyde's just like, no, that's public bath, and I'd been like, I learned
you
it
fucking
50%.
That's a sento. So a sento is a public bath.
I didn't even hear that before. I always heard onsen.
Oh.
So the fact that now I know onsen is like, oh, that was the jog on thing from Hot Fuzz, but okay. Now that I know onsen is kind of a public like
you've watched
hot
Spirited Away, the Ghibli movie.
Oh, of course. But I watched it dubbed, not subbed.
Oh, okay.
any
Because
good?
they say sento all the time. It's in the title in
Yeah.
Japanese.
That-
It's
that-
Sento Chihiro.
I actually think if I look back in time in my little child brain, that was the first thing that was anime that I've seen was Spirited Away.
I've never
So
seen
there's
it.
a wordplay in the title in Japanese. So her name is Chihiro in the movie, but she gets half of the kanji removed,
Oh.
and she becomes Sen.
Oh. So
Right?
what? Is she like Chisen?
So the wordplay is Sento. To is a word for and.
Oh.
So it's Sen and Chihiro, but it sounds like Sento Chihiro, so bathhouse Chihiro.
That's what you pay $5 extra for per month at
Yeah, for
Best
the wordplay.
Western hotels. What hasn't
But yeah,
you
that's a
watched?
little pun in the title. But yeah, Sento is a bathhouse, so that's not natural hot springs. That's like they heated it.
So I just want to I want to quickly address this question Huntress asked me. What hasn't he watched? The easy question for that is I have watched at least one episode of everything. I have not missed one single anime. I have given it at least one episode apiece. And
Damn.
if they are shit to the point where I can't watch a second episode, which there are a lot of, I won't watch a second episode. My standard
connoisseur.
rule, though, my standard rule is for a 23-minute episode of anime, I will give it 3 episodes. If it cannot grip me in 3 episodes, I'm gone.
Yes.
If-
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
That's a big thing because like one episode is not enough
It's
to
never
like
enough, 'cause you
fully
never know.
flesh out the characters.
Yeah, you
right?
never
But
know.
3 is the good middle ground.
Exactly, because you're supposed to have at least one build-up, one action, and one calming.
But-
That's the idea.
Yeah. But a lot of the times you could tell that this is going to be bad within the first episode. Like,
Dude,
you know it's like, all right, this is going to be shit. And you keep going and then just get shit.
shit, is this what
Sometimes
it's
it
called?
surprises you. Kind of like with fucking Overworld? No. Overlord? I thought it was going to be kind of bad and boring and like copy paste everything else, but it ended up turning
Mm-hmm.
up great. But more often than not, you could tell in the first episode, and 90% of the time, it's like, okay, this is going to be bad, and you know it.
See, the thing is I had history with Overlord anyway because of the manga. I read a lot of manga. Surprisingly, even though I have so much time in anime, I still read a fuckload of manga. Even manhwas from Korea. So one of the things that I noticed is you can tell when a shitty anime is going to be really shitty. Like if you look up I think it's R16, just tell me based on this description if you think you would watch this.
Wait, what is it?
I think it's called R16 anime. I think it's called R16. Aika R16. One of the
Virgin
worst
Mission?
It's one of the
that's-
fucking worst things
I was
I've
gonna
ever
say.
seen in my goddamn life. I wish I could have removed this from my memory box because the voice acting's garbage on both Japanese and English. I've never seen it awful in Japanese anime. I've always thought, oh, at least it's decent voice acting. Not in this. The animation is kind of stop motiony in terms of the frame rate, and
I'll be right back.
they gave a 6-year-old triple F titties.
That's fucking weird.
As soon
No,
as
I
that happened,
can't.
I
I
was like,
can't deal
what
with
the
that.
fuck?
There's some
I was
animes that you can start
baffled.
watching and they start doing the lolly shit and it turns you off right away. But you're also committed to the anime, so you got to keep watching it.
Wait, I just gotta go back. They can do the lolly shit as long as they confirm that they're like 800-year-old vampires or like a 35-year-old mother. I don't care at that
True.
point because I don't pay attention to their character because they're usually side characters.
True. I
This
agree.
person was a main character and they were 6 and their
Ugh.
tits were bigger than they were. And I was sitting there going,
Yes, fucking-
is this going to get me arrested? I'm leaving. And then I just exited out and I never watched it again after the first episode. It was so fucking garbage.
Jesus.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen. But I went through
Fair
my
enough.
anime list from A to Z and I watched an episode of each one.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I stopped watching the animes I think are garbage. And believe me, I have a lot of experience to know what shit.
Fair.
I've got one that I thought was really good.
Oh, I hope we match up on this.
Tanya the Evil.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
Oh, I
Yep,
fucking
yep.
love that one. That's
I'm-
my top 6 or 7.
I think it's shitty.
Yeah.
You think it's
Oh,
shitty?
no.
Really?
I think it's shitty. I think it overpromised and underdelivered.
Oh, I went
I
into
really
it
enjoyed it.
blind, so I didn't know about
Yeah,
the
so did I.
over promising. It's like
Yeah,
I went
I got
into it
no
and I'm like,
promise, so
damn,
it
this is
was
really
nothing.
fucking cool,
I will
and then
say-
just left happy.
I will say it's not shitty enough to not watch the whole thing, but I don't think it
100%
lived
not.
up to the hype that I expected, and that's my fault. I watched it. I didn't watch. I read the manga. I was expecting something a little bit more in depth. I got crushed, and I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have expected regular anime storytelling. And that was my fault. Otherwise, the manga was great. I fucking loved it. It was great. The animation looked fantastic. I was just a little disappointed. I think they could have done a lot better with it, and I don't know. I felt a little let down. It's not like shitty like Ica R16 would be, but
Yeah,
it's not as good as I hoped it would
bad.
be. And that's
I mean,
kind of
that's-
why I'm 50-50 on reading manga, because manga will either make my experience fantastic or it'll ruin it completely.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
You know, because like the problem is the story you're trying to relay in different mediums. Like it always gets worse and worse the farther you go. So it's always the novels are the best, followed by the manga, then the anime, then the movie. Because with every single rendition of the next one, you have less time to tell a story. So you have to condense more and leave it out. You know? So it kind of sucks that way, but you have to kind of accept that. And whenever you go into a manga or an anime or a movie or anything like that, you have to accept the fact that it's going to be not as good and understand that you're going to be disappointed in some ways, but have some like know that it's going to be okay depending on the movie. Sometimes they could fuck it up, sometimes they won't. What?
I have two exceptions to the rule.
Okay.
And that is Harry Potter, which I thought was both good in written book and in movie, and Lord of
Nice.
the Rings, which I thought was the most true to the book of all movies I've seen adapted from book.
Fucking love Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. So,
Those are the
have you
only
not
two
seen
exceptions
either
to
of
the
those,
rule.
Clyde?
I've never seen Harry Potter. I was never interested.
That's fair.
And
Okay.
Lord
I
of the
mean,
Rings. I watched the whole trilogy when I was sick with the flu once. Because everyone's like, you gotta watch them all. You gotta watch them together. So I watched them all
That's a
all
lot.
together, and I wasn't feeling well as it was. And it was like
That's a tough
12
watch.
hours of nature hike with emo kids. You know what I mean?
I was
It's
about
like,
to say
Sam!
that's
Oh,
a pretty
Sam!
tough watch.
I was like
when
nodding
somebody
off
is
and
sick.
coming to, like, we're in a new place.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
we're still emotional. All right.
God damn! No wonder you hated it. Like the thing is like Lord of the Rings is something that I feel like if you didn't read it as a kid, you're not going to appreciate it as much when you see it on the big screen. And the thing is they did
That's
it
rare.
in two very strange separations. They did it in the regular version and the uncut version, which had hours of uncut content that really actually
Really?
led into the book. I did
Damn.
an all-nighter watching 1, 2, and 3. That took me 12 hours. But then I
That's
did
fucking
another
commitment.
all-nighter that required me to watch the uncut editions, and that took me 18 hours.
Really? That much
There
extra
was
footage in the
so-
uncut edition?
So much from the books
Wow.
and the Silmarillion and so much else that filled in so many gaps that the main movies had. That just, it made me like twiddle my nipples with how fucking good it was. I was just sitting there just like dialing a
Damn.
radio at that point. It was
I gotta watch that then.
It was such a good cut of it. And like a lot of the times you would think, oh, deleted scenes, they were deleted for a reason. No, I watched the deleted scenes from Lord of the Rings and I couldn't figure out why they removed them. It added so much context to everything that they were doing that even people who didn't read the book would feel like they read the book. It's just
Shit,
it's so
that's pretty
much
good.
that they could have balanced out with that, and it's so annoying that they didn't release it as the theatrical release. But I get it; it would have been 4.5 hours per video.
That's
Sure,
fucking
that's
long.
a long
That's
time.
The Lord of the Rings
Yeah, but
movies are
you're a
commitment
YouTube
now.
creator, right? Like, imagine you're like, okay, I've got the edit down to 40 minutes. No one's gonna watch this.
Yeah,
No one's gonna
that's a
click
good
on it.
point. That's a good point.
Here's the
Okay,
thing:
got it.
you say that to me as a YouTube editor. Me, I'm sitting there stroking my dick, just being like, "Yeah, watch it. You better watch it. I spent my time making this, and it's good. I'm not cutting it more. I'm not my fucking bris
man.
doctor. I'm not giving
So-
myself a circumcision. No way. You're getting the full load, baby."
Okay, I've got the weirdest thing when I'm editing a video. I'm thinking about how it is that I behave as a viewer, right? So I'm looking
Same.
through YouTube, and I'm like, okay, here's a video. Oh, it's only 10 minutes long. Okay, I'll pop into it. Oh, that one's 15 minutes. Nah, probably no. I'm just gonna maybe I'll watch it later. It'll probably come up recommended. Oh, there's another 10-minute videos and watch all of those, right? So it's
Yeah.
not like I'm not gonna watch a bunch of videos, but if it breaks the threshold, I won't click on it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm making content, I'm like, I need it to be between. When I was making those videos for my first channel, it was always between 5 and 8 minutes
Yeah.
was what I was trying to aim for, and then YouTube was like, "Fuck you, 10 minutes or you don't get paid." Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stretch it out another couple
Pretty
minutes,
shit.
but like, that's how I aimed for it, and I got the clicks. That's the thing.
Yes.
I got the clicks
Yep.
because of it.
For me, I'm very picky, considering I've spent nearly 50% of my life being a content creator. And when it comes down to it, I've gotten to the point where I don't give a fuck about my viewer. I don't give a shit what you think. You could be sitting there in chat right now. Fuck you. If I don't like it,
Yeah, fuck you, chat.
But hear me out here. Hear me out. If I don't think it's a good product, I'm not putting that shit out. Fuck that. Fuck it. If I think it's shit, it's gone. How many content creators can you say
Yeah.
put out shit constantly that they know is not good? Me, if I edit
so
something,
bad.
if I edit
bad.
anything, it's because I find it funny. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to be a part of it. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to do anything. I'm still making content that's true to me. So if I make a 5-minute video and I put that out there and people love it, great. If I put a 40-minute video out there and people don't like it because of how long it is, I'm going to tell them just because it's not as short as your dick doesn't mean it's not that great, baby. I'm going to make fun of them. I don't care. If it's an hour long and it's a video that's good and people are just like, I'm not going to watch it because it's an hour. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to bang your mom because it takes more than an hour to make her come.
Well, see,
Here I am attacking the viewer.
my point is people aren't going to click on it in the first place.
I actually
So-
found that that's actually untrue.
Is it?
Yeah, I've actually found that, you know, like the average view, like okay, maybe not an hour, but the videos that get clicked
pretty
on the
long.
most are between 28 and 47 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's because they know they're going to be getting content for a long amount of time, but they can fast forward or rewind to where
Hold
they want to
on.
be.
Are they loyal followers or
No,
are they
this is
random people browsing?
Completely random. Completely random. People will click on medium to long length videos because they want to see what you have to offer. So if you're giving them a 5-minute video and they're just like, oh wow, it's just a compilation of this dude going, ha ha, ha, shit, ha ha ha, ha, shit, fuck you, bitch. They're just going to be like, oh, well, that's 5 minutes of useless content. But then there's like, let's say a 40-minute compilation of what you guys did in Satisfactory from a 6-hour video. They're more likely to click on that because they know they're going to get 40 minutes of Satisfactory and they'll find it satisfactory. You know what I mean?
I just thought of something funny that I was thinking about
See,
recently.
even
'Cause
Huntress agrees.
all these YouTubers are out there, and you keep hearing it. Only so many percent of my viewers are subscribed to the channel. They
Yep.
keep mentioning that. Low key, they don't realize they're flexing on the rest of us.
That's a good point.
That's what you want. You want YouTube recommending your videos to people who don't know who the hell you are.
So here's the funny thing: you think of it as flexing, they see it as small dick fell out of the towel. Because they're thinking, oh, I have 1 million followers, but I'm getting 250,000 views, but half of those views aren't from people that are following me, so less than 10% of my viewers are actually watching. Wow, my dick's really small. But in our mentality, where it's like, oh, if we got 100,000 views on anything, we'd be happy. They're thinking, oh shit, that
That's not
percentage
my
based
point,
on that
though.
percentage is
My
percentage
point-
of this.
My point is that people that aren't even subscribed to them are getting their content displayed in front of them.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, but they don't see it that way because they're so used to the old school like YouTube method where it's like, oh, subscribers should be getting all my videos because they already subscribed to me for a reason.
Yeah,
Everybody lives in that old school mentality. Nobody actually has adapted. Like, look at every big YouTuber now. How have they actually adapted to the new change? Look at Jacksepticeye. Look at PewDiePie. They got 5% of their total viewers actually watching their shit. Who do we have taking over from them? We've got Tommy, which is a 19-year-old British kid who may or may not have been adopted, who is making very strange internet content on Twitch. But it's working. He's getting 8 or 9 million views a video, and he's making more money than if he was in university, and he's still in university. He's still graduating. He's going through with the diploma and everything because his parents beat him otherwise. But like, it's that relatability. Like, I don't think I could watch a PewDiePie video and be like, I can relate to this IKEA furniture wannabe of a YouTuber. Like, I don't think I could sit there and be like, yeah, boysenberry is my favorite berry. Ooh, I wish I had some of that loisenberry or some of that oonka boonka shit. I don't give a fuck. Nobody cares what PewDiePie is thinking other than the fact that he's popular. Same thing with Jacksepticeye, because, again, they're popular from an older time of YouTube. They're still getting views because they're clickbaiting, or they're trying to make it seem like their videos are shorter. But in reality, there's just not enough content for them to actually make their videos longer because they're not as funny as they used to be. Whereas I've seen a lot of YouTubers nowadays that are
most of them are just reaching, right?
True.
A lot of content creators, they get to a point where they just don't have anything else to create, and it's the mad dash to keep producing, keep putting, because they know the relevancy. As soon as it's not there, it dries up.
Gone.
That's exactly where I was going with this. One of the biggest examples I have is Funhouse. Funhouse is the biggest example of people making content because they love it versus making content because they need the money. If you look at their viewership...
No. It's not about the money. It's about keeping a revenue stream. But if you stop, the train ends. The train jumps off the track and it no longer runs. It rusts and it dies.
I disagree. I don't think it's the stopping. I think it's the change. And that's why I brought up Funhouse. Because they didn't stop. They changed. They flipped their mentality over to the point where they are fucked. They are absolutely screwed as a company. And that's the problem.
That sucks.
Whereas that's what I'm thinking a lot of things have happened with YouTubers. Because a lot of the times I will watch Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie and they're still doing the same shtick over and over and over again. Where they're Irish or they're Swedish and they're just loud. And that's kind of the problem they have, is they built their community on being loud equals funny versus loud isn't funny, but here I'm going to be funny and loud. And that's the problem they're facing. Funhouse was different because they were a branch of YouTube, or they were a branch of Rooster Teeth specifically that was, I don't give a fuck, here's a joke, if you laugh, you laugh, if you don't, well, we're canceled. Well, after they got canceled 4 times... because one of the Rooster Teeth employees was a pedophile, the other one was having sex in the office, and 2 of them quit because they didn't want to deal with the corporate overlords that were in charge of them. Full screen, you fucking suck. Because they were also my MCN, and they can suck my nuts. Suck them. Suck 'em full screen. I'm going to be better than you in 10 years from now. My balls will be on your chin, CEO of full screen. Come at me, bitch. Sorry. I have
Sorry, quick
I
little
have some
cough.
things
Bad
to say
cough.
about full screen. But Rooster Teeth was going through their corporate downfall anyway.
Right.
Funhouse didn't have that until Adam Kovic, Lawrence, and Bruce left. Once they left, their entire
it.
circle of offensive humor that brought in millions upon millions of views each month was gone. They
Yeah,
went from
they were
getting
no longer Funhouse.
yeah, they're just House,
Yeah.
but not like the music. They're still not that catchy. They went from getting about I think it was 35 million views a month, and it was still trending upwards to now getting under 5 million.
Wow.
And the videos are the same length. They follow the same structure, but because they go for a more PC culture bullshit kind of route where they're just like, oh my God, we can't make fun of anybody who might be transgendered and or not. We're just going to avoid that. And if you're black, we will give you every right to make fun of us, but we won't make fun of you. It's like, come on, don't be so PC cultured. Get that glue
It's
out
just
of your butthole.
uninteresting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just uninteresting.
So that's what made me stop watching, was the fact that it became
Yeah.
every generic show on television.
And the core group is gone. That's the big thing. They're the group who made the show. Like, whenever they had other guests on, I personally didn't watch those episodes as often as the people who had the core group. When you have the core group, who is essentially the channel leave, it loses the appeal.
See, I didn't care that much about that because they brought in John Smith and they brought in Ryan. I forgot his last name, but they were
Did
both
they?
extremely offensive, like comedians. Like they were uber offensive. Like they replaced Lawrence and Bruce with John and Ryan, and they were hilarious.
And that went over pretty well.
Yeah, it went over great. I even loved their content. It was funny. But then something happened in between like October, September of last year and now that made it so they have to be super politically correct. Like,
Oh.
there's not a single episode I don't
has the
see where
channel-
one of them is pushing
the
how
channel
they
been
have a
tanking because of it?
transgender employee. Huh?
Completely.
Huge.
So has the channel been tanking?
It's
Like, the
losing
numbers have been
thousands
tanking
of
because it?
subscribers every
I'll be
month.
right back.
It's losing views every month. Like going from over 30 million views a month to less than 5, and then also having a steady dip of 10,000 subs per month. That's huge. Nobody wants that.
Right. So I think what you're saying though is just that's just a decline of a property, right? That's just
What
the
I'm saying
decline
is
of-
that's a decline of a property that doesn't understand its audience. Because, like I said, when they first got rid of Bruce and Lawrence, I was still in because Ryan and John were both offensive but funny, and they still brought their own charismatic form of comedy to the group. They always still had their own little thing that wasn't necessarily trying to replace one thing, but they were just adding another. Like, they weren't trying to replace Bruce and Lawrence. They were being John and Ryan, but they were doing their own brand of John and Ryan. And it was still funny for that reason. But something happened in that last 6 months that made them go from being John and Ryan to being, here's my corporate entity pass, I am going to read the script now. And it's like, something's happening that's not quite you anymore. And that's when you start noticing that dip. I think from the beginning of the year till now, they had about a 60% decrease in viewers.
Right.
Yeah, it's an insane amount. Like,
But what we were talking about earlier was like the fear that a lot of content creators have with just taking any time off. So if you like miss a couple of uploads or whatever, the chance of losing viewers permanently because of that, because of how YouTube works, is so high. It creates this crazy stress
I
of
thought we
having
were-
to constantly
What about
upload.
what about JonTron though?
JonTron hasn't
I think
changed,
that's a
though.
good case study. for-
JonTron hasn't changed. He's still the same. See, what I thought we were talking about before we were branching off to that other thing was the fact that some people change from going from 30-minute videos down to converting to what they need to try to thrive in a community, and how that
I
could
see
backfire.
where
That's
you
what
went
I
there,
was
yeah.
going for, where they're trying to adapt, but it's not quite working. JonTron is an interesting case study because He made some questionable content in the past that could have been racist. I don't remember what it was, but it was apparently something that was considered xenophobic in some way. And I'm like, I don't remember this shit. I don't care. He's funny.
Everything's so offensive anymore that I don't know if anything's offensive. So I just don't care.
I'm not offended by anything. But then again, some black guy will say it's
I
because
just
I'm
don't
white.
care.
And I'll be like, well, that's racist. And he'll be like, no, it's not. You're white. And I'd be like, replace that with black. And he'd be like, no. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I don't when I hear
almost
somebody's
reported
offended, I
Huntress by
just look
smacking
away
my keyboard.
anymore. I just walk away. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
I just
can't
don't
you
bother
can't
anymore.
respond to it, because if you respond to it, then the focus goes at you. So I just walk away.
Yeah, Huntress is right. Anything is offensive to
Yeah.
everyone these days. It's true. There's not a single thing. Like, one thing I like to try to say to people to make it rationalize how they speak or how they think in front of a crowd on Twitch or anything like that is just your existence is enough to piss somebody off. The fact
Yeah,
that
that's a
you're
good point.
sitting in
Totally.
front of the camera is enough to make somebody want to shoot up a school. It's enough to make somebody want to kill themselves. It's enough to make somebody want to kill you. You can't control everybody. And that's the mentality you have to have when you sit in front of this camera. There's at least 30% of the people in the world right now that want to murder my fat ass because I'm white. They want to murder me because I'm not willing to be politically correct. I don't care. I don't care. Never have, never will. But the fact is there's somebody out there who would come up to me right now, put a gun to my head, pull the trigger, and he wouldn't feel bad about it. You know what? That's just how the world is. There's at least one. There's always at least
the way she
one.
goes.
And that's the mentality you need to have whenever you're trying to make content. Is you can never please everybody, and that should never be what you're trying to do. You should be trying to please
Yeah,
yourself,
you
and that's
can't
it.
try.
That is 100% it.
But you should please your audience.
Well,
But
I
you
mean,
don't
even
care.
then, I don't even try to please them.
I'm definitely always trying to please the audience.
For me, mentally, after all these years, it's you have to please yourself. Because if you're not happy with what you're making, then there's no way your audience will be.
Mm-hmm.
I just like making a banger like a banger product. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
that's
have.
really what I'm about.
And you 100% have.
Yeah. But I always look at the last thing and I go, oh, you do better.
Right?
The next one's gonna be better.
The trick to that, though, that I've learned is to not always think that. Because there's always a fault.
Or
in
maybe the
everything
trick
you
is
do.
to think that.
I disagree. Because no matter what you do, you'll always find a fault in your own work. You'll
That's a good
always
point. Of
find
course.
something to complain about in your own work.
Ah,
To an
but
extent, of
okay, here's
course.
the trick.
To an
The trick
extent.
is to always think it could be better, but give yourself timelines.
Exactly.
Like, because what'll happen is if you're always thinking that it could be better, is you'll never end up producing and publishing stuff.
And of course, compromise on the smaller stuff.
Yes. Compromise on the tiny things, but always strive. Always keep striving.
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying just because you'll never reach your own inner goal, you shouldn't try to strive. What I'm trying to say is mentally, if you're watching a video over and over and over again and you're trying to figure out this one little detail, nobody's going to see it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to notice that one little thing
I'll
that
always
pisses
see
you
it.
off.
Yeah, Clyde.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Clyde.
Clyde-
I'll
But
always
Clyde-
see it. I
But
obsess
the thing
over
is
this stuff.
Clyde
I
is
do.
going at that from the perspective that I'm talking about, which is you're always going to notice that one little thing that bothers you of your own
Yeah.
content. Nobody else will. So the little things, bend a bit. Don't focus
So-
on them so much, but just try to cater the overall theme to be for your audience and for yourself. But make the video to make you laugh, or to make you enjoy, or to make you sad or mad or angry. Whatever emotion you're trying to put onto your audience, you have to feel that through yourself first. And if you don't, then it's not going to go into your audience as well as you think it will.
True. I agree with that. But here's also a big dichotomy too. This is something Clyde and I struggle with sometimes. So like Clyde is always looking for everything to be perfect all the time, which is great because that's how you make the best product. But at the same time, I'm very much the same mentality as you, Ruthless, where it's like sometimes it's like, all right, that's good enough. But sometimes I fuck up and think that the good enough is actually not good enough. You know, it's like I didn't actually put enough effort into something where there should have been more effort into it. So it's like it's killing yourself between, oh, you're spending so much time on this thing when you don't need to, but you don't spend enough time on other things when you're thinking like, oh, it's good enough.
Yep.
No one's gonna notice. So it's always that hard balance between the two things that you have to try and like compromise on, which isn't always easy.
That's where experience comes into play, because that's what I used to deal with in the early days of YouTube, where I was like, this is still funny to me in some way, and then I'll put it out and somebody will be like, this is fucking shit, and then I'll just like relook at it and be like, yeah, I could have done way better. Whereas like now I've done it in a way where it's like, this makes me feel this is funny to me. I don't have too many complaints about it, like, oh, it could be a minute or two too long, or it could be missing a couple things, or I might have cut a little too much. Those are the little things I'm willing to compromise on. And if I put it out and somebody was like, oh, this should be longer, but it's not the general consensus, then I'll just kind of leave it be. But if there's like, let's say I get 1,000 views and I got like 100 comments and all of them are like, hey, this should be about maybe 5 minutes longer, can you fix that? Then I would delete the video and do it, because 10% of my vocal audience is telling me, hey, come on, dude, do your shit. Whereas the rest of them are just kind of clicking, not doing anything, and leaving. I want that 10% of vocal audience to be there in the future, because they're the ones that are at least going to tell me my shit is shit and it's stanky. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's kind of where my brain has gone nowadays. Like for my edits now, I don't do what I did 4 years ago, which was just cut, compile, render, and upload. Now it's edit an entire 3-hour stream to like 20 minutes, cut it, edit it, render it, upload it, and then people are just like, oh, that's great. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm like, yes, I banged it out. Fuck yeah. But if I take, let's say, an entire stream and I were to put it on the same channel, they'd be like, where's the effort, bro? And that's where the balance comes.
That's the grind that's just so horrendous for me.
That's why I have the two channels.
The big long edit of condensing a stream down into like an edit.
So here's a really
Brutal.
sick fucking trick that I've ended up learning. So now I watch my videos at 36 times speed. And I edit
That's
my
pretty fucking
videos
quick.
at that speed, because I listen
Really?
for keywords as I'm going, and I can hear a joke based on my laughter. Like my own laughter is me telling myself, "Hey, pay attention to this scene." So if I'm ever laughing and I'm going, that's my key right there to be like, go back 10 seconds, 15 seconds, rewatch it, edit it, cut it, clip it, put it in. That's the most natural way I've ever done it.
I do it a little differently. I'll find like 2-3 memorable moments, and then I'll try to clip those together like a story, and then put like a montage somewhere in the middle of like gameplay or whatever.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I've just learned that I have very specific laughs. For me, I've given myself this strange, like, a lot of people time it out when they decide to stream. Like they'll put like their mods to be like, oh, time it out so that at 1 hour and 12 minutes into the stream I do this. For me, if I do something funny or shocking or anything like that, I'm super over the top after it happens, that my brain sees it in the vocal spikes, and I stop, rewind, go through it, and then I cut it. So that's why I watch my videos at 36 times speed, is so that way I can see where those vocal spikes are going. And when I see them, I cut them, stop them, rewind them, do them. Then I go again. And it's a weird form of editing I've learned over the years, where you can just, instead of time stamping everything, you just use your own natural laugh. Like my laugh sounds natural compared to what it is normally, but I use that as a way to stop myself in the middle of watching to edit. So whenever that happens, it's a good time cutoff for me. But it seems so natural, nobody knows.
That's a good idea.
It takes a lot of time to get used to, because a lot of the times you'll find that your fake laugh is very different than your normal laugh. But because I'm very jolly, I laugh at everything. So I've learned to adapt my laugh to pretty much anything. Also, be right back. Gotta pee.
Right.
Huntress is saying, truth is, just make content that you love. You're the one who's gonna watch it the most at the end of the day. Yeah, that's true. Like when you're clipping together shit, you gotta make sure it's the shit you like. You know?
That is true. I mean, what we try to do is, because it is a product, what we're making. You know what I mean? It is a product. So we're trying to package this out and actually sell it to an audience. So if it's only us that likes it, then it's a fun hobby. But I think we're taking it a little further than just a fun hobby, right?
Mm-hmm. Just a little
So
bit.
we are kind of dependent on having an audience that likes what it is that we do. So there is that concern.
Yeah. You need that constructive criticism that comes along with everything, but weed out the non-constructive criticism.
Grain of salt. Grain of
Yeah.
salt. Just a little Salt Bay.
Yeah, it's like
Sprinkle
little
it on
sprinkle
there.
ad
Because
bad
holy
boys.
crap, because some people are very salty. And they'll give you
Yeah.
a whole heap and pile of it. For
Yeah.
no reason, too. Some of the comments that I get on my YouTube videos,
Ooh, brutal. You've
like
told me
way
about
out of
some
left
of them.
field.
I know.
Holy,
It's like,
way
what
out
the
of left
fuck,
field.
man?
Like people are just having a bad day, so they just want to shit on somebody, you know?
Yeah.
They
I
don't see it from your perspective, right? Most people don't see it from the creator's perspective. Like, wow, I spent like a month on that video.
Mhm.
And then some guy just comes in and is like, shits all over it for
I
no
watched that in
reason.
10 minutes. You know, this is trash. I could have done this better. Yeah, but you're not, first of all. Second of all,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here, asshole. You know, so, yeah. Some people love
I've
salt too
done
much,
that.
says Huntress.
I've done that in the past though, like where I've had somebody who's like so shitty like that, where I went to his channel and I commented on one of his videos and said like, "I'm glad to see the quality's much better over here," you know.
Yeah.
Just as my own little, I read your comment, asshole. But that was a long time ago. No, I don't.
And it's not worth it. You quickly learn
No,
that's
it's
not
not.
worth it. You know, even putting the comment doesn't really help you. It's like he still said that shit about your video, whether or not he's a bad creator or not. You know, it's just your
Yeah,
biases that kind of come up and put a wall in front of everything. So,
and it just gives you that immediate like, oh, I feel better, or I feel happy that I did that. But do I really? Not really.
yeah,
I
right?
wasted my
It's like
damn time.
revenge is bittersweet kind of thing. It's not
Yeah.
worth it 99% of the time. So, yeah.
Oof.
I'm not sure
Content
I
creation is a
necessarily
whole
agree with that.
fucking thing.
I feel like if it's an innocent fun, then it should be fine.
Yeah. But most of the time, if you're going to someone's channel after they left a comment on your channel, it's not innocent fun. It's
Oh,
just
fair
like,
enough. Like to
yeah.
sabotage them?
No,
Yeah,
I
I've been
did
the
that. I
victim
did
of
that for a guy who left a comment like just busting up my videos. So I was like, wow, this guy must know about videos. And then when I got to his channel, I was like, this sucks. What the hell?
He's just
so I left a
jealous.
comment. I was like, I'm glad to see that the content's so much better over here.
Oh, nice. That's thrilling.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
See, your audience is always going to be your worst and your best friend at the same time.
Yes.
You know,
Oh,
because
totally.
it's just such a fucking melting pot of everyone from everywhere who both knows way more than you and then way less. You
Yep.
know, so
Yep, that's the perfect
it's
way
hard
of
to
putting
pay
it.
attention to.
Absolutely the best way of putting it. Knows more
Mm-hmm.
but less at the same time.
Yeah, it's a hard thing. So
Yep.
you have to deal with that. That's one big thing being a content creator. So
Yeah.
and it only gets worse the larger you grow too, right? When you're first starting off and the people are so genuine and nice, like, oh, look at this cool stuff. But the larger you grow, it gets worse and worse and worse to the point where you just can't pay attention to
I
it.
disagree with that. I feel like the percentage of people that are assholes dilutes.
You think so?
Does it?
Yeah, I feel like the percentage dilutes, but they're more vocal. Like, you could have 100 million subscribers and 400,000 views on a video. And out of that 400,000 views, you got 1,000 comments. And out of that 1,000 comments, the 10 that say the worst things about you will speak volumes higher.
Is that true, or is that just like you reading the comment and you taking it way too much at heart? Because
that's the thing.
humans
That's
have
where
a
ego comes
proclivity
into play.
to taking negatives more than positives.
That's my point, though, is we focus way more because of our ego on the negative than we do on the positive.
That is true.
So we could have
That
a
is true.
990 positive comments saying how great we look, how awesome our personality is. Oh, your voice is sexy. I'd take you to bed. But one dude tells you that he's going to like butt fuck you in an alley and throw your corpse in a dumpster. You're just like, oh, why?
Shit.
Why
I
the,
missed
why
out
the
on an
dumpster?
opportunity there.
Yeah. So like it's just you focus more on
Fuck.
that
I'll be right
because you're
back.
just like, oh, why? Why would you do that instead of all the other people that are just like praising you? You're not
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh, why would you praise me? Oh my god, why? But the one dude is
Yeah.
just like, I'm not praising you. Fuck you. Your corpse goes in the trash. It's like, oh,
Right.
but why? But why the trash? Why not like a nice
No,
urn?
but why?
But why? Like it's just the way our mentalities work. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know when I was first on YouTube, that was my biggest crux was trying to get over the negatives. But now my entire mentality is negative that whenever I get one, I'm just like, ooh, let's see if I can upscale it and make him feel like shit for not being smart enough to think up what I created.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when I came to your stream, what was it, like a week ago now? I accidentally showed my ass and sat on the chair, and even Osmodius was just like, I don't think I can out self-deprecate this man. He is so self-deprecating that I don't think I can outdo him.
Well, here's one thing. Here, it's like a big protection mechanism in some
is.
ways that I find because like I grew up with
the
Tourette's, which
trick.
is a pretty difficult thing to grow up with.
Yep.
You start off with being like, no, that's not me, like in denial, and then over time it's acceptance, and then over time it's like, all right, you make fun of it because you're different in some way through comedy.
Okay,
At least that's how I experience.
Not gonna lie, I didn't realize you had Tourette's. I thought you were sneezing the whole time because of the noise you made with it. So I just thought
That's
you
a
were
good
a
point.
really emphatic sneezer until like it happened in one of the Discord chats with each other. I was like, oh, he has Tourette's. Okay, that makes
it's
more
crazy.
sense. I thought he was just. I thought you were just going, achoo, like
Oh.
shooting your arm off.
Okay, Sneezy. Stop
It was
calling
that-
me Sneezy.
It was that
Sure,
little bit of
Sneezy.
emphasis that you give at the end of it with that little like breathe out that made me think it was a sneeze. So I didn't
Yeah.
even know you had Tourette's for the longest time.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I'm really lucky when it comes to it because it's really not bad and I could play it
I've
off,
seen
but some
Sweet
people
Anita.
have it.
I'm
Really
surprised
bad.
she's been able to avoid TOS for so long.
Who?
Sweet Anita?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point
Yeah.
for specifically what she deals with because Sweet Anita, it's a whole nother ball game because of all the fucking swearing she does, but it's not her fault.
Did you see all the clips of her saving herself from saying the N-word with Tourette's? It was like watching a professional gamer take out everybody in a fucking CS:GO match. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
it's hard.
She's just like, she knows it's coming, so she covers her mouth and mutes her mic and throws off her headset all in less than a second. I'm like, how did she do that?
Yeah. See, whenever it happens, it's like a sneeze. You feel the buildup and then it happens. So you could kind of prevent it in some ways. But other than that,
extent.
like, there's not much you could do. You could suppress it, but that just makes it worse for when you're off air because then you explode. So,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know what, like if you had verbal tics, you would know what words coming out.
a little bit. I mean, I can't necessarily vouch for people with verbal tics because I've never had them. The worst I had was like a fucking. I went like this all the time, which was annoying. Like I remember one day studying and I did that, and then the girl next to me, it's like, are you whimpering? And I will forever be scarred from that moment because like I thought I was a whimpery little bitch. So like no, but that's the closest I've come to
That's
knowing
so
what verbal
good.
Tourette's is like because that's pretty different.
I would assume it feels the same though, because it's an involuntary
Probably.
muscle spasm, right? So wouldn't it still feel the same if you're about to like I don't know how to explain this, but if you're about to like shoot your arm towards your monitor like a punch, it should feel the same as if you're about to yell at it, right? 'Cause
Yeah, but
it's your
see, yelling
voice
and
about to
saying
say
specific
something.
words are different. Motor tics is just like extending your arm out like that, like I have. But like
Yeah.
saying specific words
Throwing your
is way
spaghetti
more.
at the wall.
Yeah, throwing your
that
spaghetti at
happened?
the wall. Goddamn.
Is that not
that
a
has
clip on
happened.
your channel?
What's that?
Is that a clip on your channel?
No, it's fucking offline when no cameras are rolling. It's kind of
Oh,
disappointing.
do you know how fucking many clips you could get with that? That's just the spaghetti clip.
I've been cooking for hours, which I hate. First of all, second of
Oh.
all, I'm starving. Fuck you. You know.
I
Never
will
mind. I
say
changed my
this.
mind.
I will say this: once COVID clears up, you guys have to try my spaghetti.
I'm down.
I'm down.
You've described it to
Yeah.
be pretty good, so I want to try it.
It is a long cook, but it is delicious. There's a reason I'm fat, and it's not because of fast food.
Yeah,
I
I
always
know.
say this.
It's
I always
Monster,
say
right?
it's
Never
not
trust
because
a
of
skinny
fast food.
chef, right?
Never trust a skinny chef. Gordon Ramsay, I'll fight you, bitch. I don't care how many goats you fuck
The
on the way
death.
to the ring. I will destroy you.
That's funny.
I think on the night Jake Paul won his fight, I think I challenged him to a fight. I think I was like, I think I said something like, "You that 36-year-old ain't nothing. I'll beat your pussy faster than I beat my meat each night. You fucking twat, come at me, you fucking plebeian bitch." But then I think my tweet got reported because it was too offensive. I would gladly fight. I would fight Jake Paul, no problem. I would kick his scrawny ass, no issue. He would punch
See
me.
that
and it
scrawny
would
though?
take-
He's kind of
he's
got like
scrawny
the
enough.
I'm super rich, so I start to work out
He's
casually look.
6'1". He barely has any muscle tone. He's he's got nothing. He's got millions of dollars and a bunch of yes men. I would go into that ring thinking I'm going to die, and the only thing that's going to keep me alive is killing him. And I will give his brother another body to film. I guarantee you. Fucking Jake Paul's got nothing. Logan Paul can film his brother's corpse in the ring. I don't give a shit. I will
What is he
destroy
with fighting
that
people?
pussy.
You're always like, man, I will fight this guy. I'll fuck him up. This guy will fuck me
Yeah,
up, but I'll still fight him. I don't get it.
I don't care. I'll fight. I'm German. It's how we do it. We don't care if we win,
okay.
if we win or lose
guess
the
you
war.
just wanna
We're just
fight.
gonna fight.
Gotta join
We
the
don't give a
fight club.
shit. Put me in a ring. Somebody make this viral. Put me in the ring with Logan Paul. Give me $100,000 in 7 months. I guarantee you he will be dead. I will fucking kill him in the ring. And if you don't think I will, his corpse will be cold by the time they pry it off of the fucking floor in the 3rd round. You hear that,
Clip
Jake
that
Paul,
shit.
you dumb cunt? I'll fucking kill you, you bitch. You stupid fucking wannabe. You dumb IQ motherfucker. You have less IQ than you have time in the ring, you fucking cuck.
Are you okay?
No, I
You
got
really
mad at
don't
Jake
like
Paul.
this guy
Wow.
you've never met.
Wow.
As soon as I heard Jake Paul in my own brain, I went off. I went off because my brain thought it was about to get dumber from hearing the words Jake Paul. So I'm like, all right, it's time to go to full defense mechanism. Jake Paul, let's fight. I will kill you.
Dazzle saying confidence over survival. Do you happen to have clones?
No, but I have
yesterday's
350
stream, apparently.
pounds of fat on me. So they have some material they can clone me out of. And a whole lot of skin.
See, I had to fight a lot when I was growing up. It's such a hassle.
Dude, so did
don't
I.
wanna
How
fight. I
did
don't wanna
me and
fight
you
with
have a more
anybody.
similar childhood than me and Evan?
I grew up near Detroit, so it was like a
That's a
lot
pretty
of
big
fighting,
factor.
and I was the youngest of 8 kids, so fighting's a hassle.
Oh. I went to Churchill as a poor kid. And when you're surrounded by brown kids and Asian kids that are just constantly flexing their dollars at you like rice gum, it gets annoying real
Oh.
quick. I remember getting into a fight. Okay, so I remember being really clever this one time in grade like 9. This one kid was making fun of me for being German, so he kept calling me a Nazi and shit like that. And I was like, dude, your name's Gagendeep. What'd the doctor do? Name you after what you did to him after you came out the womb? And he started crying. And I was just like, pussy. And then I
Get
left.
fucked. Mal.
And I was just like, was that the most savage thing I've ever done? And then his friends tried to jump me, and I fucking destroyed them. He had 3 friends that tried to jump me at a bus stop, and I kicked one of them in the dick, punched one of them in the nose, and I kneed one of them in the gut, and all 3 of them were on the ground. And I was like, if you're at least going to attack me like you're from fucking East Hastings, you fucking bitch. And then I just walked away.
Jesus.
See, the funny thing is, when you're always a foot taller than every single person
Oh, he
in
was as
your
tall as
grade,
me. He
no
was as
one
tall as
just
me.
like, no one wants to fight you, and it's scary to them. So I've never had to deal with that bullshit.
I will say, I wish I could have
Yeah.
agreed with that, but seeing as I'm 2 inches shorter than you, in grade 9, I was 6'1", and so were the people that I was making fun of, so size was never an option. I was like a kamikaze bomber at that point. I may go down, but I'm taking you with me, bitch. That was my mentality.
That's funny.
Wow.
So
In grade
yeah,
7, I was this height pretty much.
I was a problematic
funny.
kid at high school. I would start fights with people constantly, and if they didn't go through with it, I was just like, yeah, that's right, you fucking pains, bitch. You got nothing on
I want
me.
to say I'm a late bloomer. I'm still waiting for it.
Just got to go through puberty still.
Just you wait till
Just waiting on that.
just you wait till Logan Paul and Jake Paul challenges us to a fight. Maximum Underdrive and Ruthless.
That's right.
Oh god,
They wouldn't stand a
that
chance.
trend is so cringy. The like fight me bro trend.
You know
It's-
what?
It's the
If they pay
cringiest
me,
thing ever.
if they pay me as much as they earned for one boxing match, as long as it lasted, I will give them a show. I will give them a show they will never be able to not tell their grandchildren. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy got like $100,000 to fight Jake Paul. I'll give them $100,000 worth of fight. I guarantee you that kid's going home with at least 2 limps in either his wrist or his legs. I don't care where it's at, but he's going to need some sort of brace for the rest of his life. I don't care if it kills me. I don't care if it paralyzes me. I'm putting on a show. Fuck that kid."
Oh wow.
I really
Wow.
despise the Paul brothers.
I could see that.
Yeah, it seems that
I
way.
wasn't sure at first, but now I'm starting to get that feel.
The
you
reason-
know,
Pretty convinced.
You want to know why I'm pissed off about them though? This is going to be the biggest eye-opening thing to me. It was because his brother was able to get away with filming a corpse in the forest and not actually being canceled. Whereas thousands of other creators have done less than that have been canceled and have their livelihoods ruined. I think those hairline receding baboons needed to have their fucking lives ruined for once. The fact that they went to Japan ruined everybody's time there. Like, they insulted so many people.
Oh, it was
they,
bad.
They ruined
It's such a-
everything with that.
I couldn't watch it.
I couldn't either. But the fact that they went there and did all that wasn't enough, and they still filmed a dead body, and then everything else was okay because Logan Paul apologized with his dreamy blue eyes. I'll beat the motherfucking shit out of him. The next time he smiles, he's missing several teeth from his mouth. Same thing goes for his brother.
wow.
There's not enough dentists in the world that can fix what I'd do to his goddamn jaw. He would have to get an entire skull transplant for that empty fuck. Sorry, I got angry.
I can see that.
You put me on the Paul
Yeah.
brothers, and I'll fucking. I don't care if it's in the ring. I don't care if it's in a debate. I will destroy them. I will tear them apart verbally and physically. I'm like Eminem meets Mike Tyson. I will shit on them.
I get upset when people go to Japan and act like fools. You know
I
what
get
I mean?
pissed
Like,
off when they go anywhere and act like that. Like if they
well,
came
it's
to
true,
Canada
but I mean,
and pulled
I
that shit
especially
off,
for Japan because I it's my second home. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
So when I go there, I got this white face that sticks out like a sore thumb everywhere I go. Even though I just literally just try to blend in and just go about my day to day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you know there are people that have in the back of their mind they're like you fuckers. You know what I mean? And it's just
Stupid
it's the way it
assholes.
is. It is the way it is because of fucking idiots like that. And you're like, God damn it.
But I'm
Jerks.
just gonna say this for future proofness. If Jake Paul challenges me to a fight, I accept. Just saying it right now. So if,
All right.
if a year from now it happens, I'm like, oh, I've got kids. Well, fuck that. First of all, I'm killing him in the ring. Then I'll go home to my kids.
The only way you're gonna get a challenge like that is if you get a similar audience.
Dude, that's what I'm hoping for. If I get a similar audience, I'm taking. Here's my list of
Watch.
people I want to fight in the ring.
Well,
Jake
I'm not
Paul?
talking about the quantity of the audience. I'm talking about the quality of the audience.
He doesn't even have a quality of audience. All of his audience
That's
is
the
12
problem.
years old.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. That's
If
what
I-
we're trying to get at.
If I can pull off the number, if I can pull off the numbers, though, I will do it. I will fuck him up, and I will make everybody's lives better.
There
But
better be
there
a
are
Rocky
5
training
people-
montage.
There are 5 people I want to meet in the ring. Number 1, Mike Tyson, just for the clout. I would just want to be in the ring to get hit by Mike Tyson once, so I can say I got hit by Mike Tyson.
That's a
I
pretty
do
good point.
not want to get hit.
I'd
by-
At
rather not
54
either.
At
That's-
54,
yeah,
I feel
an
like I would be able to
inconvenience.
survive it at that point. He's so
Have
past
you
his prime.
fucking seen Mike Tyson? It doesn't matter how goddamn old you are. He still has like
hit, dude.
That doesn't mean I
muscle.
don't want to get in the ring with him.
And
I
the
think
muscle
that would be
memory
a cool
on
thing
how
to
hit
have.
like that.
Oh, of course.
dude. That
but-
one lasts his 100. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
okay.
good
We'll
point.
make him number 5.
That's when you retire.
We'll make him number 5. But Mike Tyson is one of the few people I actually want to go in the ring because of pure respect. Like, I know he's a douchebag.
I can respect him from here.
Me too.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I may not look like it, but I have a very fighty past. Like I was a black belt in martial artist before I went to obesity.
Oh.
Yeah, so like when it comes to fighting, I have a certain respect to that I
Black belt
didn't
and
have.
obesity.
Yeah, like I did judo for quite a while. But my thing is I would like to do that out of pure respect because I feel like I could go toe to toe with him if I got like a year to train back to what I used to be as a teenager. Then I feel like it would be fun. I feel like it'd be a good time. I would leave hurt, but it would be good.
You went from black belt to rainbow fruit by the foot.
That's real good.
I love that.
I like that.
Holy shit, that's great. But
That should be your shtick.
you're right. That's true. But I would love to do that. I feel like I have enough respect for the man that I would gladly go full 100%. Like I would train every day. I would
I'll be
eat
right
right.
back.
I would do whatever I could to be in the ring with him for even if it's just a round. Do I do Taekwondo? No, I only ever did judo. I did Taekwondo a little bit, but it was never for me. Never like a full on belt trying to like train in it kind of thing. But I feel like that would just be a lot of fun to like try that. But that's from
Well, I guess judo would be the one for you because that's the one where you use your weight as an advantage. For
exactly.
the most of the sport.
And as a tall person, that was very advantageous for me.
Yeah. Because you're just basically like momentum and
It was
inertia
basically
and all
like
that
tossing
stuff.
little children around. In all honesty,
Yeah.
it was really
Yeah,
easy.
fair enough.
But yeah, no, I would totally fight Mike Tyson, even though I would probably lose. I feel like that would be a cool thing to have under my belt.
Probably, I think is a really
definitely-
Well, it
weird
depends
word
when it
to put
happens,
in that
right?
sentence.
No. I say probably because I don't think he would be fighting me now. If anything, he'll be 65 and he'll be like, I'm desperate for money. And I'll be like, I'll give you money. I'll fight you. And he'll still probably
like
kick my ass.
Mike Tyson's on Fiverr. Will throw punches for $5.
I would love to see that, but it's like 50. It's like 50 bucker. At 50 buck, bud.
My new tiger needs cat food.
But yeah, no, he's one of the main people I want to fight. The other two are the Paul brothers because I feel like I could just destroy them so much that they wouldn't be able to talk for like 6 months or like 7 months because I would
Jesus.
just go for their fucking jaw. I would just keep punching them specifically where I knew it would dislocate it.
See, when it comes to the Paul brothers, I have this hope and dream, but I know it's just unrealistic. Is that
Logan Paul's the
people would
only one
wise
that's
up
even
to how
making it.
shitty that is.
Like the thing
You
is
know?
Logan Paul's the only one
But
that's
that is very
taller.
unrealistic.
I wish I could say that that's true, but like Logan Paul's actually taking those steps to not be a fucking idiot. He's basically focusing on his podcast, which I've actually tuned into a couple times just to see what it's like because of Pokemon. And he doesn't seem like that huge of an asshole anymore. He just seems more balanced, I guess is the word. Like more down to earth. He's not like how he used to be where everything I do is for clicks. It's now just, I have established myself, this is who I am. Whereas Jake Paul is, I don't want to be in the shadow of my brother. I'm going to punch upward. Uh-oh, there's a butthole. And then he just gets spewed with shit. Like that's Jake Paul. That's just how he is. He's just constantly
None of
getting
that stuff
shit on.
appeals to me.
And like, I don't mind beating up the little brother. I really don't. I really don't care. If somebody was just like, hey, we got a Paul brother for you. He's willing to fight you. Here's what your paycheck is. I'll be like, I don't need the paycheck. Give it to charity. I'm just going to kick his fucking ass. I don't care which one
We
it is
got
that
a
I meet in the
Paul.
ring. I will. Yeah, it'll
We've
be like his
obtained one of the
dad.
Pauls.
It will literally be like
Now's
his
your
dad
chance.
who's in the middle of making out with somebody who's underage again. And I'll just like fucking destroy him. That dude's like 60. I'd fucking give him arthritis by the time he's done with being in the ring. He'll punch me so many times he'll need to go visit a doctor. I'll just stand there being like, you fucking idiot. What are you doing? Drink some calcium. Drink some milk, you little bitch.
With all this shit talking, I legit kind of want to see this now.
I
just
want to see
wanna-
it. People,
Random guy on internet fights Jake Paul.
tweet it at Jake Paul. Fat man wants to fight you.
Oh god.
Do it, everybody. Tweet at him. I want to make it.
I don't have Twitter.
I will make it a thing. One of these days, I will destroy them in the ring. And that's my goal. That's my overall goal. I don't care if I catch COVID from it. I will beat the shit out of them.
Doesn't matter if I get AIDS. I will punch them.
I'll butt fuck them.
All right, sure. Okay, what a weird correlation, but fine.
England is my city. Nice reference, bro. Oh man, but yeah, no, I would fight them. I have no qualms with it. I am fully open with it. I say it on camera. I say it on Twitter. I won't back down. If they give me the money, I'll cash the check and I'll spend the next year of my life training. I don't care. Bring it on.
Wow. Those guys are so off my radar.
Yeah, right?
I almost forgot they existed.
Same here.
I just want to destroy somebody's idol in front of a 12-year-old. Like, I feel
Maybe
like
we
that'd be
should
funny.
like stage a prank where we like somehow get a fake Jake Paul account to say he's gonna fight Ruthless, and then all of a sudden he becomes like Giga Chad, and it was all a prank to get Ruthless into Giga Chad status.
I'm just sitting here
It's a
not
prank,
able
bro.
to wear shirts anymore because of how ripped I am. I'm just like, I can't even play games without breaking my keyboard.
My life has become a living nightmare because these two assholes played a prank on me to become ripped.
Do you remember that fucking buff dude from Power Thirst? The College Humor ripoff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Power
I would
Thirst
become.
is great.
That's what I would become. Power Thirst Rocket Edition.
It's crystal meth in a can.
Crystal meth in a can. It's Anacorvicova in a can.
You need more energy. You need gratuitous amounts of energy.
Well, then
More
try
energy than your
energy.
body has room for. I
Fuck
love
man.
that. That's
Call
like
out.
that's like
That's
way
like
back.
old
Oh man,
school.
I miss
The
that.
best type of old school.
Bruv.
College humor just isn't humorous anymore.
Well, that's
is
because
it?
they're not in college anymore.
Yeah.
They graduated and went to adult. It should be called adult humor, and it would still be not funny.
Never
call
jumped
it-
on the bandwagon.
Never jump. What?
I never
On the
really saw
bandwagon.
any college humor skits.
What? Dude,
I
I,
know,
could
it's
show
kinda
you
funny.
college humor skits that'd still make you laugh. The old school
Probably.
college humor was hilarious.
Yeah, the old stuff was good.
But then when they went
That's how it
like,
always
new
goes,
school-
though.
Yeah. But that's because everybody
True.
adapts because of
I
corporations.
hope that's not how it goes for us.
Same.
Don't sell out.
I don't think that it sold out. I just think
did.
that they.
Yeah, they got bought by
Oh, did
Warner
they?
Brothers. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, oh yeah. They're owned by Warner Brothers.
Ooh.
Why do you think
Yeah.
they went from like really offensive humor to like, oh, I'm gonna make a joke that even Karen the mother would love? It's because they were
We
bought
try
by
to
Warner
appeal to
Brothers.
all audiences with our humor. That's
is that
always
what
a great
happens?
idea.
Yeah.
is that what happens?
Mm-hmm.
The corporation takes over and they're like,
Well, in
we
fairness
need to
though,
open this up so
Yeah.
everybody likes your jokes.
that's the problem though, is because this is the one thing that I found interesting about YouTube is all the channels that we found hilarious were owned by their own corporate entities anyway. They weren't like the people that you see on camera are the owners of this thing. They're just the actors that do it. And it's just like, oh, okay, cool. But they're doing it in such a way that makes you feel like Bill and Ted back in the day or Austin Powers back in the day. Like it had
Yeah,
that same
yeah.
kind of oomph to it. But then we look at like College Humor now. As soon as they were bought by Warner Brothers, everything went downhill. Everything was we need to be super politically correct so we can get as many ads as we can get. It's all about ads, ads, ads instead of, well, what about the viewer retention or the humor or what makes us us? No, we're a faceless company.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. We're three white guys in a boardroom that probably bang more people than our wives. That's essentially what fucking College Humor was all about. And that's the same
See, that's the
pattern
thing.
that Rooster
Marketers
Teeth was
ruin
into.
everything.
Yeah, like
That's
look at Rooster
always
Teeth.
what happens.
Rooster Teeth was bought by Warner Brothers as well. Same thing happened.
Were they?
Yep.
Oh shit. Okay.
My
Did
YouTube
not know
channel was
about
bought by Warner Brothers. Same thing happened. I was too offensive. Now I'm gone.
that. Oh shit.
Ugh.
Yep. So when corporate entities,
It's kind of in your name though.
I know.
Ruthless
Like
by
that's the part that I
nature.
found
Right?
hilarious. It's like my name is literally Ruthless. What do you think's going to
Yeah.
happen here? Am I going to do your taxes in such a ruthless way? No. I'm here to be an asshole. I'm here to be your friendly neighborhood asshole, which sounds like I'm a prostitute, but I'm not. But like it's just so interesting to see as soon as the corporate entities get a hold of anything, they follow the same pattern. Get the clicks, here's the ad revenue. We don't care about what you do. If you're too offensive, we will disconnect from you. We don't even care if you exist or not. We don't give a shit. You're here to be our money funnel. And maybe
It's
we'll give you
because the
some trickle down
passion's
economics.
gone, and now it's all corporate. That's
Yeah.
how it happens. That's
That's how it
how
is.
when you get too big, that's just what happens when you get bought out by stuff like that.
Huntress makes a good point. Prime example is Disney. Look at fucking Star Wars. That is the biggest failure in
Too
fucking
afraid to make
history.
risks.
Not even that. They were too afraid to do anything creative. They didn't
Yeah.
follow any of Extended Legends. They didn't follow any of the comics. They were like, well, let's make our own book and then let's make it so that everybody's a social justice warrior. Luke likes to lick the fucking green milk out of a goat. It's like, nobody cares. Nobody cares if Luke is drinking green milk from a titty of a weird cow from an alien planet. Fucking make him as powerful as he was in Extended Legends. Make it so he can fucking lift a planet and the black holes with his force powers like he should have been able to. Like, he goes toe-to-toe with Abeloth and nobody seems to know that that's even a thing. How many... Do either of you know what Abeloth is?
I have no idea who
clue.
you're talking about or who
So,
Abeloth is.
I just want you to both Google Abeloth Star Wars Legends right now.
how do you
and
spell
look at
that?
that creature. A-B, like Abe, and then Loth. L-O-T-H. Abeloth is by far one of my favorite dark side creatures of all time. And it has one of the richest lores that were possible for anything they could have given Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
She is literally a mortal being that became the stepmother of immortal beings, but wanted to not be replaced. So she inhabited the, I think it was the Tome of Light and the Funnel of Death, and it basically made her an immortal being of darkness. So she kept just absorbing the dark energy of the universe, and she turned into this weird tentacle monster creature with a human face with many teeth. And she became
Neat.
so powerful that her family, the Immortals, had to leave their planet and set, I think it was several black holes around their planet in order to keep her from being able to escape. And they physically moved those black holes with the Force to around the planet to keep her in stasis. But she was so powerful that she eventually broke off from that, and Luke Skywalker noticed it when he was a Grand Master, and he was just like, something is wrong here. So he traveled to that destination, noticed the problems that were happening, went onto the planet with, I think it was Darth Barrick, or Darth Barris? So, there was one of the Sith Lords and his team, and they just got eviscerated. And Luke Skywalker at the time, even though he was Grand Master Luke, the most powerful Force being in existence, he had no chance to fight her on his own. So he had to like outsmart her to lure her off of the planet to like actually like destroy her with gravitational pulls from the dark nether of the black holes, and then they were able to finally destroy her. It was a fucking great book. I wish they finished it, but they
It's a
never
whole
did.
book?
It was a 9-book series, and they never finished it. And for all we know, Abeloth is still alive, and Luke Skywalker is still fighting her. But Luke Skywalker is the only one strong enough to be able to actually fight her as a living mortal being, because he can travel between realms in order to actually go and face her, because she's not in the living realm, she's in the Force realm. So when he goes into meditation mode, he's able to actually go and channel his Force spirit to go there.
I had no idea you
Wow.
like Star Wars so much.
I love Star Wars.
I'm just looking at one of the "Does he bite" memes. You know, the dog, does he bite? He says nobody can hurt you in other ways, and the dog's Disney. He says the ones are canon, but not you.
I love how this all came from Huntress saying prime example Disney, and I was just like,
Right?
you want to hear an interesting
It's
fact
like,
about
bam.
Abeloth?
I didn't even know about Abeloth.
She's an extended universe being specifically. So essentially she's not canon anymore, and that's because Disney doesn't know a good thing if it bit them in the dick. Because Disney's a fucking idiot. I just plant the seeds, Huntress says. And well, guess what? Those seeds grew on me, and instantly they exploded.
So we've been going for pretty much 4 hours now. That's like
Holy shit! What a podcast!
super long JRE level podcast.
Yeah, holy
Jesus.
cow.
I'm getting pretty tired. I think I'm gonna head out real soon.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's completely
Perfect,
good.
yeah.
I thought this
Good
was
time.
a fantastic podcast. What a 1st episode. We
Yeah,
didn't
this
talk
has been
about
crazy.
like many of the things that I
Yeah,
had.
thank you guys for coming out.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's been good. It's we got to do this again sometime.
100%.
When you get your
I'm
whole
gonna be doing it
setup
weekly.
going, Ruthless.
I'm gonna be doing it every week, Tuesdays.
Nice.
See you next
Nice.
Tuesday is gonna be the sign off. Remember that.
Hey.
And then that way it doesn't like impede with your streams on Monday or Thursday. Perfect.
True. Hey,
Hey,
that's a good point.
I like it.
And I'm off work. It kind of balances off perfectly.
Yeah. But Dazzle's saying now for a name. Dazzle, the name is Can't Understand Normal Thinking.
Abbreviate it.
Yeah, abbreviated. Think of it. Let that sink in. But yeah, I'm heading off. I've been hella tired these past couple days from
No,
streaming
understandable.
for so long. So
Oh boy, yeah. And making the
say?
stream for
Jesus
going so
Christ,
late.
we're
I
fucking
don't blame you
burnt
guys.
out.
I really don't. So, you know what? Why don't you guys drop a link to your channel in the chat for anybody who
Sure.
hasn't followed it yet? And if you want to, why don't you drop it in? I think it's. Oh shit! What's my Discord? what things do I have in my Discord anymore? Why don't you drop it in the media and hobbies section of my Discord?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not actually in your Discord, which is kind of sad. I have to join that first. It's
All
kinda
right,
awkward.
join the Discord.
Lamau.
Yeah, hobbies. There we go.
Yeah, drop a link in
Messages
both
failed
of
to
those.
load. What? I can't do anything in it. Okay, Clyde might have to then.
No, it's fine. I
fine.
got both links from you guys in here.
I,
Podcast is
Cool.
really lit. Glad to hear it. This is the first of many experiences to come. Hopefully
yeah, this has
next
been
time
really
the
fun,
budget will
man.
be
This is
higher.
great.
Yeah. Can't believe 4 hours. That flew.
That went by
Yeah.
real quick. How do
Holy
people
shit.
do a podcast for an hour at a time? It feels
I
like
know.
that would just be enough time for everybody to finally get there, and then you're like, bye.
Right?
Yeah, that's just boring people.
Yeah,
I don't
I
have
don't
much
get
to
it.
say.
How the hell do you do an hour podcast? I
Of
guess
course,
once
as
you
we-
hit like 200 or 300 episodes, then you finally are just like, yeah, so we'll talk about this, and this, and then we're gone.
yeah,
You could
those
just
are
be
always the
Ethan
boring
Klein
ones.
and just like it sucks right out of the gates.
That's true. He
Hey,
is friends with
bird.
Trisha Paytas.
Just
Where are
sucks
you
for the bigger
uploading?
budget.
Oh shit! I guess I should put my YouTube channel there so people know where it's going. Do you guys want a video to put on your YouTube channel?
Sure. I don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can re-upload the one that I put on YouTube to yours. I don't mind. I'm not gonna be one of those dudes that's like copyright strike.
Worst
Oh.
comes to worst, we just
Oh,
don't
which
upload it.
video? Sorry, the video from this?
The podcast, yeah. Do you want to like be able to just copy it and put it on yours, like your YouTube channel?
I
I'm fine
didn't
with
even
that.
consider it.
Yeah.
Go for it. But I'll
Cool.
link my YouTube channel there for whoever's interested. Because
We just made a new one, so go over and subscribe to it. Do you have the link for it?
Oh yeah,
I
that's a good point.
don't,
You
let
did
me
make a
see.
good
Hold
point.
on.
People might hear Outlast in a second. No. All right, we're good. Go here if you want to watch it right away.
Hold on. I gotta fucking switch accounts to it because it's brand new. You can't freaking get no links to a brand new channel.
What, really? Oh, you
Really?
can't get a custom link.
Oh, you can't find.
Oh, I don't have a
these, I
custom
mean.
link either on my new one. Just copy paste your homepage from your channel. It should be good.
Oh. Wait.
you go.
Actually,
Does that work? see.
Dazzles sent this to me.
There we go.
I'll sub to it. I'm your second subscriber, and I do
Nice.
that live on stream.
Thanks, dude. Look at that. Look
Nice.
at the support.
This channel doesn't have any content.
Wow. Go figure. It's like we're
We-
decide to ditch the old channel because it's not getting anything for us.
I
Yep.
wish I had the choice in deciding whether or not I ditched mine, but okay.
Fair
Totally
enough.
not salty about
Yeah,
it.
it's true.
Totally not salty.
Definitely not.
Totally not salty. High sodium. High sodium. High sodium.
Right? Oh yeah.
But no,
All
I
right.
mean, like, if you're down for this once a week, I don't mind having you as guests at all. Like,
This is fun.
by all
I'm
means,
down to do it
I'm
again.
totally down for this.
Yeah.
100%. Boy.
It's been good. Like, we had some decent conversations. Most of it I don't remember, but it was
Same.
just because it was so natural.
Yeah, right? That's
the
how it
thing.
goes.
Like, you usually remember what isn't natural, but here it's just like we had conversations. It was a good time. We talked about stuff. We had a bro moment. We had bromance.
Hell yeah.
One's in overalls, one's in not, and the other one's just too fat to wear pants. So it all just kind of balances out.
Love.
So make sure you follow
Perfect.
that. If you haven't followed any of those links that are in the chat, make sure you spam the shit out of them. Follow. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Something's
Don't
Dazzle
forget
sent
to
me
check
to
us
post
out
that.
on Mondays and Thursdays at Maximum Underdrive. We had to do the 2 underbars on there.
Our name
but
wasn't
yeah, check it out.
stolen.
If you just go into the search in twitch.tv, Maximum Underdrive, check us out. We'll pop up right away for you. Check us out on Thursdays and Mondays,
Yes.
7 p.m. Pacific time.
and sometimes
Best
you might
goddamn
see me
stream in the
there.
galaxy.
Also, no problem, Huntress. But yeah, sometimes you might see me in there, especially if we bring back the shitty Steam games. I've been looking into
Shitty
some
Steam
of those.
games, yeah.
I'm trying to find more. I've only found 2 so far that fall under shitty but good.
It's hard.
But
It's hard.
it's really hard to find them. And so far the games have only like really costed me like $3. So I've got like a $50 budget I'm going with.
Nice.
So I'll see what I can find. When I find about, I would say between 7 and 10, then I'll let you guys know. Then we can schedule a time to do shitty
Hell
Steam
yeah.
games.
I can
Nice.
keep looking too.
100%.
All right.
Perfect. Well,
I'm gonna
have
sign
a good
off
night,
now.
everybody. One hell of a podcast. Wow, this is better than what I was expecting for our first one.
Right?
I love every
right.
single one of you. I'll see y'all next time. Which
See you
will
guys.
be
Good
see you
night.
next Tuesday. Bye, guys.